Vegas from Radio Row.
That's good.
We also have more details on our Super Bowl party, our big game party, I guess I should say. I have to say big game party. That's right. Big game party that we have next Thursday.
That other thing, I don't know. That was a different thing.
I don't know what that is. We'll have more details on what we're doing next Thursday night coming up in just a little bit. Hope everybody's having a fantastic Friday. It is Cody and Gold, brought to you by The Farmer's Dog. Info at thefarmersdog.com/no magic. We'll have Pete Sweeney join us as he always does on a Friday. That's coming up at 11 o'clock today. We'll also potentially later on today, depending if timing works out and who steps up to the podium, we could have a couple Chiefs players. We'll let you know if that actually happens during the 4 hours here on the show. But I am excited for the 1 o'clock hour. I know two things are happening. One, Rob Collins from Fox 4 is going to step in the club once again. And we'll have our friend Andrew over at Rieger making Vegas-themed cocktails, or a Vegas-themed cocktail.
He did not specify what that meant, but the last time he brought out like the big ice and the whole thing, so.
Oh, it'll be done right. It'll be done right. I know that.
Don't worry about that. And it's nice to just kind of sit back and have a cocktail with our guy Andrew. Nice and easy.
Yeah.
Perfect way to end a Friday. What's your policy on drinking on the way out, by the way? Rob and I were Brent and I were just talking on the way out. I've told you, and I told the mayor once, the airport is a lawless society in which there are no rules. He did not support that contention, by the way, in which it could be 8 in the morning, and I think you can have a beer. It's, you're on a flight. It's different. Tomorrow, or I'm sorry, Sunday when we leave, a little different. That'll be like, we leave at like 10:30, 10:50, whatever time. We leave like 10 or 11 in the morning. So that's plenty late enough for an airport beer, I think.
Yeah, no, I think you get either an airport beer or you get a drink. Just get a drink on the flight. That's probably what I'll do.
Also fine.
Yeah, more than the drink at the airport.
More just the flight drink?
Yeah, it's early in the morning. You know what that sounds like, Cody? That sounds like a perfect flight for a screwdriver.
You got to drink breakfast drinks?
I've never been to alcohol at the airport. Granted, the last time I flew, I was not able to drink alcohol. It's been that long since I've flown on a plane.
You haven't been on a plane since... Aren't you... Wait. When's the last time you were on a plane? Like 7 years ago?
College that I can remember.
Man, been a while since Drew flew, I guess. You remember how it works?
Oh, whoa.
I know. I'm looking forward to getting...
I don't think you're allowed to sit in the exit row.
I'm looking forward to getting my little cup of Coke and my Biscoff cookies or the crackers.
Sometimes
that's what I'm looking forward to.
You never know. Sometimes they switch it up on you. Okay.
Those Biscoffs hit different on a plane or the little pretzel bags.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. The different snacks and stuff? Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. It'll be fine. I didn't realize it had been that long since Drew flew.
To my knowledge, I might have flown. Actually, no. I've never drank alcohol at an airport. I have flown post 21.
Okay.
I've never been that type of person, though. My sister, on the other hand, definitely that type of person.
Oh, man. This trip, I can't wait. Look, we will be documenting just about everything that happens. And we know there will be some things we have no clue what's going to happen. That's going to be the best. That's going to be the best content. We'll bring it all to you. I can promise you that on social media and on the show, starting on Sunday at 610 Sports KC on Twitter, at Alex Gold, at Cody B. Tappan, at Drew B. Nix.
Yes.
On Twitter as well. I always have to hesitate on that last one.
It used to be a lot more complicated. It's not anymore.
It definitely did.
Yeah, we had to fix that. It was out of control.
I did want to start, though, talking about the wide receivers here. And I know in passing we always mention, the Chiefs and L'Jarius Sneed, what he has done against number one wide receivers. And we know the number one wide receiver for the 49ers is going to be Brandon Ayuk. And, all right, can you just push him aside a little bit and then say, okay, then you're worrying about Kittle, Debo, and McCaffrey. All three are still big-time problems for you. But to put it in perspective, L'Jarius Sneed, other than just saying, yeah, he shut down number ones, here is what he has actually done against number one wide receivers this year. Tyreek Hill twice, 8 catches, 62 yards, 5 catches, 62 yards. And remember, some of those yards in the second game were not
always on Sneed, including the touchdown and 45 of those yards, whatever that long touchdown to Tyreek was.
These are all Pro Bowl wide receivers this year. Tyreek Hill, I just mentioned what he did. Amari Cooper, they didn't play. Keenan Allen, 4 catches, 55 yards against Sneed. Jamar Chase, 3 catches, 41.
Nothing.
CeeDee Lamb didn't play him. And then A.J. Brown, 1 catch for 8 yards against Sneed. I think A.J. Brown ended up with 30 yards for the game. But when he was matched up with Sneed, 1 catch for 8 yards. I didn't even mention Justin Jefferson,
who had, I think, 1 catch against him as well. Justin Jefferson wasn't that's why he wasn't a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
But he had 1 catch, I think, for 9 yards was the original Justin Jefferson line on L'Jarius Sneed. And it's always a good reminder, he was healthy then and still Justin Jefferson at that time. I think a lot of this is that's why this feels like the biggest matchup of the weekend. You know, Ayuk is actually kind of a funny example of if you don't think Rashee Rice can be a number one, look at Ayuk's career and tell me that he can't. Ayuk was like a 750-yard receiver in year one. He was like a 950-yard receiver in year two. He was like an 1,100-yard receiver in year three. And by year four, where is he? 1,500 yards and the most dominant weapon in their offense, not named Christian McCaffrey. I think this is the biggest matchup of the weekend because if L'Jarius Sneed can continue to do these things that he's done against number one wide receivers, and he bullies up, sits in the hip pocket, and does his work against Brandon Ayuk, then you can send way more resources to Christian McCaffrey, and you're down to, hey, can McDuffie one-on-one against Debo win enough? Can Joshua Williams and Jalen Watson rotating out win enough against the other weapons? And you've kind of limited the force of which they can beat you by. This, to me, might be the biggest matchup, offense versus defense, in the entire weekend. That includes the Chiefs' offense, too, like Fred Warner versus Kelsey. I think Snead versus Ayuk, none bigger.
Yeah, it's huge. I just think we've seen through all these number one wide receivers we've mentioned what they've been able to do that I think ultimately it's going to be more, in my opinion, of do they limit Christian McCaffrey?
Yeah.
Now, you're right. It's a big problem if all of a sudden Brandon Ayuk's going off and Christian McCaffrey's going off. And like, if all that's happening, well then the Chiefs are in big-time trouble at that point. But I mean, we have seen they played in 20 football games this year. 20 football games. And not one has a number one wide receiver just gone off against them. And certainly not against L'Jarius Sneed, who's given up one touchdown this entire season anyway.
Yeah, one. And it was on an absolutely
great throw.
Oh, just absurd route, absurd throw. I mean, just a great individual play by Stephon Diggs and by Josh Allen.
Or it's Khalil Shakir, was it?
Khalil Shakir, sorry.
But it was Josh Allen, yeah.
So, I mean, that's just a great throw. There's nothing you can do with that. And that's the only touching you've let down? One absolutely bonkers throw? Is there a matchup that worries you more?
It's overall just because it's
Christian
not
McCaffrey
just running
versus
the ball.
The world.
Yeah, it's not just running the ball for McCaffrey. It's all right. Willie Gay, his neck injury, which seems to be heading in the right direction and all that. But how do the linebackers match up? Yeah, with Kittle, but also how do you impact the game if you are the Chiefs for McCaffrey in the passing game and the running game? And what answer does Steve Spagnuolo have for that? Because it's not just running the ball as we know for McCaffrey. It's the 2-yard dump off that McCaffrey turns into a 12-yard gain.
Yeah,
or
no
a
one's better
30-yard
at taking
gain.
a 0-yard run into 6 or a 2-yard run into 9 than Christian McCaffrey. He's as good as anyone in the league at that, where you're like, okay, that one shut down. I'm like, what the hell just happened there? How the hell? Why is he 8 yards down the field when it should have been 2?
Yeah.
I understand. I just feel like you can spend more resources. You can only limit Christian McCaffrey to a certain point. There is a limit. We can talk about that in a minute, but if you can tell me their number one wide receiver is limited, then you're good. And then what? Your one Debo Samuel ticky-tack injury that have kept him limited in a number of playoff games away from just having to worry about Kittle? Like, I understand that it's more than that. I understand you're always going to have to worry about McCaffrey. This one just feels like it makes everything in your life easier. And I can't point to a single matchup of, we'll just put this guy on Christian McCaffrey and we'll slow him down. Nah, that's a group effort.
Sure.
Everyone's got to be involved in that. And the first part of that job is Snead locking down Ayuk. By the way, I just assume he will. Well, I don't know. That sounds crazy. But I just assume Snead is going to shut down Ayuk because he's like batting 1,000.
It's been what he's done the entire season. Someone points out who had Zay Flowers last week. Well, remember the touchdown that Zay Flowers had, it was Lamar improvising. Nick Bolton ended up getting it wasn't. Yeah, it was. I think they were playing zone. Obviously, and I don't believe Nick Bolton was actually on him as much as it was he was the guy that was trying to make it based off of once Lamar started to scramble. Yeah, it's not the matchup they wanted. I can promise you they did not plan when that play started. Have
Nick Bolton covering Brandon Ayuk at any point in this game. Mistakes have been made.
It's probably going to be a big play if that happens. It's not part of the plan that they have in place. But yeah, no, the number one wide receiver stuff is real. It's happened for 20 games this year. On the other side, you got Nick Bosa, who's a very, very talented edge rusher, played this Chiefs team in the first matchup. And, of course, Nick Bosa was asked, hey, what do you see from this Chiefs offensive line when you watch film? Like any player would be asked.
About Taylor and Smith, when you watch them on film, Taylor's, I think, leads the NFL with a ton of penalties. Anything stand out when you watch them?
They hold a lot.
The first few words out of his mouth when he says he watches it on film, They hold a lot. Now, they do hold a lot. They have been called for a lot of holding penalties. We've talked about Juwan Taylor, most penalized player for the last 3 or 4 years, I think it is.
And the most penalized player this year.
So he's not wrong.
It's not factually inaccurate.
But you know how this stuff works. If you're a player and you're at a podium and you're asked, like, what stands out on film, and the first thing is like a shot towards your opponent, it's going to quickly get back. I love that this was said out loud. Like, he's not factually wrong.
No.
Juwan Taylor holds. Donovan Smith holds. But the fact that an opposing player said it before we even get to Las Vegas.
Feels like complaining. Pre-complaining about the refs.
Well, what was going on in the Bay Area? Because you couple it with their owner, Jed York, who was asked, hey, what do you remember from the Super Bowl back in 2020? And what did he say?
I mean, I remember Nick Bosa getting held on 3rd and long and that not getting called. It's football, right? Like, I mean, I should say this. I haven't talked to anybody with Detroit. Like, I feel for them when you're in a situation where you're up and you think you can win a game and make it memorable and things go the wrong way. And I've been on good sides of that and I've been on bad sides of that, right? When you're up by 10 points against a team in a Super Bowl, you know, thoughts are going through your head like, wow, like we're gonna have a parade. Like, you know, somebody's going to Disneyland, like this is gonna be awesome. And then you don't. And that's part of playing in the NFL, right? Like I get pretty tense during games. It's because you care so much about what happens.
And we saw all the mic'd up clips of John Lynch standing on the sideline and Jed York. And yeah, they did have the lead. They probably were thinking about the parade. But again, the first words out of his mouth, the owner of the 49ers, was Cody Knott. You know, man, we were disappointed.
Being held.
Yeah.
4 years ago, dude, grow up. You've had a million opportunities since then to do something.
Is this, other than just still being disappointed by what happened, is this truly a concerted effort? Now that we've heard 2 individuals from the 49ers that they are trying to get
probably
the penalty stuff out there publicly to try to influence the game a little bit. And you can say, oh, the refs, well, they can block themselves out all they want, but do you believe that is intentional here by Bosa and York to draw a focus to holding penalties by the Chiefs?
Like, you don't get to, yes, absolutely. I think that's the case. Again, I don't think that Bosa is wrong about them holding, but he's such a, like, right now, their entire team just seems like a team full of complainers. Like, you guys got Brock Purdy to a Super Bowl. Just be happy you're there. This goes back to the only team to beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, in the Tampa Bay Bucks. Like, you know, in this run. When they seemingly spent more time talking about the Chiefs than their own accomplishment. Like, this is just, like, the Chiefs are in everyone's head. He can't forget about a holding penalty he think might have been missed 4 years ago. And unless we're going to go through, and I would say the same thing to Ravens fans last week, unless we're going to go through snap by snap and count every penalty that is missed, every holding penalty that is missed, every offensive pass interference, every illegal, unless we're going through every snap and we're going to count them one by one, going up and being like, well, Bosa got held on that one play. Yeah, you had him on 3rd and 1,000,000. 3rd and 1,000,000 with a lead in a Super Bowl. And you couldn't stop him from doing jet tip wasp. There wasn't that much time left in the game. And you let him rattle off 3 scores in like 5 minutes of game time. This has nothing to do with one hold against or one hold against Nick Bosa. And it's had everything to do with it. I assume that's definitely Bosa's plan.
They're trying to set the narrative a little bit and get the refs to
they're probably holding you a lot.
Get the refs to focus in on that. I believe going to the Super Bowl last year, or not last year, back in 2020, the original matchup here for these two teams, they were talking a lot about how the Chiefs corners were holding going into that Super Bowl. That was something that they were trying to put out there as well. Whether it works or not, I have no idea in terms of more penalties in certain areas. But it clearly, before they even get to Vegas, they're already complaining essentially about how officials are calling games or making sure that people are well aware of that. I was surprised to already see that kind of stuff. And we'll get a chance to talk to players and everything on Monday night, opening night out in Las Vegas. But something was up yesterday in the Bay Area, I'll tell you that. A lot of complaining. We'll get to Bill Romanowski later as well. I mean, there's a lot of trash talk coming out of the Bay Area very early on.
Yeah, I don't know.
We got 9 days till the game.
I don't know, like, just, you got so much time, and that's the energy you want to speak? Like, I think some of this is sour grapes, probably, from the few people who were involved in that Super Bowl for San Francisco and losing and all the stuff that came with it. But
What do you make of the dad joke? I thought you'd be, everybody's pointing it out very quickly. The 40 whiners. What do you make of that one? Do you like that one?
not bad.
That's pretty good, actually.
It's like B+.
It's not. It's a good one.
40 whiners is pretty good. I like the sound of it. I will say this. I don't really want to propagate it until after the game. If they lose and then this stuff continues, they're definitely the 40 whiners. I could probably accept that. I don't typically go for the punny dad joke, but that one's better than most.
It flows well. It's like
that one's better than most.
Yeah,
I can't believe he complained about a call 4 years ago. He's the owner of a team that is in the Super Bowl, and the first thing he mentioned to media was by the way, do you even know what call he's talking about? I didn't go back and I didn't even bother to go
Jet
back.
Chip Loss, wasn't it? Is that the one I think, or that drive maybe? I believe it was a third down play.
I mean, I remember Nick Bosa getting held on third and long.
Yeah, I think it was the Jet Chip Loss.
I've decided what part of my problem with that quote is. He couldn't sound like a bigger dork. And I say that as someone who sounds like a dork most of the time. I think I remember that Jet Chip. I remember that hold on Nick Bosa. You're like, okay, you sound so whiny about it. It's the way he says it. It's not just that he says it. He says it in the most like, they held him, and you're like, okay, get out. I don't want to listen to you.
Yeah, a lot
That's
of whining.
the problem.
A lot of whining out of the Bay Area. At that point, 10 days before the Super Bowl. Now 9 days. Before the Super Bowl. Thinking of the big game, we mentioned we got some more details on what we're going to be doing next Thursday night. So if you were headed out to Las Vegas and you're already going to be in Vegas next Thursday night, we got the place for you to go. We're going to be doing an extra 2-hour show on Thursday night out at Circa Sports, Circa Las Vegas, the Stadium Swim, this unbelievable venue up above the, I guess, Fremont Street. It'd be right there. And they've got a huge video board that's the length of a football field, a pool, all of it. We are going to be competing with our sister station, 95.7 The Game. They're going to be bringing 49ers fans. We're going to be bringing Chiefs fans. If you wear Chiefs gear, you're going to get a free drink ticket. You do have to RSVP, but it's completely free if you RSVP. We put out the link on our social media channels. And so we're going to be doing some special shows from 5 to 9 p.m. Pacific time. So if you're out in Vegas, 5 to 9 p.m. Pacific time next Thursday. It's our 610 party we'll be doing. And yeah, we need to show up. We need Chiefs fans to show up. We need to beat the 49ers before we even get to Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to lose to 95.7 The Game. Under normal circumstances, I'm sure they're a perfectly fine, Odyssey Incorporated radio station. But next Thursday, screw them. They can go to hell. I hope they lose this battle between the two of us. And yeah, we need your support because they're a bigger city and they're closer and all the other things. And I don't feel like it's going to be all that hard for you to wear team gear to get a free drink.
Easy.
You'll be in Las Vegas supporting the Chiefs. I've already started to pack. Many of my T-shirts that I'll be wearing on Radio Row are either Taylor Swift Chiefs related or Chiefs related.
Yeah, that would make sense.
You know, like the Charlie Hustle, Lenny the Cool shirt or Taylor Swift loves Kansas City. It doesn't really matter. The point is, does that count as Chiefs gear, by the way?
Which one?
If the shirt I'm wearing says Taylor Swift loves Kansas City,
yeah,
we're qualified there, right?
That's Chiefs gear at this point. I think
it does qualify.
Again, we tweeted it out at Alex Gold, at 610 Sports KC, at Cody B Tap. It's on our Instagram. It's on our Facebook page, or will be on our Facebook page here shortly. And there's a link. You can RSVP. It's our free party if you RSVP. 49ers versus Chiefs. Also, when it comes to fans on Thursday night. So we'll continue to remind you guys, but hope to see a lot of you out in Vegas. And I think already talking to people, it sounds like, Cody, more so than maybe the Phoenix Super Bowl last year, because it's Las Vegas, there's a lot of people that are going to go there and know that they're not going to pony up, $9,000 for a ticket. I even saw Christian McCaffrey and his fiance, quote, cannot afford a Super Bowl suite, according to his mom. We looked into a suite. Wow. None of us can afford it. Now, Christian McCaffrey signed a $64
I guess if he hadn't bought all those things for his offensive lineman, maybe he could have.
$64 million contract. So I think but
what's a suite go for? I mean, is it really worth it for him to pay $1 million for a suite or $2 million?
It's probably more than $1 million. Dude, individual crappy seats are going for $9 million, so think about a suite. He signed a $64 million contract, and they're like, yeah, we're not buying this.
Can afford it.
Yes.
So this says suites. This was for last year, but it said that. It said the Super Bowl at Allegiant Stadium will cost between $1,400,000 or $2,500,000 on average.
$2.5 million for a suite at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, if you're Christian McCaffrey, that's too much of your net worth, dude. That's just too much of your net worth to buy the suite. You got to just get tickets like everyone else.
Per suite experience group.
I mean, unless everyone's chipping in, which in the case of it's your family, right?
Look,
it's not really a chip-in situation. Most people can't.
Right.
Like, I can chip in on a $200 gift with my family. I can't chip in on a $2 million
Yeah, it's definitely not.
suite.
It's just not worth it. He's earned $89 million, or will by the end of this contract, $89 million in his NFL career, plus you get the agent cut, plus taxes, all that. Yeah, you're not spending $2 million on that.
No. It's probably like 10%. He's probably worth, after all that, like $20 million. It's probably like 10% of his net worth. Jeez. Like, you just can't spend 10% of your net worth on a suite. Taylor Swift, however, it's probably 0.0001% of her net worth. Spend the $2 million. It'd be harder for Travis. It'd be harder if Travis just wanted. But here's the thing: if Jason was coming, he could chip in a little. Taylor chip in a little. Travis, they got enough rich people throwing some dough at it, to chip in.
My guess is they'll do what they've done all year. They'll end up sharing a suite. It'll be Kelsey's with Brittany Mahomes as well, and Taylor Swift, and they'll probably all have a suite together at the Super Bowl.
Although it's got to be tough. Do you remember that clip last year that came out, I think after the Super Bowl, of Kylie Kelsey? And the clip came out on the Kelsey, it was on the Kelsey doc or, whatever. And they're sitting around in the living room. They're talking about their youngest, like in diapers kid. And they were like, she's like, are you serious? Are you sure that we shouldn't just put her, it was like, are we going to spend $5,000? She doesn't even know what she's going to. Like, she's like, are we really going to spend $5,000 for this kid to go to a football game? She doesn't even know what's happening. And honestly, that is a reasonable response. Even if I had the money and your kid's like 4, my youngest son's 5, he would not understand what it meant if I dropped 10 G's on him to go to a Super Bowl game. He'd be like, be hard to keep in the seat. He'd be like, is there like a cool kid area? You're like, oh, no, I can't. I'd have a hard time justifying it that. Adults only. This is like a wedding. Just adults only. Kids got to stay at home. We're not wasting any money. You got to be at least 16.
I did see once again. They've been doing this the last couple Super Bowls. There's a maybe it's Marriott that does it, but someone wins the ability. They get to go to the game in a suite, but the night before they've turned a suite into like a hotel room.
Oh, so
it has a bed, and they won this contest or something. And they actually get to sleep the night before in the stadium in a makeshift Marriott room that they changed a suite into that. They wake up into the stadium. That's pretty incredible. Would you even be able to sleep the night before? If you're sleeping in a suite at the stadium, yes, it's like made to look like a hotel room. But knowing that the sliding glass door, there's the Super Bowl.
Is it you and somebody else?
Yeah.
I'm just going to ask the obvious question. You have to have sex, right?
Yes.
I mean, hold on. Let's just ask. I just want to be clear on the obvious thing here. Complete missed opportunity if you don't have sex there, right?
Because you want to say I mean, just the night before the Super Bowl.
Just no chance.
Right by, what's the security set up there? That's what I would wonder. Though.
That's what I was wondering.
Because
you just have to risk it, man.
Because they have security round the clock the night before the Super Bowl. So and your suite door opens up to the field. So my question is could you go out to the field? No, the answer's no.
That's too risky.
The answer's
way too risky.
The answer's no.
That's a little too risky.
You're going to throw away a Super Bowl ticket. You're going to throw away staying in a suite to try to walk on the field. Really?
I just don't know if you'd be able to sleep anyway.
Probably not.
Like, how antsy would you, knowing that? What an experience that is to be in the suite in a. Someone says 4 people are in the room. I don't know. I think 2 people wanted. I mean, I guess you could invite other people if you wanted to. You'd be a very popular person. Hey, we want. We're going to just have people sleeping on the floor. Nobody will have any problem sleeping on the floor in that thing.
No.
Takes away Cody's scenario. There.
Yeah, it makes it a lot harder. I'll say that. It adds an extra element or challenge or exhibitionist level to it, that's for sure.
All right, coming up next, let's talk more about Christian McCaffrey. Not whether or not he can afford a suite at the game or so, but just what he is allowed to do, if you will, and you still are okay with it for the game in a couple Sundays. That's next.
Cody and Gold. Watch the show on YouTube by subscribing to the @610 Sports KC channel. 610 Sports Radio.
It's touchdown, Kansas City for homeowners. When you sell your home as is, in any condition, to RexBuysKC.com. This is Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs. And now, sell your home to Rex. No matter the condition or situation, with closing details designed to fit your schedule, needs, and wants.
Thanks, Mitch. This is Rex, owner of RexBuysKC.com, your local home buyer. We offer instant cash offers on the first visit. We pay you more. We give you unlimited options on how to sell your home as is with no out-of-pocket repair cost, No closing costs, fees, or commissions, and will close in as little as 7 days. Call now at 816-330-6000 or go online to rexbuyskc.com.
Rex will buy your home for more with huge cash offers, fair and honest dealings, and options that make selling your home quick and hassle-free.
Homeowners, call now, 816-330-6000 or go online at rexbuyskc.com.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars. Lose the weight. Stop smoking early bird special $49.99. Seminars Sunday, February 25th, Wingate by Wyndham, Kansas City, or Monday, February 26th at the Holiday Inn and Suites, Overland Park.
Number 15 is the real MVP, and Jefferson's in Lenexa and North KC agrees by giving 15% off online orders for carryout and delivery when using code 610sports. Place your orders now for the big game at jeffersons.com. Limit 1 per customer, $40 minimum order, cannot combine offers, excludes dine-in.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Do you want more control over your business spending? Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management platform designed to save you time and money. Ramp offers unlimited corporate cards with spend controls you can customize to stop wasteful spending before it happens. Ramp makes expense reports a breeze by automatically collecting receipts and matching them to the right transaction. You'll close your books in hours instead of days. Ramp allows you to see all of your company spend in one place, so you can make quick, informed decisions about your business finances. Plus, Ramp will share insights based on your spending to help you cut costs. Over 15,000 businesses have added up to 5% to their bottom line with Ramp. You can be one of them. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports.
QC Kinetics patient Robert Patterson, a veteran and business owner, struggled at work and in the gym with chronic agonizing shoulder pain.
Those injuries just continue to nag, and if you don't treat them, they just get worse. And I just kind of abused my body for a long time, and it finally had said enough is enough.
That's okay, because QC Kinetics tells your pain, hey, enough is enough. Their regenerative treatments bring you relief by helping restore and repair damaged tissue with no drugs, no downtime, and best of all, no surgery.
I was able to exceed the goals that I had previously attained in the gym. It was absolutely worth its weight in gold, so I could continue to live life without limitation.
Ready to get lasting relief from your joint pain? Call QC Kinetics to learn more about how natural biologic treatments can get you lasting results. Call now. It's a free consultation.
816-412-6299. QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Hey, Jess, want to come for a ride on my motorcycle? You know,
We can talk about our feelings and explore our emotional compatibility.
I thought you'd never ask.
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive and you could use the savings to make sure the motorcycle is always ready for your dream girl. So keep the dream alive and the savings coming with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
It all comes down to this. Super Bowl 58. Listen live from Westwood One on the free Odyssey app. The Kansas City Chiefs.
Takes the snap. Darts a pass near side. Caught by Kelsey. Wrapped to the ground at the 12.
And the San Francisco 49ers.
With a comeback for the ages, the 49ers are going back to the Super Bowl.
Wherever you are next Sunday, stream Super Bowl 58 with Westwood One on the free Odyssey app. Download it today and search Super Bowl. AUDACY.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Max Motors. 9 major vehicle brands to choose from. MaxMotors.com. Going on at all Max Sport locations.
Love it or trade it now.
0% for 72 months on new 2023 Ford F-150s, 2023 Bronco Sports, and 2023 Ford Edges in stock.
Hurry in while selection is best.
With approved credit expires February 29, 24.
Coming up in about 25 minutes, we'll check in with Pete Sweeney, our Chiefs insider from Arrowhead Pride. He'll be out in Las Vegas all next week as well. We'll get updates throughout the week with him as he'll be available over at the, 25-minute away site, which is where the Chiefs are staying. So they're not staying on the Strip. They're staying out on Lake Las Vegas, which is a nice area, but it's a suburb. And so they're away from the Strip. That's also, I believe, where the media availability for some of that kind of stuff is going to take place other than the Monday opening night. So we'll have Pete Sweeney checking in with us throughout the week, and he'll check in with us in about 25 minutes or so. Our NFL playoff coverage on 610 Sports Radio, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. We mentioned Brandon Ayuk to start the show. How about Christian McCaffrey? Because this feels like a player that only other one I think we've discussed before where you're like, you know what? I'm good if he gets like 100 yards, but that's it. And you're like, I'll take that. I'll sign up for that right now. Tyreek Hill's the only other player we've ever talked about on this show.
Yeah, for sure.
Where we're like, you know what? If he just got like 95 yards, I think even going to the Germany game, some of us were like, if he got like $110, I'll take it. Sign me up. Like that, letting him have that not to blow up. Where are you at on that with Christian McCaffrey? Because you take a look at his season. We know 2,000 yards from scrimmage is what he was able to come up with, almost 1,500 yards on the ground. There were a couple of games this year where he was held in check, but usually that happened when their team was blowing out their opponents. So, like, you can say, wow, against the Dallas Cowboys, he only had, Cody, 51 yards on the ground and 27 yards receiving. Well, they won 42-10, so he
didn't have to play.
Didn't have to play, yeah. The worst game he has had over the last month plus has been actually a 27-10 win against the Commanders. He still had 64 yards rushing, 27 on receiving. Now, you would sign up for that right now. Otherwise, most of the time you're wondering, can you limit him to around 100 to 110 yards from scrimmage and not let him have the bigger day than that?
That's pretty. I think I would take, if you would just, the lock-in button, right? You're like, hey, we'll guarantee you 100 yards for Christian McCaffrey and 1 touchdown. I'm like, sold. Like, I think I'd take that number right now. You know what this reminds me of, though? This is the exact situation you and I on this show we're talking about, is they were getting ready to take on the Tennessee Titans with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry had like 2,000 yards rushing. He was an unstoppable machine. He was running through teams like 160, 170, 180 yards a game. And they held him to 1 in that game, like 60 yards. It was nothing. Part of you wonders a little bit with McCaffrey, and I know teams have certainly tried to stop him, but if it's the same thing that happened in Baltimore is, do you need to be aggressive to get a lead so that they don't do it? The one problem is that San Francisco was just in that situation and they wouldn't do it. They stuck with McCaffrey. They'll stick with him forever, which is why I think you do have to just accept that number. Accept that Christian McCaffrey is going to get you a little bit and hope that nobody else gets you. I mean, he's got like 7 multi-touchdown games this year. That's what you need to avoid. The multi-touchdown game, the game for 200 all-purpose yards. Because he is one of those players that can single-handedly take over a game and beat you in the same way Mahomes can. I know normally we don't feel that way about non-quarterbacks. He's one of what? 7, 8 players in the league you would say that about that aren't a quarterback? Tyreek, him, Justin Jefferson when healthy. It is such a small number. Your focus has to be on any way to limit him.
Yeah, it's 7 games of 100 or more yards and rushing. Receiving, his best number was 72 yards receiving, but it's a lot of games where he had like 30 to 40 yards receiving on top of his rushing total. And you know Kyle Shanahan's going to have something up his sleeve, different ways to get the ball to Christian McCaffrey. And that's where the chess match comes in, and what does Spags have planned, and what adjustments does he have to present? I mean, Christian, unlike the Derrick Henry scenario, because
He's
of
more
the
versatile.
because of the different ways you can use him, I don't think you're truly shutting him down. It's just finding a way. Can you manage it to where he doesn't, cost you the game? He had a 3-touchdown game against Arizona back in week 2, a 3 rushing touchdown day, a 4 touchdown day overall. Look, the Arizona Cardinals are terrible. The Chiefs are the best defense in football. But the point being is you of course, cannot have Christian McCaffrey become the complete game wrecker that he has been at times throughout this 2023, now 2024 season. Last week against Detroit, 20 carries, 90 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns, had 42 receiving as well. So, okay, he's got 130 yards from scrimmage and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, that's when you start getting into territory where he is a game wrecker, and you got to find a way to avoid that. The scary thing about the Niners is, of course, it's not just McCaffrey. It's Ayuk, as we mentioned. It's Deebo Samuel, and it's George Kittle. So there is quite the crop of playmakers that Kyle Shanahan gets to work with. But I think you hit on it. The formula, specifically when you're playing the Chiefs, is you can't trail. You cannot trail, and that is what the Niners have done.
Their defense is too good.
Yeah.
Normally, you would have said you could trail a little bit against Kansas City because – you know what? Their defense is still suspect. You might be able to get some scores, get a stop or two, and you might be somewhere. But, I mean, I just watched the Ravens. The Ravens, again, were one of the best offenses in the NFL this year and have a lot of weapons themselves. Not as many as the 49ers. No one in the league has as many as the 49ers. But they couldn't, it was too much. It was too much to overcome. And I think for the 49ers, even though they have been able to overcome multiple deficits, they could have easily been gotten. The Packers specifically had him up against the wall, and then, they were down 17 points to the Lions.
The Lions
I think
really
both teams really had him on the ropes where you're like, both of you should have won that game. You should both have woken up the next morning on Monday and been like, oh, my God, how did we lose that football game? And I think if you do that against the Chiefs because of their defense, you're done. You're done. That's why I'd accept a certain number for McCaffrey.
Well, because you're not scoring 27 unanswered against the Chiefs. The Chiefs that we mentioned yesterday have held opponents 28 points or less in all 20 games this year. And the Niners got 27 unanswered against the Detroit Lions last week. I think everybody knows that scenario is not happening in this game on either side. If you were wondering for McCaffrey specifically, what do the books think his over-under should be, or maybe right around where his number should be, over-under 90.5 on the ground is where it sits for McCaffrey, and receiving 34.5. So about 120-yard day or so, roughly, is what they're saying.
That feels like about the number you'd like him to be below. A lot of it is just I would like to be below that number. Because I think once he gets into the 120, 130 range, he didn't have his way, but he had enough going where you did not frustrate him in any way.
And his first game as a 49er was against Kansas City, but he had just showed up. He was there for, 4 days?
Not enough time. We talked a lot about it going into it, but he wasn't there long
12 snaps, something like that. It was
effective, by the way.
It was very effective, but the Chiefs blew out the 49ers that day. And then from that point on, if you remember, they got hot. I think they won out the rest of the year, the 49ers did. And that was because McCaffrey wasn't full go yet by the time the Chiefs played him.
He's, it's tough with him because the reason why we're going to have to talk about it multiple times before this game on Sunday is the reason that trade worked, the reason why the very few occasions in which you can make a top 10 pick at running back and it works is he is a perfect fit for San Francisco's offense. Perfect. That's why the trade worked. Normally, Gold, you and I have been like, you're giving up that for a running back and you're going to pay him? Why would you do that? He's a perfect fit. Very few circumstances kind of negate that from a wide receiver perspective, and he is one of them. 2 days ago, I was listening to Carrington's show because this game obviously has got a lot on the line for everybody. Financially, for one, but also legacy-wise. We've talked about Mahomes and the sentence that still doesn't sound right. That is, if he wins this Super Bowl, he would have won a Super Bowl in 50% of the years in which he started, which is silly in its own right. Oh, no big deal. It seems like Patrick Mahomes has been in the league forever. He's won the Super Bowl 50% of the time he's played. But I heard him talking about specifically Chris Jones, and I hadn't thought about him being the slam dunk that he is And I was starting to think about the rest of the field and where it would go. Because if Chris Jones wins, he is a no doubt 100% Hall of Famer. He'll be a 5-time All-Pro and a 3-time Super Bowl champ. I don't care if his sack numbers are too low for an interior defensive lineman versus some other big sack guys. He'd be a no-doubter Hall of Famer, right?
Yes, and that's why when we were discussing his contract in the offseason, and it was like, hey, you want the big payday, of course, but also does it potentially hinder your ability to be on a contender, a winner where you can rack up multiple rings, right, and find a way into the Hall of Fame, or do you still have work to do? Well, he's in a position now where if he gets this ring, there isn't even any more work to be done for his Hall of Fame case. It's just how much does he want to distance himself maybe from other players in NFL history? But yeah, if you get 3 rings, if you're part of a dynasty, you play at the position he does.
You're one of the most important players of that dynasty.
You're going to be. I mean, you're right about Mahomes, Kelsey, automatics, Andy Reid, automatic guys that are already in the Hall of Fame if they retired tomorrow. Chris Jones is going to be in a spot where if he gets the ring, then it's over. If he were to lose in this Super Bowl, he's still in a great spot for it, but he would have to do some more statistically for another couple years in another spot if he's not in Kansas City. That's the thing. We talk dynasties from a bigger picture perspective of here's a team that went through a dynasty in sports history, and where does that put you as an organization? But when you look at dynasty, especially with the Patriots, it wasn't just, Hall of Fame. It's not like they just only are going to have Tom Brady.
Julian Edelman was a great player for them, or Wes Welker. Those guys aren't Hall of Famers.
But there were also multiple players other than just the obvious Gronk and Brady that are going to be Hall of Famers too, though. I mean, that
Willie McGinnis.
Sure. So
you don't necessarily think of him first or second.
Not just going to be Mahomes and Kelsey that get in. It's going to be a player like Chris Jones that ends up getting in.
Who else do you think on this list?
Yeah.
Who do you think will end up a Hall of Famer? Out of curiosity, outside of that, do you think Creed Humphrey will end up a Hall of Famer?
He would have to play another 10-plus years and be an All-Pro multiple years.
So too early.
Yeah.
Too early.
By the
way,
way, there's only so many centers in the Hall of Fame to begin with. I don't know the exact number. It's not like there's
not that many. It's a very small number.
Now I'm curious. I'll pull it up.
Jason Kelsey will be the next one.
Yes.
It's too early on Karlaftis. It's too early on McDuffie.
Yeah.
Right? Those guys are good players. McDuffie would be on that I've been in the league for 2 years Hall of Fame track. Is there not a single other one outside of Kelsey, Jones, and Mahomes, though?
There's, I believe, 9 centers.
What about Joe Tooney? He's a lock, right?
In the
Joe Tooney's going to have 5 Hall of Fame rings. I know he's not going to play in this game, dude, but
Cody,
he's going to get enough credit for that, isn't he?
The offensive linemen are tricky, though. The offensive linemen are there's some great offensive linemen that are still waiting to get into the Hall of Fame, and I know the rings solve a lot of that problem to get you over
Joe
the hump.
Tooney,
Yeah,
it does.
I just think there's always tricky conversations when it comes to linemen. There's only
he'd only be a
centers.
2-time All-Pro, 2-time Pro Bowler. That hurts him. If he wins this one, he'd be a 4-time Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, I mean, how many?
So fringe. 4 rings is a lot of rings.
I know, but it's not. When you're talking about a guard, sometimes it's a little trickier.
I'm just looking across the board. I think the only locks right now are the 3 we mentioned. The only ones I know for sure right now that would be in the Hall of Fame on this current Super Bowl team are Jones, Kelsey, and Mahomes. Out of the entire dynasty run, you and I both know that they can add Tyreek Hill to that list because he will eventually.
Yeah, you're talking
be a
about
Hall of
current
Famer.
guys on this team right
Yeah,
now.
current roster guys. I think that's kind of it.
They got a young roster too, Cody. They got a very young roster. So that's going to lead
that's where
down
you
a
just
path.
don't know who it's going to be or not.
Yeah, do I think that there is somebody else we're not talking about on this roster that one day could be a Hall of Famer? Yeah, there probably is. There's some positions that are trickier than others too. Some you got to be healthy for 10+ years playing at an All-Pro level. If you're a center because there's only 9 of them in NFL history anyway, you've got to. People are still debating whether or not, Jason Kelsey, not if he's a Hall of Famer, whether or not he's a first ballot Hall of Famer or not. He may not even be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think he is, but there's people that are debating that whenever Jason Kelsey hangs it up, and he still hasn't officially retired, by the way.
Over on Twitch, Chess saying, Butker? You got a shot at
kickers are again, it goes back.
How many kickers are
tough.
in? And they're going to put Tucker in, so they're really going to put a second kicker in? That's the other problem. If they put Tucker in, are they going to go 2 kickers? How many kickers are in?
5.
That's it? Total?
4 place kickers, 1 punter. 5. So they label it as kickers. 4 place.
There's no other punters getting
it. So
just the Ray guy.
So
right?
So 4 place kickers.
And we're supposed to think 2 in this era. I will say this. This is the most accurate kickers have ever been. So that helps them. They'll be better.
Yeah, there was a point in time where, like, if
I'll
50
say
yards,
this. You want to talk about rings matter for the most for the Hall of Fame? Kicker.
Yeah, I just...
You have like 9 of them.
Positional value hurts a lot of these guys that we're talking about and how the position is perceived. And you have to, if you're a kicker, you got to be the best kicker in NFL history, which is what Justin Tucker's going to end up being to get in. So I don't believe Butker will end up in the Hall of Fame, no. People are talking about L'Jarius Sneed. Again, he's got to play at this level for He's got to play at this level for another 6 years, another 5 years. That's the problem. He's having an unbelievable season, but nobody was even talking about him a year ago.
He's never been an All-Pro.
Yeah.
He's never been a Pro Bowler. Like, they do count these things when you're talking about Hall of Fame. He's a very good player for the Chiefs. He'll be in the Ring of Honor.
Yeah, Harrison Butker also is another one. Obviously, Harrison Butker will be in the Chiefs Ring of Honor, but the Pro Football Hall of Fame is a completely different conversation. There will be somebody else on the roster, though, that nobody's talking about that's on a rookie contract right now that has a chance. Because if you are a dynasty and you go on dynasty runs, it's not just the quarterback and your best receiving option that get in. There are other pieces. You don't have dynasties just with the quarterback and just with the top receiving threat that is playing at a Hall of Fame level. And Chris Jones is the other one, and there will be somebody else. Now, in the NFL nowadays, right, free agency complicates it. So how many years of the dynasty are you actually part of?
Matters. I mean, again, those 3 would be the only ones that were Hall of Fame players, no doubt, that were a part of all 3. But some guys will just get the ancillary stuff that they were great players and just went somewhere else. Carrington was right, though. I hadn't thought about Chris Jones as being such a lock until I really looked at all pros and Super Bowls, and you're like, okay, that's done. The rest of the sack stuff doesn't matter.
Someone said, hey, look, the Chiefs already have 1 kicker in the Hall of Fame. This is true. But it's just very difficult.
So they're going to get 2 in somehow?
Wasn't it Jan Stenerud who handed the Lamar Hunt trophy just this past Sunday?
I
believe that was Jan Stenerud who handed it to Clark Hunt. I believe that was him. Yeah.
We've had Jan on this show, I believe. Or I've had him on. Maybe on this show.
Maybe not this one.
I don't want to say for sure. Jan Stenerud has been on a show.
For sure.
That I spoke on. I thought maybe it was this one, but you know what? I'm not going to keep track of every guest that's across the board. Earlier, we complained about both. I didn't complain. We were talking about the complaints from Jed York specifically, but also Nick Bosa tossed in there. That's not the only person going on San Francisco radio to complain. Did you hear from former Chiefs rival Bill Romanowski yesterday?
He was on our sister station.
The one that we have to beat, by the way, when we go to Circa, so it's important that you guys meet us out there the Thursday of Super Bowl week.
And this is what Romanowski had to say. They asked him about Patrick Mahomes, what he sees from the Chiefs.
I believe Mahomes is a crybaby.
Okay. That's coming from him? Didn't he spit on a guy's face once?
Spit on a guy's face. Yeah.
Is that not a crybaby move, or is that like a hard-ass move in his view? I think if you spit at someone, that's like detestable to the point that you're being kind of a baby about it, if that makes sense. We're going to take advice from this guy's drug-riddled brain. We sure that this is a guy. Actually, you know, Drew, will you try to get him on Radio Row? And I'll tell him.
I think we actually have a decent shot of that potentially
If you get
happening.
Bill Romanowski on Radio Row, I'll tell him he's a crybaby.
Bill Romanowski is probably still roided out. Yes, he will. He's still roided out at this point, I'm imagine, Cody.
Not can he kick my ass. If I call him a crybaby,
He will get up out of his chair.
Is he going to try to kick my ass?
He's going to get up out of the chair, turn, and say, "You want to go?"
I would love it. Get him on Radio Row because he's usually there, as you said, and we'll have him on the show, Drew, and we'll ask him why does he think Mahomes is a crybaby, and then we'll say, well, don't you think maybe some of your playing style represented the same that you would be a crybaby as well? Flips the table, Cody. Cody stands up once he flips the table and says, you want to go. Drew's filming the whole thing. Yeah.
TMZ's going to show up out of nowhere.
To answer your question, yes, he would still kick your ass. But of course he's bitching about this. Every single team Bill Romanowski played for
was against the Chiefs.
Against the Chiefs. But Patrick Mahomes kicks their team's ass now to this day. He played for the Broncos, the Raiders, the 49ers, and I think the Eagles. Well, the Chiefs just beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs, for up until this year, had won 16 in a row or whatever it was against the Broncos.
Won
a Super Bowl against the 49ers. And then the Raiders suck, and they're the Chiefs' arch rival for many, many, many years. So, of course, Romanowski hates Mahomes because he knows that the Chiefs are going to continue to beat up on teams he played for. He's a Chiefs hater. We hate Bill Romanowski just as much. I was just surprised that he was on San Francisco station yesterday, and he went to I expected him just to hate on the Chiefs or like downplay the greatness of Mahomes or whatever. But to call him a crybaby is absolutely ridiculous.
It's also, there are way bigger crybabies in the league. Everyone's basing that off of one game against the Bills. I'm telling you, by the way, the text line doesn't believe me. This is a promise. If Drew puts Bill Romanowski on the show, we'll have a couple of minutes of the interview and we'll ask him normal questions. And then I'll say, it seems like you're kind of being the crybaby.
Oh, no, I think we start the interview, actually.
Okay, fine.
We get
that might be the end of the interview.
That's fine.
It's honestly good for the show if Bill Romanowski kicks my ass, right? Just make sure he doesn't kill me. That's all I'm asking you guys, is to make sure he doesn't murder me. Because I'm a little worried about that end. I was looking up his current size, according to Wikipedia. Age 57, it currently lists him at 6'4", 255 pounds. Jeez. So, I mean, I'll be honest. I don't say much of a fight in that.
Bill Romanowski probably is in the top 5 of most hated players, according to Chiefs fans in the league. Right? Like, Elway is one that Chiefs fans will always hate. I think Bill Romanowski is in the top 5. Absolutely in the top 5 of most hated players on the Chiefs side of things. Like, I can't stand Bill Romanowski.
No, he sucks.
He's an a-hole. He's a steroid guy.
We'll see
he
if we can
spits in players' faces. Now he's calling the greatest quarterback in football right now, and maybe eventually the greatest of all time.
I'll also ask him if he thinks he's one of the dirtiest players in NFL history. Do you think you're one of the dirtiest players in NFL history? God, he is really
He might
gonna
embrace
kick my
that.
ass.
He might embrace that, actually.
He might.
He probably embraces that part of it. No, let's get him on the
I'm
show.
going to need some back. Like, let's hope that we're sitting next to a table full of someone who looks strong. You know what? There's a lot of security. Security's not going to let Bill Romanowski kill me. I mean, he'd definitely get a punch in. I'd look pretty rough the rest of the
You'd
week.
be knocked out.
In one punch, I get knocked out?
Yeah, from Bill Romanowski, you would.
I mean, I'll just be honest. I'll do whatever it takes to win. I will bite. I will gouge eyes. I'm just going to make it very clear that if I have to get in a physical fight with Bill Romanowski, I will do whatever it takes in order to survive said fight. Because I can't win under normal circumstances.
Yeah, I just don't think you don't want to talk to him for 4 or 5 minutes and then get to what we were.
That's true.
Right away.
Might as well
over
just
with.
get it out of the way.
Yeah, because we have no interest in talking to him otherwise.
So if he knocks you out, you don't want me to call for security. You don't want me to call for anybody. You want me
Get
to come
video
up
first.
You want me to,
Get video first. Your job is to get video. Security will figure it out.
Zoom in on your face like they do in the boxing matches after somebody
Yeah.
gets cleaned out.
No, if we get him at our table, we definitely will call him out for the comment. What
you
happens
can say
after
like Chris Tucker on top of me, Gold Can. I don't care.
Whatever happens after that, I don't know. But if we get him on at Radio Row, because he's usually there, we will definitely ask him about his crybaby comment, and we'll see what happens. How he reacts will dictate the whole situation. Drew will have it on video one way or the other, and yeah, it could be an all-time moment in show history. For your wife's sake, I don't know if you want to get punched. I don't think that's going to be good for your family. We do need to check, make sure how's the net worth looking for Bill Romanowski to pay out.
Oh, yeah, that's a great question.
Some insurance claims and things like that.
That's just real
you got
quick.
your health
Have to get my
insurance.
lawyer
Your health
on that.
insurance is good, right? You're good to go.
If I walk around, if I actually get him and I'm walking next to him and we're coming up to the table, I'll already have my video on my phone turned on. I'll be ready to go for right when they sit down. The moment that you guys are sitting next to each other.
Bill Romanowski, current net worth around $4 million, according to CelebrityNetWorth.com.
So he'll have to sell all his assets once.
Yeah, that's fine. Good. Sell off those Super Bowl rings or whatever, man. I don't care.
Yeah, I think we just play the clip back for him and say, hey, what's up with this, man? What's up with this?
The text line's backing you up. They said they put a unit on you on money line for you to win.
Money line for me to win? What's that, like plus 2,000?
Text line points it out, Cody, too. Based on the steroid use from Romanowski, he's lucky we don't unit shame when it comes to gambling on this show.
it's true.
If you know what I'm saying. If you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. He's
Yep.
very lucky. Very, very lucky.
Could be a problem for him.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk to our guy Pete Sweeney coming up next. Maybe Pete will give us some advice on how to handle Romanowski on Radio Row. Pete Sweeney joins us next. We'll get his thoughts on where things are at injury-wise and what he makes of how the Chiefs are handling this week leading up to next week's Super Bowl.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Don't miss the Chiefs Red Half Hour every weekday starting at 11:30 on your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
At Shane Company, we believe we're all made to shine. This Valentine's Day, celebrate the love of your life, your best friend, or your best self with unique fine jewelry from Shane Company. We're passionate about sourcing the most beautiful and vibrant gemstones from around the world so everyone can shine bright. We take the time to ensure each piece of jewelry is expertly crafted so it can be treasured forever. Visit Shane Company and discover Valentine's Day gifts for everyone, your new crush or your soulmate. Let them know how much you care with fine jewelry designed by us, guaranteed for life, for free. Radiant red rubies, pink sapphires, diamond hearts, gorgeous jewelry with all the colors and symbols of love. This Valentine's Day, give a necklace with a gemstone as special as your love, a gold ring engraved with a date you'll never forget, earrings that make their eyes sparkle. Give a gift that was made to shine. Shane Company. Fine jewelry since 1929.
I know there's somebody that's been listening to me for years talk about DuraVision and how much I've loved it and how it's truly been the best decision ever going in for a free consultation and finding out that I was a candidate for LASIK. And now I sometimes forget that I even ever wore contacts or glasses. That can be you too, thanks to DuraVision. And now is an unreal opportunity to actually take advantage of it. Because when you're thinking about DuraVision, you might be wondering about the costs and how do I do this? Am I a candidate? Right now, number one, there's free consultations. There's always free consultations, but there's also an opportunity to save up to $1,000 with the friends and family event going on right now. You just got to schedule that consultation. Pick up the phone and call 913-491-3330, or maybe you just want to go online. That's fine too. DuraVision.com. You can even schedule that consultation right on the website. They make it easy for you, and they are simply the best in Kansas City. So take advantage of a chance to save up to $1,000 on LASIK by going to DuraVision.com. Schedule that free consultation and tell them Gold from 610 sent you.
If you are pumped for the big game, come to Pure at 350 Highway and Nolan Road and party with the world-famous Pure Girls. Pure, voted the #1 gentleman's club in the Midwest. The best luxury VIP rooms, the most beautiful women, and open till 3 a.m. We're going to Las Vegas, Nevada, baby. Party at Pure, 350 Highway and Nolan Road. And remember, always free Uber rides at Pure.
How would you like to make no mortgage payments for 2 months? Are you tired of making minimum payments on high-interest credit cards? Is student loan repayment giving you the blues? Your home equity is at an all-time high. Use that equity to save hundreds every month. Call 913-890-GOLD now and give yourself a payment break. That's 913-890-GOLD. Or visit goldenoaklending.com. NMLS 114937.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure that you'll get your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
And Jackson Hewitt also guarantees the accuracy of your return for life. So don't just sit there. For your biggest refund guaranteed, walk into a Jackson Hewitt today and dance out Jackson Hewitt! Yeah!
I lock up my Old Spice Fiji aluminum-free dry spray to keep that 24/7 lasting freshness safe for myself. Fresh coconuts, palm trees in the wind. It's like catching waves in Fiji. Actually, I just talked myself into a refreshing spritz of Fiji. My Old Spice is missing! No!
When a cold keeps you up, try NyQuil Severe Honey Flavor. The nighttime, sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, Honeylicious, best sleep with a cold medicine. Powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a dreamy honey taste to give your body the rest it needs to get that cold gone. Wake up refreshed, feeling relieved after enjoying the delicious flavor of NyQuil Severe Honey. NyQuil Severe Honey Flavor, use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
At Granger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgranger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
NFL playoff coverage on 610 Sports Radio is brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
He'll get it again behind left guard. Triangle out, pushing, touchdown! Kansas City! The Ravens defense has only averaged giving up 16 points a game this year. The Chiefs have 14 if they get the PAT in their first 2 drives.
Proud to be your official broadcast partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. 610 Sports Radio. KCSP Kansas City. WDAF HD2 Liberty. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Pete Sweeney, Pete Sweeney,
Pete Sweeney. Pete Sweeney. Pete Sweeney. Pete Sweeney. Pete Sweeney. Pete Sweeney.
It is a Red Friday. That means it's time to check in with our Chiefs insider, the editor-in-chief over at Arrowhead Pride, presented by Mark Ferguson, the attorney that's been helping KC sports fans with all their legal needs since 1996. Integrity Results, that's Mark Ferguson, and it is Pete Sweeney with us, who will be making his way out to Las Vegas around, the same time as us? You leaving Sunday?
Monday. I'm going Monday morning.
Okay.
Are you crashing with us again? You've not asked. Do you have your own place?
This time I have my own Airbnb, so I don't have to be on a couch trying to sleep while you guys are doing a podcast nobody's listening to.
You know what? I take that as a dig.
Damn. He's
talking.
Very low listen what was the name of the podcast you and Nick did? What was the name of it?
Always Game Day in Kansas City.
Is that still around? Somebody else doing it?
It is defunct.
Okay.
I mean, it might have been picked up by somebody. I don't want to say for sure.
Gold. I'm not making that joke if it's not defunct. You got to know that.
Well, I mean, we didn't know if somebody else in the Odyssey family has picked that one up or something. But are you now?
No.
Can you tell? And I don't want to spoil anything, but I was, when I go out of town, I like to clean my apartment before I go, so when I come back, it's not a mess. And so when I was doing that, I was dusting the TV cabinet, if you will, and of course on that TV cabinet, I have a book from Pete Sweeney. Are you ready to write another book?
So, no, I'm not doing this season. I'm actually not really exactly sure who is, but there could be, in the case of a win, there could be kind of like a 5-year thing potentially being talked about. So we'll see. I mean, we're in the we'll see process.
Is the word you're trying to avoid saying is Dynasty?
Well, no, the last book said Dynasty on
Dynasty.
it. The last book was like A Dynasty Begins or something.
Yeah, the last book was A Dynasty Begins. I'm not exactly sure if they won a championship, what this year
Super
would
Dynasty
be called. But, yeah, I mean, it's been, I think you could call the last half decade from 18 on probably the most important time for the Chiefs in their history. So, I don't know. We'll see if there's something there where, you can kind of talk about how they've gotten the 3 titles in so many years.
Pete, I think when you look at it and you talk to other people who cover teams nationally or around those Patriots dynasty, does this one get viewed any different, knowing that if Patrick Mahomes wins this one, he will have won the Super Bowl in half of the years he's been a starter? He would have gone to the Super Bowl in 85% of the seasons in which he was a starter. Like, I mean, it does start to get kind of ridiculous when you look at the numbers individually.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's unfathomable. It shouldn't be allowed to happen. But the Chiefs have just been really good, I think, about not only keeping Mahomes happy, but having him in a place where he feels like he can still improve from being the best quarterback in the NFL. And I think he does that to an extent each and every year. Like if you look at this year and his growth when it comes to situational football and realizing what the team is and being able to adapt on the fly, I think he's been outstanding in that sense. And I think what I'm starting to see, and it's to the joy, I think, of some football fans, it's to the dismay of others, certainly to the extreme happiness of Kansas City. I think if he wins this one, you're going to start to see the Brady comparisons. I think people were a little bit hesitant to go all the way with that, but I feel like if you're able to accomplish 3 titles in so many years and you're better than him in a lot of other numbers, I think you're starting to see people say, I mean, are we in the midst of someone who's going to be able to catch this person, at a certain point? I mean, he's only 28 years old. Being able to get that third is going to be a key there in a long journey, but that's where it's at right now. And like I said, I think it's really been great for Kansas Cityans, and they love it. But you can really start to sense that people are getting super, super annoyed of the Chiefs and their show.
How big of a deal is the experience, not necessarily on the field, but this week, the experience of being able to sit back if you're Andy Reid and go through this routine yet again, which is kind of preparing, right? Like this is a game day week, but not actually going to play a football game on Sunday.
Yeah, the most confusing part of Andy Reid is he makes up the week as he goes along based upon what he's doing. So as of right now, I know that it's Friday for us, but it's football Thursday for them, but also the Thursday before the real Thursday. Like it gets very confusing.
Sure.
So they're preparing right now as if the game is Monday. So it would be like a Monday Night Football schedule, and they'll go through their second practice today. They'll have a a third one on Saturday, and just like they would for any game, they'll fly, before what is a busy time on Monday, and then they'll reset the schedule on Wednesday and review. And it was telling yesterday when you just heard that Patrick Mahomes has this whole routine where he writes things down 3 times to try to remember them. And in a Super Bowl week, it seems like he'll go through that process twice. So there's no, we always were wondering, well, what's the key for a bye week in Kansas City? Maybe that's it. It's just Patrick Mahomes having extra time to review the game plan put in, and he knows his game plan better than any all year.
On either side of the ball for the Chiefs, is there a bigger matchup than Snead versus Ayuk?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest one for me is McCaffrey against the defense. It was very strange that the Ravens got away from the run. I think, at times when we've seen the Chiefs defense vulnerable and being able to be thrown around a little bit, it's been against the run. And so I think it's just establishing that that's not going to work. They are going to be able to stop Christian McCaffrey. I think just picking out one pass catcher is tough just because they have Kittle and they have Deebo Samuel, and there are so many options. I think generally the key point for me defensively is just don't let CMC ruin the game. And maybe they'll do what the Ravens did and just choose to throw the whole game. I'm saying that in jest. I didn't get that at all. But, that to me is the point to watch.
I think what was funny about that is, Harbaugh spoke about it this morning, and he mentioned the fact that they only had the ball for 9 minutes. They couldn't get to it. And Andy Reid, I think if you listen to what Travis Kelce said on New Heights, he said that was kind of Andy's plan from the beginning, get him out of that. I know that they didn't defer off of that against the Lions, but that's got to be the same approach, right? Put them on their heels a little bit and make Brock Purdy come get you.
Yeah, I think that's what you want. I mean, you got to just shut down the run game and say, Brock, not only are you going to have to throw this, but you're going to be really confused doing it because Steve Spagnuolo is going to have a myriad of coverages. And, you're seeing the Bill Barnwells of the world kind of post, the dots and where they're showing one high and then suddenly it's too high and they think they might have room and then they don't. Or, disguising of, well, maybe in this look, Trent McDuffie was on one-on-one coverage, but now all of a sudden he's just chasing you. And it's especially for a young quarterback and one who has never played in this game. I mean, it's just an ultimate advantage. Being able to rattle someone who's never played in the Super Bowl that may be playing in their only one in their career. I mean, this is abnormal that the Chiefs are making this many. Let's keep saying that. But, the nerves get to you. And so I think it's establishing no run early, and then let's get to Brock Purdy. Let's confuse him, and let's see him get rattled and tailspin into some of those quicksand games that we saw him this year.
We're talking to Pete Sweeney from Arrowhead Pride. He's presented by Mark Ferguson. So, injury-wise, I know we're, 9 days out from the game, but Joe Thuney not practicing, no surprise. We already know Charles Omenihu's done with the torn ACL. How do you believe this is going to go the next couple of days heading into next week with guys like Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, and Joe Thuney?
Yeah, I think Joe Thuney is going to be working hard to try and play in this game. I was talking to someone this morning about maybe putting a percentage on it. I think it's slim. I think you're probably in the 10 to 25% range that maybe he could work his way to a place of playing. They haven't ruled him out yet. They're still trying to see where he's going to be at. I think once they get to Vegas, Nick Allegretti was fine. I mean, that's the main thing. Stepped up in a big spot. That's why they have the O-line depth. We saw what happened in 2020, and ever since then, the Chiefs have had basically 10, starters at the position, so that nothing like that could ever happen again. And Allegretti is certainly one of the better backups. I feel okay there. But not ruling Toney out yet. Thuney. Now to Toney. Very close names. I don't know how Toney's active in this game. I mean, I know he was taken off the injury report yesterday. I sense with him it's going to be more of the Clyde thing where he'll come and be there in case of injury or emergency. And, I think that'll be it. I don't see someone who hasn't played since December suddenly being put into this type of atmosphere and game, and the Chiefs have really done well without him. And not to say that he can't rebound and do something next year, either here or elsewhere, but I just don't think it's in the cards. Similar feeling on Sky. I mean, he remains on injured reserve. He had a setback. He's been limited. It's not like the Chiefs are rushing necessarily to get these receivers back in maybe a way that they're doing with Joe Thuney, who is an all-pro at his position.
Pete, I know that offensively they don't line up, but how close do you think that the 49ers are to what the Ravens brought out talent-wise? They both scored in the top 5. They both had defenses in the top 5. how close is the talent level of just the totality of the team as far as difficulty of opponent for the Chiefs next week?
And I'm way more impressed with the offense the 49ers provide. I mean, to me, it's like a Pro Bowl All-Star type of team, more so than the Ravens. I mean, I know that the Ravens were good offensively too, but it drove from their run game, which they weren't able to really do against the Chiefs. I think the 49ers can beat you both in the run and the pass. Compared to the defense, though, I think the defense hasn't really been playing that well in the postseason. You saw 300 yards against Jordan Love and the Packers, over 400 yards with the Lions, and I think that's where the difference is in the game. Makes me feel good about the Chiefs is the Chiefs defense has never flinched. The 49ers defense really hasn't played well since maybe like the middle to the end of the season, and now you're getting a Chiefs offense that's kind of figured it out already. And not to say that I'm just assuming, hey, they're going to throw for 30 points and score 30 on the 49ers, but just a little bit more, I think, vulnerable than they've been maybe early on in the season, and that to me is the mismatch. You have a elite Chiefs defense and above-average Chiefs offense, probably going up against what you would consider an elite 49ers offense, but a weaker defense, and that to me is the disparity in the game.
All right, well, Pete, we'll see you multiple times next week, but also Thursday night. We've got a party out at Circa. Hopefully you show up. That's definitely an invite for you.
Thank you very much. I will be there. I know that Drew has said before we got on that he wants to cannonball into the pool. And so
there
I'm
are
looking forward
pools.
to it.
Wow.
It's going to be
With
a little
that
chilly.
weather? I don't know.
It's going to be, in the high 50s. It'll be a little chilly.
Pete, will you back me up if Bill Romanowski tries to beat me up?
Why would he do that?
I'm going to tell him he's a crybaby.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's a little bit of a cry. I'm always down to provide backup, but if there are punches thrown, I'm out of there. I can't get it.
You'll verbally back me up, but you're not willing to actually fight.
I'm very good at I try to stay around as many of my bigger friends as possible, and I will, I'll verbally harass you. But once there's punches, I got to be behind somebody. This is the moneymaker.
I mean, Pete, because you looking around Radio Row, and there's going to be athletes all over the place, and then you're going to see a table that says 610 Sports Radio, and then if you're Bill Romanowski, you're going to walk up and you're going to see three intimidating individuals: Cody Tapp, myself, and Drew Nixon. I mean, when you see us in person, look out.
You got some length to you, Al. You got a big wingspan. I think you might be the protector of this group, believe it or not.
Yeah, Cody's.
I think you are.
I'm the only one who's been in a fight.
Cody, we've talked about doing a charity boxing match before between Cody and I, which I'm still open to doing, by the way.
Yeah, I think you guys should get with like that Journey Pro Crew and do a staged wrestling match. I think that's probably more on the cards than an actual fight.
All right, Pete. Safe travels, and we'll see you in Vegas next week.
All right, guys.
There you go. That's Pete Sweeney. He's presented by Mark Ferguson, the attorney that's been helping KC sports fans with all their legal needs since 1996. Integrity Results, that's Mark Ferguson. And I don't know. Cody, you might be needing an attorney if you're going to be causing fights on Radio Row.
You think Mark Ferguson will?
Absolutely.
You think he'll represent me? Does he handle?
He's been helping KC sports fans with all their legal needs, Cody, since 1996.
I need a lawyer to get Romanowski's money. I just want to make sure he's good for that. I'm never going to.
You might actually have to seriously consider this because I reached out and I received a single word yes.
Wait, you reached out to Bill Romanowski?
To him, yes.
You have his number?
I got his number.
Okay, so you texted Bill Romanowski. And he's good to come on the show next week.
I asked him if he would like to come on the show and talk about the game. And
he knows
said,
we're in Kansas City, right?
I did say we were in KC.
Okay.
I said the show name, and he said yes.
So
I am waiting for a response on what day and time works best, but hopefully we can set something up.
Tell him thanks and be ready to fight. Could you imagine if he'd be like, what the hell are you guys talking about? Who the hell are you?
Okay, so I guess Bill Romanowski's coming on the show next week, and I'm going to have to actually call him a crybaby. I can't back off those words now.
I hope we can get it confirmed and something set up for real. And
I believe Mahomes is a crybaby.
Okay. Yeah. Next week, Radio Row. We'll let you know when he's coming on the show.
He agreed to that awfully quick. Was he listening to the segment?
He's usually, he actually usually is there promoting some.
I will say,
some supplement or something.
He said yes, maybe a minute after I texted him. He
knows. He knows we heard what he said last week or yesterday. I'm sorry. He knows we heard that.
He'd love the opportunity to come back.
Are you going to tell him that he's one of your least favorite players of all
that
time?
I will say for sure. Absolutely. Okay. I think he'll enjoy that.
We'll see how next week goes.
I think he'll enjoy that. If I say, look, I grew up in Kansas City, and you were one of the players I hate the most.
Like Pete, I'm sorry. I don't provide any sort of help from a physical standpoint.
Drew's offering zero backup.
Yeah, someone said you need to go
you.
pick up some brass knuckles, Cody, if you have any chance.
Jeez.
It's fine. Someone says, I'll donate $100 to the show fund if you call him a crybaby and then take a punch.
They want you to take the punch. That's the.
I'll take the punch if he swings.
No, you won't.
You are not going to defend yourself. You're just going to sit there and
You're not
take
going to just stand there and let him.
You can't.
You're not.
What am I
going to
do? Tackle him?
No.
If he starts
you're going to
swinging,
block it.
I might throw a fist up. Take the punches in like I just got to stand there like it's a cartoon.
The way you just
he's
said
gonna
it is
hammer punch me into the ground like I'm
The way you said is you're going to be a boxing bag and you're just going to stand there.
maybe one. I mean, one.
I don't
might
think
be
you
all
can
it
do it. I
takes.
don't think you would do it.
I think you have to try to defend.
I don't know, man. Like when he hears what Terry Bradshaw thought of you,
And I think I'm still talking to Alex because the sissy guy hadn't said a word yet.
that's the guy that's going to challenge Bill Romanowski.
That's
The guy
one
that Terry
Hall of
Bradshaw-
Famer's opinion of me.
One Hall of Famer. That's the guy.
That is one of the funniest stories that I've heard from before I was here. It's just, that's hilarious.
Someone says, I dislike Bill. He's going to kill all three of you. Of course.
I'm not getting involved. I'm filming it. I'm not getting involved.
Yeah, Drew's job.
We might have the show might be live streaming anyway. If not, we'll have video clips. We're waiting to find out how things are technologically set up when we get out there. But we'll have video clips of a lot of things.
Somebody's going to screen record it anyways if they're watching on their phone. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
I don't even have to do it.
It'll be video.
Oh, my goodness.
Someone says I'll give us $25 if you can just piss him off enough to make him walk away. Okay. Well, that's $25.
That's a possibility.
I have to get punched and I can get a quarter of the money. Not bad. Not bad.
People offering their
It
security.
is not up to me how you guys go about it. It's my job to help set it up. So I'll be there and I will be filming.
And then, so if Cody was laying on the ground needing help, you'd just stand there? Is that what you're saying?
No, what I said is if you get punched in the face and you're actually legitimately, you might be knocked out, I'm going to do what they do during the UFC fights and during the boxing matches. I'm going to walk up and I'm going to zoom in where they look at you right in your face. Oh, yeah.
Okay, I mean, maybe, God, when
I'll
is
help
it
you
better
after
early
that,
or later in
yes.
the week? I want to be feeling better by the time the actual game starts. So if I'm getting in a fight with Bill Romanowski, I'd prefer it be early in the week.
You would rather me book it for
I'd rather
Monday
have a couple of
instead
days to like
Friday.
Get to urgent care.
See, I need it to be later in the week. That way, if you're out, that way I have a co-host for most of the week, and that's
see.
what I need.
I see.
That's
You don't want me missing a couple of days.
No, I don't.
You missed 2 days last year.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes extenuating circumstances,
Yeah,
I wasn't bothered by you missing last year. It happens.
Yeah.
People get sick. Sometimes
Yeah.
people get punched in the face by Bill Romanowski.
That's a little bit different. Yeah, that's a little bit different. That's going to be just a different scenario for you.
Trash of the day.
Okay. We're all flying to Vegas. And there's plane etiquette we've discussed numerous times. And one of the things we've talked about, and I think you actually disagreed with this, though, is that when the plane lands and the plane finally gets to the gate, the plane doors are still shut, and you're in row 30, you don't need to get up as quickly as possible and stand in the aisleway because guess what? There's another 70 people still in front of you. Okay? We've talked about this.
Yeah, I told you I'm not as bothered by it as others. I don't really. Okay. I don't know that their standing bothers me, but
Philadelphia woman
not
is
required.
facing charges after she was accused of yelling at the flight crew and passengers, and she threatened to pee in the aisle of a Frontier flight from Florida. So it's a 6-year-old passenger.
Okay.
And here's what they claim happened. As the plane was nearing the airport, the passenger stood up and told a flight attendant she needed to go to the bathroom. The attendant told the woman she needed to stay in her seat, at which point the passenger started yelling, cursing at the flight attendant before sitting back down. The plane then lands, was taxiing to the gate. The woman then starts cursing at passengers around her. As soon as the seatbelt sign was turned off, she jumps up, started pushing past other passengers to get to the front of the plane. She stopped by the flight attendants before she gets to the front of the plane bathroom.
Okay.
So then she turns to the other passengers and says, "Sorry, everybody," then pulls her pants down and squats down to the aisle as if she was going to urinate.
Why didn't they just let her go to the bathroom?
But she did not actually urinate.
Oh.
When the flight crew tried to get past the passenger to stop her from potentially opening any of the plane doors, the woman, quote, used her belly to bump one of the attendants. She now faces possibly 21 years in prison.
Whoa. 21? Man, he can't do anything on that.
Along with a $355,000 fine and 3 years of supervised release if convicted.
$350,000.
The reason why it's also even worse, the complaint noted that children were nearby as the woman exposed herself.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. So I guess, Mike, I understand like the safety rules for all this, but if it's like an emergency situation, can't we make some exceptions for the bathroom rule?
She was already being belligerent.
Like, belligerent doesn't help,
before.
but like, if I was like, if the plane was taxiing and I went and like, the flight attendant's like, hey, sir, you guys sit down. I'd be like, I'm just telling you right now, this is an emergency situation.
I know, but you can't stand up when that's happening, man.
If I don't go to the bathroom now, this is going to be a problem. Please. I think you got to be nicer about it. I think you could have gone. I think if you're like, I'm begging you. Like, I'm just telling you right now, this is about to be a problem. Please, I'm begging you, let me go to the bathroom. I think they'd let you go.
I don't know. She was, like you said, she was already yelling at other passengers. Remember, she had pushed past passengers. Like, she's shoving them out of the way to work. Like, so she was very aggressive about the whole thing.
Just out of curiosity, what is everyone's big hang-up about people standing? Like, they're not getting in your...
It's that...
Yeah, but you just don't want to sit anymore.
No, I don't think it is that. Like, one thing if you undo your seatbelt and you stand while you're in front of your seat, but the issue is someone will already, like, grab their bag and, like, they're standing there, and there's already, 70 other people in front of you. What's your hurry? What's your rush in, like, kind of getting people out of the way for you?
I'll say if you're getting in the aisle different
with
your bag.
That's what I'm talking about.
But if you just if you're in an aisle seat and you just stand up in the aisle, not collecting anything, you just want to stretch because you're physically stopped. I don't really see, and like, you don't have to stand, but I don't really care. Like, I don't do it, but I don't care that somebody else does.
I get it if someone's got a connecting flight and they're stressing out. They got to get to the next gate. I totally understand that. But if you're sitting in row 12D and the guy in row 15, like, you're still sitting down because you got 30 people in front of you, and the guy from row 15, he's already standing up with his bag right next to you, so then you can't get out of your seat. That's when I get pissed off.
I will say I'm not quite like that.
Someone says that person's rear end is in someone's face too while you're waiting to get out.
I mean, we have to accept a certain amount of uncomfortable physical bodies near each other in an airplane. We've already accepted that.
Yeah.
I don't think the ass in the face is like drawing the line. Airplanes were already like designed in a way in which you're sharing an armrest. There's just already a lot of.
Well, if I remember right, again, I haven't flown in a little bit, but as soon as the plane lands and everything, once the carriers for your carry-on get opened up, that's when I'll get up regardless of how the line's going. I'll get my stuff and then I'll just
put it in the seat. So Drew does do exactly what you're saying.
I do, but hang on.
You're not trying to cut in front of people.
I never cut in front of people. I'm never standing in the aisle waiting for somebody else to. I'm never that person. I will get my stuff just so that I have it. So when it's my turn, I don't have a problem with that.
I do like all the suggestions, by the way, people are giving me for the Romanowski fight. Like, even like if we're doing like blood sport, maybe I could just like dip my hands in glass or something. Really protect myself. Well, I'm not going to I can't bring brass knuckles in there. There's metal detectors.
So are you saying, Goldie, that when we land, if we're not sitting around each other, you're going to find me and see if I'm being
I'm not
guy?
going to be searching for you. Okay. Yeah. Are you going to sit as far away as possible from us?
No, I want a window seat. I love the window seat. I've never sat in a plane without the window seat. I love the window seat.
Got to have the aisle.
I'm fine with window or aisle, obviously.
Got to have the aisle.
Nobody wants to sit in the middle.
I like to look outside and I take pictures of the clouds and stuff. I love it. I love it.
We're not flying into Vegas at night, but there is nothing like the flight into Vegas at night and you see the Strip, and it's the best. It's the best.
You can
experience.
see that when you're leaving,
but when you're leaving, you'll be at that point it's a different feeling.
Also recommending I take my glasses off before.
I would. If it's going to go down like that, I would take your glasses off.
You're on Radio Raw. You take the glasses off. Say, Bill?
That's a good idea.
I think you're being a crybaby.
You're the crybaby.
And the glasses off is indicating I am willing to fight you. If the second you do that, that's a
you want some action.
That's a nonverbal clue that I am willing to fight.
You're about that action.
If you do this and you're like, you're the crybaby. That's indicating I'm ready to be punched in the face if needed.
You have to say no cap after that as well. Make it even better.
I'm going to get killed.
That's the trash of the day. Up next, back to some Chiefs football. Chiefs Red Half Hour. Alex Smith, former Chiefs quarterback, had even more of a story that we thought we already knew the result of, which was around the draft and Brett Veach and the process to draft Patrick Mahomes. I thought it was really interesting what Alex Smith had to say. We'll do that next here on Cody and Gold.
Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 610 Sports Radio and the Odyssey app.
Happy Super Bowl to all who celebrate from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And if you're like me, Super Bowl Sunday is all about scoring the best seat on the couch, grabbing your favorite football snacks, and placing some super bets. And FanDuel has so many ways for you to end the season with a W, or 2, or 3. Not only can you bet on who will win the Super Bowl, but FanDuel also has bets for which players will score a touchdown, how many points will be scored, and so much more. New customers join today and you'll get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/610Bob to sign up. That's FanDuel.com/610Bob. And make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL and 610 Sports Radio. 21 and present in Kansas, $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas on an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet? Call 800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same. But at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high-commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Number 15 is the real MVP, and Jefferson's in Lenexa and North KC agrees by giving 15% off online orders for carryout and delivery when using code 610sports. Place your orders now for the big game at jeffersons.com. Limit 1 per customer, $40 minimum order, cannot combine offers, excludes dine-in.
Hey, it's Bob Fesco. I'm here with Dawn Sharp and Keely Wolfer of the Sharp Homes Real Estate Team. All right, let's talk about the dirty little secret, interest rates right now. Everybody's looking around going, oh no, the interest rates are a little up there. What are you telling them right now?
When all those interest rates drop, how many buyers are waiting? And the inventory is not going to increase that much. So when those rates drop, you could get the house you want now, refinance when those rates drop, and not have to give up so much.
Find out how much your home is worth today at homesforsaleInKC.com.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars. Lose the weight. Stop smoking early bird special $49.99. Seminars Sunday, February 25th, Wingate by Wyndham, Kansas City, or Monday, February 26th at the Holiday Inn and Suites, Overland Park.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's Bob Fesco. The state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative, non-surgical, drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. If you have any sort of joint pain, call QC Kinetics today. Their advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Can I get a weight reading on the cat in exam 3?
Zuri needs a new vet tech after their current one literally moved to a farm.
Snap-to-tail checkup is waiting.
But finding an ideal replacement takes some training.
This is like herding cats.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Schedule virtual interviews and talk to candidates right from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Nachos!
Hey, I'll take some.
And some Frank's Red Hot.
Nah.
You're just gonna eat these boring nachos with no flavor. Frank it up! Frank it up! This guy finally gets it.
It's the perfect blend of flavor and heat. Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
Some people bring joy wherever they go. Some whenever they go. Mark Twain found humor all around. Never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference. Humor. Pass it on from passiton.com.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Chiefs Kingdom. This is Mitch Holtis, and welcome into the Chiefs Red Half Hour on Cody and Gold. Every day at 11:30 on your official broadcast partner, the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
It is the Chiefs Red Half Hour. And of course, Cody and Gold brought to you by the Farmer's Dog. Info at thefarmersdog.com/no magic. So Alex Smith, he's been in the news, I would say, a little bit more in the last week or so based on some comments about Brock Purdy and, you know, the whole QB manager, game manager club, that he's not inviting Brock Purdy into it and stuff. We mentioned that earlier in the week.
Calling himself the unofficial president of game managers is great.
It really is. But he told a little more detail on something that has been discussed plenty of times here in Kansas City, which is, we all know John Dorsey was the GM of record when they drafted Patrick Mahomes, not Brett Veach. But the story has always been that, like, Brett Veach was the guy behind the scenes, you know, pounding on the table to draft Patrick Mahomes, and that was his guy. And this story feels even better now because, well, the Chiefs have gone on to win multiple rings, and
he's their GM.
And John Dorsey's not here, and he's the GM now. But Alex Smith peeled back the curtain a little bit more about it wasn't just during the draft process that Brett Veach recognized the talent, but this goes way, way earlier than that.
I think Patrick had just finished his freshman year at Texas Tech, and I can remember Veach coming in, and he was Brett Veach, who is now, for everybody out there, he is the GM of the Chiefs. He's huge responsibility for taking Patrick and moving up. He was in love with Patrick after his freshman year. I remember him coming in. It was a great relationship there. He came in the QB room. He's like, "You guys got to see this guy." Like that, because we would always talk ball, talk college football and different stuff, and he had his eyes on him for a long time. I'll say that. And so did Andy.
Freshman year at Texas Tech.
When I hear that, and look, I've always been the person to be like, hey, you got to give Dorsey some amount of credit because he's still the person in charge. He's still, scouts bang the table for players all the time. And you still have to like the player in order to do it. You wouldn't just listen to Brett Veach tell you about this player. You also have to believe in them. Andy has to, you guys do have to be on the same page in taking this person. This, to me, does solidify Brett Veach deserving his fair share of the credit here. I think I'd always been hesitant to just be like, well, that's a Brett Veach pick, because technically it wasn't, because he's the GM. But if he's out here scouting tapes from freshman year and started that process then with this player and was that in love with him the entire time, and he was the person that first brought him the attention, all that stuff, well, then it's at least half of a pick for Brett Veach, if that makes sense.
It is also, at the same time, it's important to know, it's not as if John Dorsey was like anti-Patrick Mahomes.
No,
I mean, sometimes
he liked him enough to pick him.
Exactly. So sometimes we talk so much about the Brett Veach angle. It's not like John Dorsey was pounding on the table like, we hate this guy.
That's what got him out of town. No.
He drafted him. He traded up draft assets to go and get Patrick Mahomes. But to your point, the fact that Andy Reid and Brett Veach were discussing this kid after his freshman season and fell in love with him, when we know that even heading into the draft a couple years later, he was projected by a lot of people to be a second-round pick. And then he kept...
When he first came out, yeah.
Right, and then he kept working his way up. And by the time you got to draft day, you knew he was going to be a first-rounder. The question was just like, how high? And then, a lot of people thought when the Chiefs traded up that they were drafting Deshaun Watson. They weren't trading up to get Patrick Mahomes. So, yeah, that was the expectation, yeah. That was the thought. If you're wondering, after freshman year, Texas Tech, he only played in 7 games. They had a different quarterback that started a lot, but 7 games. Mahomes had 1,500 yards, 16 touchdowns, 4 picks his freshman year in 7 games. And then, of course, he put up ridiculous numbers the rest of his time at Tech.
Look, at this point, I don't think it's like an urban legend that slowly grew. I think it's fairly obvious that Brett Veach has never loved a player more than he's loved Patrick Mahomes. And here's the truth. In retrospect, it's probably what got him the job. Not just that he was in the building. We know that John Dorsey lost a job because he couldn't keep track of the money. The salary cap was always a mess. They were consistently kind of up against it as a result of that. And what happens with most GMs is they were having consistent success, but not kind of the top end success that will keep you a general manager forever. And so things fell to a side. But a big reason why he had to have gotten the job is Clark also saw probably what the rest of everyone saw, which is after you got like even just Mahomes in practice for a year, you're like, okay, Look, and I understand like how hard of a conversation. Like with him, it was an easy conversation. I just heard the other like we made fun of Jed York for his Bosa comment. The other interesting thing out of the Jed York thing was he said Kyle Shanahan went to him at one point and said, "Look, I'm not changing the depth chart or who is the starter for this team right now, but I'm letting you know that I'm pretty sure that Brock Purdy is the best quarterback on our roster."
And this is right after they drafted Trey Lance. This is where they already are paying, $20, $30 million a year, whatever it was at the time for Jimmy Garoppolo. And yeah, the story is from yesterday that Kyle Shanahan already was like, no, Brock Purdy's our best quarterback on the team.
It's like, I'm not saying he'll end up that. I'm just telling you, like, based on talent right now, he's better. And I think he'll end up being our starter is what I think the comment Jed York had said. I don't think this is one of those, like, grown over time. From my own personal perspective, I always been like, look, if I'm going to give Veach credit for Mahomes, I'm going to give him like 35% because that's the whole point about being a GM. You are actually the man responsible. You have to make the call. You have to make the picks. You have to trade the picks. You have to buy into what the guy is telling you. You have to listen to the people below you. That's the job. But I mean, the way Brett Veach was in love with him, it's more 50-50 than I was originally giving it credit for. Like, Dorsey gets the 50% credit for being the guy in charge and making the pick, and Veach gets the 50% for being so gung-ho on him that he was never going to move off it. Like, because the other question had been, I know Peyton always says he's going to take him at 11. Where do you think Mahomes goes if he didn't go 10, Would it really have been at 11? Peyton can say whatever he wants now.
Yeah, we'll never know the real story. I mean, honestly,
or did everyone else have him in the 20s? And they were the only team that saw the magic that was Patrick Mahomes.
I'll tell you this, though. I mean, Mahomes certainly changed everything for future quarterbacks. We've seen draft picks by teams and the previous, view of certain quarterbacks of his skill set, and that are, doing things, quote unquote, that aren't, what you're supposed to be taught to do, right? Like he's able to make those plays, and there's other quarterbacks coming out of college that are making these plays that theoretically go against some of the rules, but that's not preventing teams from drafting these guys anymore because it's clearer than ever. You got to have a quarterback that's capable of making plays himself. Like, just plain and simple. It just has to be that way.
Around him.
You cannot have just, we're going to build a perfect situation around him. I mean, that's what's going on with Brock Purdy right now with the 49ers. Typically, you're not going to be able to always have that talent. I mean, this year's the prime example. The Chiefs clearly don't have near the level of offensive weapons around Mahomes as they have had in the past, and yet he's still able to make it work and be a top 12, top 13 offense in football, and still in the postseason be nearly perfect.
We were thinking about matchups with Pete, and I told you earlier that I thought that Ayuk versus Snead is the biggest one of the game, and I still stand by that. But I was thinking a little bit about how the 49ers defense has been struggling lately. And I wonder if if it's not Snead versus Ayuk, I wonder if it isn't the guy that we were talking about earlier in Bosa. If what it turns into is offensive tackles versus Bosa becomes the biggest matchup of the game, because he has to have some time. But that's the difference. Patrick Mahomes got pressure against him in the Super Bowl the last time he faced the 49ers. Consistent pressure. But because of what you just said, quarterback who can make plays, we can overcome that. Or we can ask questions like, do we have enough time for Wasp? If I fade back far enough, is there enough time to run the play that we all know we can run? Because I don't think there's a bigger one defensively. I still think defensively, Snead versus Ayuk sets all the rest of it up. And I know the type of player Christian McCaffrey is. That sets the rest of it up. But if I flipped it on the other side, I don't know that I wouldn't take offensive tackle versus Bosa as the individual matchup I cared about the most.
Yeah, they'll move him around too. So it's not just going to be Juwan Taylor and Nick Bosa. It's going to be Donovan Smith and Nick Bosa, and they're going to move some guys, some guys around overall. Now, the one good thing I will say about the defensive line right now is Chase Young. He's still the name everybody knows. He's not playing well. He's not. He's got
one sack.
It's the reason why the Commanders were willing to trade him, and it's not like they got a huge haul for Chase Young. Chase Young has been really disappointing. There was even one report out of San Francisco that they may even cut back some of his snaps. We'll see if that actually happens by the time we get to the Super Bowl. Based off of his level of play, he's really, really struggled. But yeah, Nick Bosa is a hell of a player. And so the one thing that gives you confidence, though, is 3 games now against Miami, against Buffalo, and against Baltimore. This offensive line has put together the 3 best game stretch of the season. And that's specifically talking about the tackles. Doesn't mean that Juwan Taylor and Donovan Smith aren't going to be called for a hold. There won't be one random false start. But they have both played at a really, really high level, some of their best football in a Chiefs uniform, to go with an interior that even without Joe Thuney, if in fact they're without Joe Thuney, again, I think we all have more confidence in what Nick Allegretti put together on the road, that he given him another week and a half to get ready and they help him out and all that he'll be ready to go for this game. But yeah, Nick Bosa is the guy that can, if you're talking about on defense, who could potentially wreck your offense, that's the guy that you got to be careful about and see if they need to give any help at times to Jawan Taylor or to Donovan Smith. The Chiefs have done that at times this year if they needed to. I don't know if that's they probably ideally would rather not have to, but if they need to, that's something that they can do and adjust. They've gone with 3 tight end sets a lot here recently.
Do you on defense, do you just go Snead Ayuk the whole time and then just let the rest of it sort itself out? They don't fully trail, but they'll get closer to that, and they only do it with Snead, not with McDuffie. Do you just do that 85% of the time and say,
I think it depends on is George Kittle or is Debo Samuel.
They have so many. Like, you almost feel like you can't do that just because of the amount of weapons they have. And sometimes Ayuk is going to be on Joshua Williams, or sometimes Ayuk is going to be on Trent McDuffie, or sometimes, keep him out of the linebacker. Let's not get Zay Flowers versus Nick Bolton. But I do think when you start doing the rotations, it becomes hard to say 1 versus 1 against the 49ers specifically. Because when you say, all right, Snead versus Zay Flowers, cool, all right, all I got to do is worry about Rashad Bateman and Odell Beckham. And I told you, Odell Beckham only had 5 catches in his last 4 games, so I wasn't exactly petrified about him. Or if you do it against Miami, you're like, well, Waddle, that's definitely scary, but then the other receivers, you're like, whatever, I'll take my chances on him. With the 49ers, even if you wipe out Ayuk with Snead, you then have to answer your questions for what are our plans for Debo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, and George Kittle. I mean, I'm not sure that you just want to play base defense the whole time in order to try to kind of eliminate everybody because you don't want to give them a free run. But I mean, it becomes a problem. They have enough numbers that it becomes a problem of 1 versus 1 doesn't eliminate any part of their offense.
That's the beautiful thing about having 2 weeks. Way more concerned if you got 4 days or 5 days to get ready for an opponent. You get 2 weeks, and I understand there's advantages on both ends because Kyle Shanahan also has time to find matchups that he likes. But the Chiefs, Charles Minnie is a huge loss for them. Other than that, it sure looks like it's trending towards them being very healthy otherwise on the defensive line. Obviously, linebacking core, like Willie Gay, the next stuff, I guess theoretically he could wake up Super Bowl Sunday and still have a problem. But
it's a little bit like the Frank Clark stomach issues right now, right?
Should be good by the time they get to that game. And they're going to need him. Yeah, I mean, the 49ers were considered the best team all year at times for a reason. I mean, the skill set that they have, the skill players they have on offense are absurd. I mean, absolutely absurd. And that's why they've been so effective, and it's been an unbelievable roster they put together. But I think we have seen here recently, much like the Chiefs still have flaws, the 49ers absolutely are not a team without flaws whatsoever. Look at how they have started. And you do wonder, Brock Purdy's been cool, calm, collected fourth quarter, but it is his first Super Bowl. I do want to see how he handles that. Just right out of the gate.
The weirdness of the schedule, the adjustments, all of it.
He seems calm, but also, with all due respect to Iowa State, Brock Purdy didn't exactly play at Ohio State with all the pressure in a national championship game. The guy played at Iowa State.
Does it do anything for you knowing that the team you just beat in the 49ers? So, statistically, the teams are really similar. The 49ers are the second best scoring offense, the third best scoring defense. The Ravens were the third best scoring offense and the fourth best scoring offense and the number 1 scoring defense, right? So, kind of comparable from that. Do anything for you that the Ravens hammered the 49ers a couple of weeks ago and you just beat the Ravens? Is that move? It is, I know the transitive property doesn't work in football all the time. I'm just asking if it moves the needle at all for you.
I've seen it brought up.
Knowing that the team you just beat hammered that team a few weeks ago.
I've seen it brought up. I mean, it has no bearing on this game to me. I'm confident in the Chiefs because of how they've looked, the last 3 weeks. And the O-line play, the defense continues to play at a high level. They've shut down all these quarterbacks.
That's the offense has played all year, probably.
They're limiting the turnovers, penalties, drops, all of that. That's why that matters more to me than, wow, the Ravens team you just beat, they got destroyed by the 49ers. That was also, or they destroyed the 49ers, I'm sorry. That was a game in which Brock Purdy had, 4 interceptions. They went away from the run. It was just a perfect storm. I don't think, wow, you beat the Ravens, so clearly you're just going to run through the 49ers.
It's the Chiefs-Raiders game, if that makes sense, where everything that could go wrong did, as you said. And as a result of that, you got your ass kicked because the Ravens are too talented of a team to do that. That's what's been, the Chiefs this year really only had that one game where I'm like, what the hell happened? Where everything went wrong and they just got beat handily. And that was the Raiders game of all teams. that Raiders game on Christmas Day. And if I'm willing to wash that one away for the Chiefs, which I've told you I am, I kind of have to do that for the 49ers. And it's even easier for let things get out of control against a good team. Like the Raiders aren't even that good of a team. And the Chiefs let things get out of control. On the other side, it's completely different, at least on that end. It's hard because, like, when we get to this game, and I know we'll make our official predictions by T-Mobile, right? Next Friday, we're sitting here on Radio Row because all of next week's shows, as a reminder, will be in Las Vegas at Radio Row as the Chiefs head to their 4th Super Bowl in 5 years. The only one we wouldn't have gone to for Radio Row is the one we couldn't because Radio Row didn't exist. God.
All virtual.
Oh, that was lame. I don't even remember doing anything different. We probably just hosted like a regular show that week. Actually, my daughter was watching some clips this morning because she likes the app Time Hop, which just goes back and shows you like things that happened on this day, X number, every year back.
Sure.
4 years ago was the almost complete full edit of the Run It Back rap video. Oh. We can't play that song ever again. The Chiefs lost. Right. So Run It Back as a theme is dead. That was the Chiefs' theme that year. Drew's obviously probably never seen this video that I'm talking about.
No.
It exists because she's dancing at the beginning of it, if you remember. You're in it, too.
Well, I know, yeah.
Kling? I involved a lot of the station because, we were back in the building. We just weren't waiting for that. What's going to be on the shirts?
If they win?
Back-to-back? Just simple enough, back-to-back? I need some vibe here.
You talking about the official shirt or the ones people can, that'll be, because the actual locker room shirt's probably not going to say that. Don't you? Because normally they're the same design, just different team.
Sure.
Now, there will be other ones that eventually people make dynasty ones and back-to-back, but the actual locker room T-shirt's probably not going to.
I think you're right. I think back-to-back is dead, and instead the shirts are just about dynasty, right? Back-to-back doesn't need to be mentioned. It was Run It Back, Drew, the last time they won a Super Bowl and were in it again. Run It Back was the thing. That was the thing they said at the podium.
Yeah, it was the Chiefs' official hashtag of the season or whatever it was.
Yeah. I was going to say, could it be something like kind of like the making it to Vegas, something related to winning Vegas? I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if the T-shirts will be cheesy, like something like jackpot, whatever, something like that. I wonder if they'll be.
Oh, you think they're going to go Vegas?
Because you said they designed it for both teams. I don't know.
Yeah, the design will be the official ones. Now there will be third-party shirts that have plenty of stuff featured about being back-to-back and dynasty and all that. If the Chiefs
I think it's important to do the dynasty versus back. If you're right now and you're listening and you're thinking you're going to create a third-party T-shirt to sell design, or you're Charlie Hustle and you're listening, I don't care, Ray Gunn, our friends there, I would focus on the dynasty part. The back-to-back is not back-to-back is impressive, but the dynasty is the point, right?
Yeah, but the back-to-back likely only happens.
Someone says double down. Oh.
That's good.
Okay, hold on.
That's good.
We're going to steal. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, that might be it.
Person from the 316.
That's very good.
I'm stealing that. I'm just
very good.
Telling you now, that's a stolen idea. Double down shirts are happening. We're taking that.
I love how Cody. I'm
just admitting.
I love how Cody just said that as if nobody else listening might just go and do it as well. Because
that's very good.
Because Cody said it on the air.
Very good.
Nobody else can touch it. No, appreciate the text on that one. That is good. Yeah, the reason why there'll be plenty of dynasty shirts and all that stuff if they win, but I think the back-to-back is still what you do because that is like in that instant. Like dynasty, that could last for another 8 years.
That's true. The dynasty isn't complete until the run of it is done. And you don't know if you're going to have two dynasties like the Patriots did. Someone said next year can be three-peat. Just as a quick reminder, the Chiefs haven't won this one, so we don't get too far ahead.
Yeah, wow. Let's slow down.
No team in NFL history has ever won 3 in a row.
Yeah, let's have that discussion on the 13th or 12th of February, please.
I'm thinking like the 50. I'm thinking like after the parade. I don't think we need to bring that into light until after the parade, right? And maybe during the parade. It's tough to say.
Look, I'm confident in the game, but I hate the conversations already about post-win.
I know.
That's a little. Well, let's hold on.
We're not
a
on the
bit.
game. We don't have to get carried
Bowl.
away.
Yeah, like I want to tap the brake a little bit on the parade discussions and all of that until we get there.
I still think the show should get some Valentines together for people.
Well, the Chiefs already do that. Like they already have like templates that they put out on social media and stuff. Every team does that every year.
Well, they're gonna need special ones.
Why would they do special ones?
Probably somebody already in the creative department working on that. I'm guessing that's going to be the worst part of creative work, where you have to, like, if you're a person who works in the digital department for the Chiefs, you have to have already created the graph. Like, you have to do double the amount of work and only half of it's getting used. Either congrats on a tough season, what? Or
but you won't have to do as much.
Back-to-back Super Bowl champ. You got to do both graphics.
But if they lose, you're not doing as much graphic design after the fact. Like if they win, you might have 10 different T-shirt versions. If they lose, you don't have a T-shirt. you don't have T-shirts for losing.
You don't think that they already make those?
No, they make the winning version. Oh, you're saying?
I'm saying you got to work ahead. You're making both the entire time.
I
think the person who works in the Chiefs digital department has already made the Valentine's Day Super Bowl shirt design.
Yeah,
and they just have to throw that into the garbage can.
Yeah.
If they don't win.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I don't know that for sure. I just feel like that's how design works. You can't design something in 12 hours.
I think that is how it works.
Yeah, a lot like the official T-shirts that were designed months ago.
Oh, that's an NFL thing. Yeah.
The stuff that happens within 3 days of each, that stuff people can whip out pretty quick. The actual T-shirts stuff has been the all-in AFC title game shirts. That design was probably the minute they knew it was in Vegas. That was done. A year ago.
Yeah, they don't care. I mean, they don't care about the teams on that.
Someone says they don't throw them away; they send them to Africa. Well, if
not the actual shirt. I'm talking about the designs of the shirt. It's a different conversation. Now somebody's bringing up the kids in Sierra Leone and Kenya because that's the ad that used to run anytime somebody would misplay the snitch line. Is that still in there? If you press the hotkey snitch line, what plays? The snitch line?
I think I did. It was changed to the one that we use now.
Okay.
It was not the old one. Because, I heard that story, and I think it has been changed.
Just wanted to make sure.
Because we tried it. The first time that we tried it while I was here, we tried it, and it ended up being the right one.
I was worried about for you, A lot of people misplayed that button for a while there. We had like 6 straight months where it got misplayed like 10 times. There you go. I run a creative team. They probably start working on versioning win and loss communications the Monday after they advance. Most of the T-shirts they put out are not done by the Chiefs. It's done by other properties in the NFL. Okay. Look, this is the kind of things when we put it out there, Gold, and we got to find out how it really works. Someone says, "Oh no, it's lost. Do we still have it?" I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that the old snitch line intro.
The goal is for it to be the goal is for it to be the correct intro. So I think we might have gotten rid of the one that was causing the problems.
I don't want to say for sure, but yeah, maybe. That could at least be the case.
All right, coming up next, let's get to what's trending, get you caught up on what's going on. Also, the offensive tackle play. Hear what Nick Bosa and the owner of the 49ers had to say going back a couple of years. Next.
Cody and Gold. Watch the show on YouTube by subscribing to the @610 Sports KC channel. 610 Sports Radio.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition, and it's fully treatable. And at Heartland Men's Health, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at Heartland Men's Health. Your initial visit is only $99. It includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
If you are pumped for the big game, come to Pure at 350 Highway and Nolan Road and party with the world-famous Pure Girls. Pure, voted the #1 gentleman's club in the Midwest. The best luxury VIP rooms, the most beautiful women, and open till 3 a.m. We're going to Las Vegas, Nevada, baby. Party at Pure, 350 Highway and Nolan Road. And remember, always free Uber rides at Pure.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. Are you the decision maker in your company? Do you want more control over your business spending? Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management platform designed to save you time and money. Ramp offers unlimited corporate cards with spend controls you can customize to stop wasteful spending before it happens. Ramp makes expense reports a breeze by automatically collecting receipts and matching them to the right transaction. You'll close your books in hours instead of days. Ramp allows you to see all of your company spend in one place, so you can make quick, informed decisions about your business finances. Plus, Ramp will share insights based on your spending to help you cut costs. Over 15,000 businesses have added up to 5% to their bottom line with Ramp. You can be one of them. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports.
Hey guys, Speed Up here from Fesco in the Morning. Back in June, I had a life-changing decision that I had to make. Weighed 444 pounds on high blood pressure medication. I needed to make sure that I was around for all my girls' big days. So I made that call to Slim. Right now, I'm down over 97 pounds. If you started a weight loss plan at the beginning of the month and you're frustrated with lack of results, well, Slim for Life is the answer. Take it from me. I'm living proof. Slim for Life is the answer to permanent weight loss. Yes, they offer the semaglutide meds to any of their plans. The difference is with Slim for Life, the prescription semaglutides are temporary, but the results from the weight loss program are permanent. What makes Slim for Life different from any other program? They teach you the secrets of weight loss, re-engaging your metabolism and teaching you how to eat. Are you ready to take that first step like I did? Well, you just need to get started. Make the call. Book that free consultation. Let them know that you heard it from B-Dub and you could lose up to 100 pounds for only $99. Plus, you can add those semaglutide meds to any plan for $99 for 4 weeks. 833-SLIM today. That's the number you need to call. 833-754-6863, or you can hit them online at slim4life.com. All services included, exclusive of products.
Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate, or hiring someone to move your piano instead of doing it yourself. So, do things the better way. Bundle home and auto and save up to 25% with Allstate.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Get the appliances you need right away at Lowe's. Explore the largest assortment of brands you trust, like Whirlpool, Samsung, and LG, in-store or online at the best values. Plus, take advantage of our everyday financing offers on top items, from refrigerators to laundry pairs. And there's more. Get your new appliances delivered or installed quickly at your convenience. Because Lowe's knows appliances, Lowe's knows home improvement. Subject to credit approval.
When a cold keeps you up, try NyQuil Severe Honey Flavor. The nighttime, sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, Honeylicious, best sleep with a cold medicine. Powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a dreamy honey taste to give your body the rest it needs to get that cold gone. Wake up refreshed, feeling relieved after enjoying the delicious flavor of NyQuil Severe Honey. NyQuil Severe Honey Flavor, use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
NFL playoff coverage on 610 Sports Radio is brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Touchdown! Kansas City! Patrick Mahomes absolutely took duct tape and just wrapped the ball around the waist of Travis Kelce for a 19-yard touchdown.
You're listening to the official broadcast partner of the back-to-back AFC champion, Kansas City Chiefs. 610 Sports Radio, KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty, always live on the free Odyssey app. What's trending?
All right, let's check in on the hot topics trending.
Number one on what's trending, the Chiefs a couple days away from heading out to Las Vegas. We're 9 days away from the Super Bowl. They'll leave for Vegas on Sunday afternoon. The latest on the injury front were practice reports out of yesterday. Chris Jones, Isaiah Pacheco, Sky Moore limited in practice. And then, no surprise, Charles Menahue, Joe Thuney did not practice. That's where things stand on the injury front. I don't think you should be worried about Jones or Isaiah Pacheco.
Pacheco was on the last injury report and played fine.
There's no reason to push anybody this week in particular. Anyway, the one to watch will still be Joe Thuney, and somehow Pete Sweeney mentioned, if he's all of a sudden available to play, but thinks it's 10 to 20% chance that Joe Thuney actually is good to go by next Sunday.
Next up on What's Trending, Theo Epstein is returning to the Red Sox as in a senior advisor role. Technically, he's joining the ownership group and will have some advisory capacity to it. Look, Theo Epstein is when things were going great for the Red Sox. The second he left, they've been nowhere near the franchise or anywhere near the winning level of franchise they were when he was there. They're just looking for a little bit of advice on how to get back to that point. I'm not surprised Theo Epstein returning there, especially because a little bit of ownership stake probably doesn't hurt. Your informed decision there, Gold, right? Own a small part of the team that you won a World Series for the first time since the Babe Ruth curse. I think you're probably a hero there forever.
The Red Sox still own one of the worst trades in the last 15, 20 years in baseball. Trading away Mookie Betts was the dumbest thing.
Oh, that was
so dumb.
For money. I mean, only for
Yes.
money. They traded away Mookie Betts not because they didn't think he was talented,
Right.
because they wanted to be cheap about it.
Yeah, crazy. Next up on what's trending, local college basketball coming up this week. And we already mentioned earlier in the week a huge test for the Kansas Jayhawks tomorrow against number 4 Houston. That one at Allen Fieldhouse, 3 o'clock start time for that. Kansas State, they are taking on the Oklahoma State Cowboys. The Wildcats trying to bounce back from a blowout loss to the Oklahoma Sooners, as a matter of fact. K-State basketball on the air tomorrow, 1 o'clock. And then for the Missouri Tigers, they actually coming off another bad loss to Arkansas. The Tigers were favorites in that game. They ended up getting blown out at home. Missouri Tigers tomorrow taking on Vanderbilt.
Sure feels like versus last year when all 3 locals made the NCAA tournament. Looking at 1 this year on the other side. Next up on What's Trending, the Raiders are officially going with Cliff Kingsbury as their new offensive coordinator. They're also bringing in Marvin Lewis. You might remember Antonio Pierce had said his plan was, well, I don't know what it's like to be a head coach, so I'm going to bring in a bunch of people who have been head coaches. Cliff Kingsbury follows under that rule the same. Marvin Lewis obviously been around as well. This is called the Dick Vermeil plan, if you're not familiar with how other teams have done it before. This is not the first time someone's approached it. I don't know if that's going to work as an OC or not. Depends on who their quarterback is. Air Raid works for a number of quarterbacks. I think the Raiders have been mentioned as a possible Justin Fields trade team. That doesn't feel like a good pairing, Kingsbury and Fields. Well, I don't know. It's not like Kyler Murray had no success under him.
Yeah, I think Antonio Pierce is being smart here. I mean, he
Yeah, he's
clearly
trying to
is a
cover him.
great leader. And he admits, like, as a coach and handling the head coaching responsibilities and all of that, like, he needs some help. Like, I respect that. It's not someone that just walks and thinks they know everything. And so it's nice to see, actually, that he's willing to accept the input of all these different people. We'll see if it pans out. Obviously, being in the AFC West, I hope it doesn't work out too well. But best of luck to Antonio Pierce on an individual level.
Yeah.
He's had quite the rise.
What's that?
He's had quite the rise in the coaching ranks from
he
being
was an assistant under Herm Edwards and then fired for recruiting stuff, and now he's a head coach like
in the NFL.
3 years later? I mean, it wasn't even that long ago.
Next up on What's Trending, Teddy Bridgewater officially announcing his retirement from the NFL and now named the head coach at his alma mater, Miami Northwestern. It's high school.
Cool.
So there was an announcement a while back that he was already leaning in that direction, and now it's official. So Teddy Bridgewater, we all know, I mean, it was one of those most,
horrific
injuries and moments where everybody was obviously thinking that he was never going to play football again when he was at practice with the Vikings and had that terrible injury. Then he was, to his credit, able to come back and play multiple years after that. Just clearly that injury really hurt, it ended up ruining his career.
I know that Phillip Rivers did the same thing, but I'm always surprised with these guys. Teddy Bridgewater played 10 seasons in the NFL, earned $64 million as an NFL player. You want to coach high school kids? That's just a reminder of like how much some of these guys just absolutely love the game. It was actually a really nice moment. You might remember right after the Lions loss, Dan Campbell and Teddy Bridgewater kind of talking, going down the tunnel. You could see they were talking about life. Lastly, on What's Trending, if you're heading out to Las Vegas, good news. We got your plans for, well, at least one day while you're out there for the big game. Our big game party, not on the game, on Thursday night, we're going to be at Circus Swim as part of a contest between us and 95.7 The Game, in which you can help us win that battle. We're going to be broadcasting live from 5 to 7. The party will actually be 5 to 9. If you RSVP in advance, free entry to the party. And if you wear team gear, they'll give you a ticket for a free drink as well. That's 5 to 9 Vegas time when you're out there, not if you're trying to do it while you're thinking about it. But again, it's Huddle Up, it's Stadium Swim. We'll be out there 5 to 9 Vegas time next Thursday night.
It's an awesome venue. If you have not been to that spot, maybe you've been to Vegas, but you haven't gone to Fremont Street or you haven't gone to Circa, it's still a fairly new property, and they've got this Stadium Swim Club, and it is awesome. You go up this huge escalator to get to it. Like, it's like the longest escalator ever, just so you know, to get to it. I'm sure they have an elevator, but you go up this long escalator, and then you open up, and it's got this football width, I would say, screen, right? The length, I should say, of a football field. And it's awesome, man.
You
And
get
someone said the pool is actually heated anyway. So theoretically, you could get in the pool even if it's a little chillier. We shall see how that goes.
So do I have to cannonball them? I mean, Pete
I have
volunteered
not currently
to do this, it
packed
seems like.
swim trunks. Do I need to change that?
I mean, we will be doing a show for 2 hours. So I don't know if you need the trunks, but you should probably bring
What
them
about
just in
7 to
case.
I mean, there's 2
Just
other
in
hours
case.
we won't be doing a show.
Wear your swim trunks
Might as well bring the trunks.
to the party, and then as soon as it's done, jump in the pool.
You never know.
Seems like a good plan.
It's going to be a ton of fun. Yeah, we got to beat San Francisco in this contest here. They cannot have more fans than us.
This is the station that had Bill Romanowski on to let him say those hateful things.
That's right.
If you're looking for some viscera against 95.7 The Game, they let Bill Romanowski on to say those things. I don't know what else about. I don't have any other negatives about them. They seem like a nice station.
Yeah, so if you know you're going to be in Vegas already and you were trying to figure out your Thursday plans, you're getting out there a couple days early, we've got it for you Thursday night out at Circa Swim. And if you want the link to RSVP, it's on our social media channels at 610 Sports KC. You can also go to our individual social media accounts at Alex Gold, at Cody B. Tapp. We've got the link to RSVP completely free. If you do that, get set up and hang out. We've been looking forward to meeting some of you. A lot of you have asked us what we are doing while we are there on Thursday or later in the week. Well, there you go. We got one night for you all set up. Looking forward to it, man.
Text line's asking, do we have Bill Romanowski confirmed? No, but I will admit, this is the fastest Drew's ever worked on booking somebody. I said, get Bill. Well, I mean, he did it in like 10 seconds. Yeah. I don't think he could do it any faster.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's not a time-sensitive issue. I'm not even sure this one was. But Drew heard me. Like, we played the Bill Romanowski audio in which he says, Patrick Mahomes is a crybaby. I said, you know what, Drew? Get him on radio and I'll call him a crybaby. And then Drew immediately got his phone number, texted him. Yep. He said he'd come on with us, but we do not have a time or day confirmed. So I guess he's not officially confirmed, but it sure feels like he's coming on the air. That's for sure.
One of many.
He'd like to visit you guys. Maybe he was listening.
Might have been. He might have been like, who's this station I just agreed on to? Let's turn it on. And I'm like, he's a crybaby. And Gold said, he's my most hated. He's one of the players I've hated the most in my entire Chiefs family.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in the top 5. He's definitely in the top 5.
Someone says, can I wear a 49er shirt to get my free drink? Then take it off and get a Chiefs shirt free drink. I don't know, man.
I don't think so.
Feels like,
I don't think so.
I feel like they're going to give you the drink at check-in. I don't want to say for sure.
Yeah,
but also
have
just
to
don't wear a
check
49er
Do I get a free drink if I wear that Burrow jersey you want me to wear?
No. They'll kick you out, actually.
Good news is for you. Alex bought you that one cheese pullover.
Perfect.
That's true.
Get the free drink, man. Don't be above a free drink.
Yeah, wear the Chiefs quarter zip.
I will wear it. I will wear it.
This is Vegas. That might be a $20 free drink.
It wasn't just Romanowski yesterday, though. How about a current member of the 49ers talking yesterday? And it's normal for everybody to ask about a Super Bowl rematch. So, hey, what do you remember from games? Also, what do you see on film? It's a pretty standard question you would ask any player. Nick Bosa wasted no time, though, addressing what he saw on film about this Chiefs offensive line.
About Taylor and Smith, when you watch them on film, Taylor's, I think, leads the NFL with a ton of penalties. Anything stand out when you watch them?
They hold a lot.
Now, he expanded from there, but his first few words, they hold a lot. And he's not wrong, they do. But the fact that that's what he said immediately, that's
your
kind
first
of,
initial impressions, man?
That's
really?
the kind of stuff that'll, I think, fire up. Not that you need to be even more amped. Fire up Juwan Taylor and Donovan Smith. That your opponent you're facing right away, he's basically saying, yeah, the only thing that immediately stands out, the first thing that comes to mind is, that they just hold a lot. Not giving them any credit initially and then eventually expanding from there. So I love the fact that this is out there. It's very clearly been something that they want to make sure everybody knows, because we'll play you Jed York, the owner of the 49ers, comments in a second too. I think this is a concerted effort by the 49ers to make sure the penalty and this talk about, hey, they hold a lot and all, hey, make sure that this gets out there, because officials are human, okay? The noise, they can't ignore all of it. They're supposed to, they hear it. And I think they want to make sure that is something that is focused on for this football game, and I think this is their way of doing it already. It's just shocking it happened 10 days before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we always know that there's gamesmanship with they always have their meetings before, and they like to point out the things that you've been missing that they do, et cetera, et cetera. Nobody's claiming that doesn't happen on both sides. But maybe I'm wrong here in the way that I think about it. But, I mean, I don't worry about the offensive tackle play the way I used to.
All right, let's stop right there, because Travis Kelce, we didn't know if he would talk today at all. He is actually speaking right now, so let's go out to Arrowhead.
This year has been it's been a wild year, man, and it's fun just getting the game plan ready and trying to clean everything up before we go down to the madness over there in Nevada, man.
Has Jason kind of got you about your beard? Y'all similar now.
I've been growing the beard out for years, man. No, I just started this probably at the end of the season, and we started playing our best ball and just rode it on through the playoffs, man.
Travis, you were particularly pumped up last week. Why? What was it about last week?
I think it's what we saw on film from their defense. Just guys flying around, playing to the whistle, and kind of trying to impose their will on guys. And we knew that we had to meet that mentality with that kind of mentality ourselves.
You feel like guys look to you for that kind of stuff, for energy, not just on game day, but during the week as well?
I think during the energy I can help kind of channel that mindset, that mind frame, that desire, that focus to kind of lean on the guy next to you and play a little bit harder for the guy next to you, knowing what we're going up against for sure.
What's the difficulty maybe in repeating that this week?
Knowing that it's on film and that the team that we're going to play has seen that we can bring that mentality. So the challenge is there. This is a group. It's going to be the best defense we play up to this year, and I'm excited about that challenge, man.
How about that?
You're good.
Andy's well known for advocating that you guys show your personalities, but also we've got a limit. I wonder what that's been like for you to navigate Andy's line and how much he's let you be who you are.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on paper saying that I'm very fortunate I've been here with Coach Reed because he's helped me learn while showing my personality, my passion, my energy for the game, all while trying to channel that professionalism to not hurt the team. Without a doubt, I've been fortunate, and I think Coach Reed does it better than anybody.
Drew Tranquil was saying yesterday that during some of Andy's talks the other day that you would just kind of jump in and yell, and Andy was kind of like, yeah, let's go. Is that part of what it means to feel free to be who you are?
I don't think I was cutting him off. I think I was just maybe beating him to the punch, getting everybody fired up. I was just excited and trying to channel that energy and make sure everybody heard me, man.
He's in the Super Bowl thing a few times now. From year to year, how are you anticipating Monday night? Feel like free-for-all to be maybe a little bit?
It's exciting, man. It's all exciting stuff. It kind of builds and sets the tone for the whole week. It's the biggest stage in the world, man, and and that Monday night, that's going to be kind of where it starts for everybody. And at this point, man, I just love it, man. It's an exciting time. It's a once-in-a-lifetime type of thing that I've been able to enjoy a few times, man. So,
what's your appreciation level of that? I mean, you went to the playoffs all those times and didn't make it, and how hard it is to get back. You can't take it for granted, can you?
No, there's nothing you could take for granted in this league. Even being in these offices every single day, you got to find appreciation in that. And I've been beyond fortunate to land here in Kansas City and be surrounded by the men and women that are in this building. It's just it makes you want to play that much harder and appreciate it that much more when you get these kind of opportunities.
You talked about getting support, only from the guys, but obviously sharing that. But for you in Baltimore on Sunday, just what did it mean after the game to be on the field with your parents, to have your brother there, to obviously have an interaction with Taylor? Just what does it mean to get that support?
It's another memory in the journey that we get to cherish, man. And I'm fortunate that I got all the support I need off the field. And it gives me a reason to play that much harder on the field as the people you just mentioned. So,
Travis, they've talked. Andy and Pat have talked about how you needed that rest week 18 a little bit, and obviously you started the season with a knee injury. Has this been more of a grind for you physically than other years in your career, just because of that early injury?
I mean, every single year is different, and I'm not going to lie. There have been years where I've kind of battled through some things that, frankly, were a little bit more serious and a little bit more frustrating than what I had to go through this year. But this year, I think the fact that we weren't winning kind of piled up on how I was feeling physically, and you can just catch yourself in a I don't know, just like a darker room, I guess, if that makes sense. And being able to find some ways to win, kind of rally with the group. Find a way to win the division still, find a way to get into the playoffs and get to where we are today, man. It just makes it that much more fun. But every year has its own challenges, man, and everybody's dealing with something, man, I promise you.
Travis, also like around Christmas time, you guys did have probably the low point of the season. What can you point to? Systematic?
Coach Reed just challenging every single person in this building to up the ante just one more step and just keep taking it up a notch every week from here on out. And that's why we love the big guy. You never fall astray from that kind of mentality. No matter how many losses you have, no matter how close the games are and you're just not finishing them. Coach Reed does a great job of rechanneling that mindset every single week and presenting a challenge against the defense or the offense or just the team that we're going against in the near future. And I mean, this week, no better time than to challenge everybody in that building. He's got everybody fired up. I mean, when you look back on it, it was definitely a time of like now or never. Like let's refocus. Let's get this thing going. But at the same time, you know, yeah, I guess every journey is different, man. Every journey is different. So it's definitely appreciated that we had to go through that. But it don't mean nothing if you don't come out of this last game with a victory.
What examples do you have of how your games evolve to accommodate, you know, playing 10, 11 years? That's usually when NFL players seem to drop off.
Well, I say football has changed a lot, you know, especially the tight end room. I think when I first got here, the majority of my reps were with my hand in the ground. And it's kind of slowly changed to where it's either 50-50 or I'm in a 2-point stance. And that's run game, pass game, and just the RPOs, the ability to have the quick throws on run plays, you know, and having that option, putting all that on the quarterback. The offenses have just changed a lot. And on top of that, you know, the coaching staff in here has done a great job of putting me in positions to succeed. And with that, you know, it's just on me to make sure I'm putting in the work and I'm ready for everything.
Trav, you've had more, I guess, in front of the camera experience than anybody else on your team. I just wondered where that comes, the confidence that you have in that those situations, where that comes from.
My mom's home videos, man. Just having that camera on me at all times. Seeing what silly stuff I'm going to do next, man. Honestly, I've always been comfortable in the rooms that I've been in, and just been fortunate that, I don't know, I've been able to kind of look into a camera with ease, I guess. I don't know. It's just having fun out there, I guess.
Being an athlete, does that, you know,
I think just having confidence in general, and sports for me were where I built my confidence. I was, probably won't believe me, but I was a shy kid growing up until like I got onto the sports field or the court or the ice rink, and then I kind of let my personality show a little bit more because I was having fun, I was having success, and that's just kind of propelled me to have confidence in life.
You put your arm around Kadarius after that game in New England. What did you tell him in that moment, and then what are you telling him in the facility this week as he prepares for Super Bowl?
Man, I just want him to know it's always love in this building, you know. And I know guys go through things both in this building and in their personal lives. He just had a baby girl, a beautiful baby girl. So shout out to Kadarius for that one. But I think you know, what's real is what happens in this building and how we can channel that. And I just wanted to make sure he knew that we were all still behind him and ready to go get the Super Bowl, man.
Coach Tobe also mentioned there's kind of a galvanizing moment for the starters to watch the reserves go out and win that game at the Chargers. What did that do for you guys to see them kind of grind out that win?
Just helped with the momentum and the energy to the team, man. It was just, you know, everybody getting excited for the guys that don't necessarily get to make those plays or don't get those opportunities. And especially to go out and get a win in the National Football League is about as hard as it gets in this profession. So it's like, I don't know, you just get excited for them. It just helps that momentum and that camaraderie a little bit more.
Yeah, Travis, you've obviously been here a handful of times now, so you've experienced, you know, all the chaos, the bright lights around the Super Bowl. What do you tell or what advice do you give to those guys that haven't been here before so that it's not overwhelming for them as they prepare for the game?
At the end of the day, no matter how much hype, no matter how many cameras, no matter how many lights are out on that field, at the end of the day, it's still the game of football that you know how to play, and you're one of the best in the world at doing it. And believe that, feel that confidence, and just try not to make the moments bigger than what they are. And yeah, lean on. If you're feeling like it's getting a little nervous, man, just lean on your brother next to you, and we'll find a way to get through this thing.
We'll go Nate, Neil, and then Jeremy. Go ahead, Nate.
Travis, looking back to the last game, whether it was in the moment or rewatching the film, what did you think was your most impressive play from that game?
Man, I guess finding a way to screw up the play and then finding a way to make up for screwing up the play when Pat had the third down on our second touchdown. It was like in the red zone-ish. Screwed up the play, ran the wrong route, and then found a way to make a play and make up for it.
What kind of route were you
I don't even know if I want to get into that.
Was that the diving play?
Yeah.
Neil?
George Kittle last week talked pretty extensively about his relationship with you and the relationship.
It's my guy right there.
What's it going to be like playing against him in the Super Bowl again?
The king of tight end U, man. He's best tight end in the league, and I mean, deservingly so this year. He's been playing lights out, playing the best football of his career, and really catapulting that San Fran team through the playoffs, man. And I couldn't be more proud of him, and couldn't be more honored, really, to go up against George in another Super Bowl. Can't say enough amazing things about who he is as a guy and who his family is. Can't say a bad thing about him, man. So it's going to be a fun time. Got to try and match that energy, man.
Coach Nagy was saying that it's important to listen to your players for solutions about the offense. Like when the team was struggling, what sort of solutions were you suggesting to try to get this going? Where you guys are right now?
I think it was just understanding how teams were playing us and talking to the coaches about how we're going to attack them. Sometimes it's like I don't know. There could be a miscommunication amongst the initial reason why we're calling these plays, and for whatever reason, sometimes you just got to sit down and talk it out and get on the same page. And that being said, I think it was more so honing in on the fundamentals than it was scheme, and just locking in on making sure we're being accountable at all times throughout the game, and no matter what's called, finding a way to get that done.
Go last to Matt. Go ahead, Matt. Hey, Travis, when you started Operation 87 and running, you've been working with Operation Break from the beginning. I know you met Sister Berta.
Yeah.
What was just the influence? Why did you choose that organization, and what's kind of her legacy?
Yeah, Sister Berta was an amazing woman, man, and our hearts have been out with the family and everybody over at Operation Breakthrough since she's passed, and you know, it blew my mind that organization was already implemented and had already had the infrastructure to be able to take care of the families that it had been taken care of, and I mean, it drew me in to want to be a part of that and wanted to keep that thing going, and even more now so than ever, man. Knowing that she's gone, Operation Breakthrough is such a staple for this community, especially on that east side, and it's a beautiful thing when you go in there. So just trying to, appreciate what she started and keep that thing rolling, man, because it's an amazing opportunity for the kids over there.
All right, that's Travis Kelce talking for the last time before Monday night, opening night. Said this defense they're going to face is going to be the best defense they play against of the season. And of course, that is the 49ers, which is interesting because the Ravens.
They just faced the number one scoring defense in the NFL.
They just played the Baltimore Ravens, but showing some
that's
respect.
What you say.
Yeah, showing respect.
You don't say the second best.
You don't say. Well, you also don't say what you don't also complain like Nick Bosa already started doing 10 days before.
You could have said that about Kittle. What do you think about Kittle? He holds a lot.
Yeah, no, they're really, really good friends. You could probably tell from that answer. It's been well documented. Also, Travis was talking about his health, and he said.
That was really interesting.
It was a season this year where he's had other years where he was actually more injured theoretically, and it was harder. But this year, the injury, and then when you're losing, it makes it seem worse. And look, it was obvious he was frustrated throughout the season. And now that you got the week 18 off, but you're winning in the postseason, you're feeling better. Like the back injury you might have or the back pain you might have when you're going to the Super Bowl, I would imagine it doesn't hurt as bad as it did in week 8. It's probably just psychologically a much different mindset.
It's also probably why he looks a little fresher. Maybe the body does still hurt, Gold, even though he took the week off, just like it would at any stage of this season. But he hurt, and they're winning a lot. Like he said, hey, what's with the beard? He's like, I grew it out because I started playing good. We started playing well towards the end of the season, and I stopped shaving it.
Yeah, we did that. By the way, Travis, we did that a couple years ago on the show. Just saying. We did that.
Man, mine looked.
We did that a couple years ago.
I've decided, I think I figured out the exact amount of time it would take me to grow a beard that looked like a beard that was pretty decent. What's your guess for what? I've decided what
I don't think you can.
No, I think I could. I've decided, I do think it would eventually grow in and be a beard everywhere. But how long do you think it would take me? Because I have my number now.
I think 2.5 years.
Okay. That's too long. I think it's like 7 months. I think it would take me 7 months.
Yeah, last year was when we all three on the show did. I'm talking about even like a year or two ago. The Chiefs had just lost a couple, and I said,
you kept your beard
I'm
going,
growing the beard out until they lose. They won they won out.
You didn't change until after.
Yeah, that was the.
You trimmed it. You kept it clean.
Yeah, had to do that. But no, not growing a beard. Not growing a beard out. But it's working for Travis Kelce. Anything's working for Travis Kelce these days.
Life is working
out pretty good. All right, coming up next, though, we will get back into the running back situation. And when Rob Collins joins us at 1 o'clock, we can pick back up the comments from Nick Bosa. But Christian McCaffrey, dynamic player that he is, will also get into the random question of the day next here on Cody and Gold.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Don't miss the Chiefs Red Half Hour every weekday starting at 11:30 on your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
Number 15 is the real MVP, and Jefferson's in Lenexa and North KC agrees by giving 15% off online orders for carryout and delivery when using code 610sports. Place your orders now for the big game at jeffersons.com. Limit 1 per customer, $40 minimum order, cannot combine offers, excludes dine-in.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. Are you the decision maker in your company? Do you want more control over your business spending? Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management platform designed to save you time and money. Ramp offers unlimited corporate cards with spend controls you can customize to stop wasteful spending before it happens. Ramp makes expense reports a breeze by automatically collecting receipts and matching them to the right transaction. You'll close your books in hours instead of days. Ramp allows you to see all of your company's spend in one place, so you can make quick, informed decisions about your business finances. Plus, Ramp will share insights based on your spending to help you cut costs. Over 15,000 businesses have added up to 5% to their bottom line with Ramp. You can be one of them. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text RIP to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text RIP to 42424. That's RIP to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Join Mark Patrick's seminars and lose the weight, guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Also, stop smoking with Mark Patrick. No matter how many times you tried to quit, this hypnosis is designed to destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Seminars Sunday, February 25th at the Wingate by Wyndham in Kansas City and Monday, February 26th at the Holiday Inn and Suites in Overland Park. Register markpatrickseminars.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure that you'll get your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
And Jackson Hewitt also guarantees the accuracy of your return for life. So don't just sit there. For your biggest refund guaranteed, walk into a Jackson Hewitt today and dance out Jackson Hewitt!
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Get the appliances you need right away at Lowe's. Explore the largest assortment of brands you trust, like Whirlpool, Samsung, and LG, in-store or online at the best values. Plus, take advantage of our everyday financing offers on top items, from refrigerators to laundry pairs. And there's more. Get your new appliances delivered or installed quickly at your convenience. Because Lowe's knows appliances, Lowe's knows home improvement. Subject to credit approval.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Max Motors. 9 major vehicle brands to choose from. MaxMotors.com. Going on at all Max Sport locations.
Love it or trade it now.
0% for 72 months on new 2023 Ford F-150s, 2023 Bronco Sports, and 2023 Ford Edges in stock.
Hurry in while selection is best.
With approved credit expires February 29, 24.
Coming up in a half hour, Club 610 on a red Friday. Rob Collins from Fox 4, sports director, going to join us in studio. He'll also be heading out to Las Vegas, I believe, on Sunday.
Show of hands, should we be bringing the Club 610 to the Radio Row?
Well, I think
like,
if
as
we
in
do
bring the sign and bring drinks?
I think the key is
go through the whole thing?
We would definitely need to have some beverages available, because all of a sudden it's Radio Row. It's Friday, it's 1 o'clock, and we're like, this is what we do on Fridays at 1 o'clock. So I think as long as we had some beverages.
Even if it's just 2 beers, one each.
I think you need the beverages, because if it's just Club 610, they're like, well, what
we're not drinking.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think we can do it. We can do it. We'll see what the lay of the land is like.
Maybe look up the rules. Is there a rule against bringing alcohol to Radio Row? I honestly, this is a serious, I don't know.
I'm not sure, Cody. I'm not sure.
I've been to 2 Radio Rows in which there was alcohol available during a happy hour period. So you could go down and actually grab a drink, in which case, just bring it down. But I don't know if you can just bring it in. I don't know what the rules are there. I mean, they're not going to kick us out of Radio Row. The worst thing
by that point, it's Friday. It's Friday at 1 o'clock already.
I will say this. We should probably aim for a liquor or beer official of the NFL variety. I think that's going to keep us in less trouble. I'll say that. I think they're more likely to let us through if it's like.
Well, that's Bud Light. That's the official beer sponsor of the NFL.
I think we're better off going that direction. Is all I'm saying. More likely. Like, I'm bringing a bottle of water. Are they really checking every beverage I bring through?
We can just pre-mix some drinks, Cody. Pre-mix
some drinks.
Pre-mix
in like a Yeti cup.
Pre-mix the drink.
I'm heavy to play.
Someone
says, bring a handle, make every guest a cocktail for the whole 4 hours.
Yeah, we do have other stuff planned for guests. We do have some stuff. We do have some gift stuff to give some of the guests that stop by. But, come up at 1 o'clock. Our friend Andrew from Jay Rieger going to be hanging out with us yet again. The last time we had him in studio was right before the Chiefs were headed out to Germany to take on the Dolphins. So looking forward to seeing what he's got in store for us today. I know Rob Collins is fired up for that. So we'll get to that in about 25 minutes. We're
Twitch
also
said just carry a Borg in.
Oh, the Borgs.
Ooh, no,
the last Borg was opening day.
Yeah, that's my first and last Borg.
That was the only Borg. The gallon of, what was mine? Lemonade and vodka, I think, or something. Yeah. I think that's what it was. All right, let's get back into talking about Christian McCaffrey a little bit, because other than the story of him saying that his own family can't afford a suite at the Super Bowl, that's how crazy the prices are. Again, this is a guy that's made over $60+ million in his career, and the suites are too expensive for the Super Bowl. He can't get one. Now, look, that's a first world problem.
Nobody's to have made $64 million and still not to be able to afford a Super Bowl suite? Yeah.
But it tells you how outrageous things are to price for the Super Bowl, that even NFL players that have been in the league and had success, and his dad played in the league, and they're like, yeah, this is too expensive for the suite. So his family will be sitting, I'm sure, in some pretty good seats still. No need to worry about Christian McCaffrey. The Chiefs do need to worry about McCaffrey, though, because on the field, this is a guy that can be a game wrecker. And the only way I think the 49ers can win is if he's going for a $120,
normal Christian McCaffrey,
2-touchdown type of performance. If the Chiefs can hold him, hey, he still has a nice game, 85 yards and a touchdown, you'll sign me up right away for that.
Anything under 100 and a touchdown, I'd take. If you told me it's only one touchdown and it's only 100 yards, I'd be like, all right, that sounds pretty good to me. The only thing I wonder about that defensively is we said that, again, about Derrick Henry in an AFC title game once, and they were way in control of a Tennessee game because they held them well below that. I think sometimes, they're so talented, it doesn't feel like they run through Christian McCaffrey, but let me be very honest. That team runs through Christian McCaffrey. If you throw off his game in some way, you've thrown off the entire process of how their offense works. It fundamentally works more than even through Brock Purdy. It fundamentally works through Christian McCaffrey, which means limiting him in any way throws off the normal plan for anyone else and everything else they run off of that and all of those things that come through it. It's like shutting down Travis Kelce. The Chiefs offense runs through Mahomes, not on the quarter. But, if you slow down Kelce, you have changed the math on where they can go. I think you changed the math on everybody. Ayuk, Debo.
Yeah, McCaffrey's the key. I mean, and a lot of it is probably the confidence that you should have at this point that your secondary, your corners, McDuffie and Snead, when it comes to matching up against Brandon Ayuk, you feel good about what you're going to get there from those guys. So then you go further down. Okay, I think the trickier one will be George Kittle on top of the Christian McCaffrey assignment. And this is why the Niners are who they are, why the Niners are in the Super Bowl. It's McCaffrey, it's Debo, it's Ayuk, and it's George Kittle. I mean, nobody else in the league has those kind of offensive weapons to complement their quarterback. Nobody else has been able to put that together financially.
And it's partially because their quarterback's paid $870,000.
Yeah, Mr. Irrelevant, not making any money by NFL standards.
What do they still pay Trey Lance, I guess?
I don't know how that worked in the trade
million?
with the Cowboys. Yeah, I'm not sure what the details were when they did that. But yeah, when you're talking about McCaffrey, I mean, there's no doubt that he's going to be a factor. It's just, is he going to have one of those really special days? And if he does, they got an unbelievable chance to win. If the Chiefs are able to hold him somewhat in check, then obviously you're feeling great about where Kansas City sits. And you always wonder about health. I mean, there's plenty of games this year where he's not missed, but he'll get a little banged up in a game, and they're working on, he's got, they have the Theragun on the thigh or whatever, and that kind of stuff.
They're working on his neck.
Elijah Mitchell is a pretty good backup, too. He's actually a guy that they'll still use near the goal line, sometimes even over Christian McCaffrey.
Shocking, considering how many touchdowns Christian McCaffrey has.
Elijah Mitchell, he's a more than capable backup and could still have somewhat of a role for the 49ers.
Yeah, but if you're the Chiefs, you can't, you worry about the run game the way Christian McCaffrey runs it, not the way Elijah Mitchell comes in to spell. I understand.
I'm not saying to worry about. I'm just saying that they have their backup is actually pretty damn good too.
In order, where do you rank your fear of their weapons? McCaffrey 1, Ayuk 2,
Debo's 2 for me. Or if not,
interesting. He's got 1,400 yards receiving.
Yeah,
I think Debo's 2.
3. I think it goes back to the trust. It goes back to the trust in Snead and McDuffie, but also when Debo Samuel is still more versatile. I think to beat the Chiefs, you're going to have guys that are able to exist in multiple ways. And Brandon Ayuk's been a hell of a receiver, but they're not running jet sweeps and touch passes to Brandon Ayuk the same way they are. Debo Samuel will line up in the backfield, and they'll run a toss play to Debo Samuel or whatever. Go between the tackles, I should say, with Debo Samuel.
Because I think I'm CMC, Ayuk, Debo, Kittle. Kittle 4th? I'm putting Kittle 4th?
I think
he led the league in receiving yardage by a tight end this year. Can I really put him 4th?
McCaffrey... if we're McCaffrey, Kittle,
Debo, then Ayuk?
I mean, people are going to disagree outside of Kansas City.
I don't think it really matters. I guess maybe this is the point of the exercise. You could probably put those 4 in any order, just as long as you have Christian McCaffrey first.
Yeah, but
that's what we seem to agree on.
But we're talking about the biggest concern, though. You have to also think about how the Chiefs match up against it. So that's why Ayuk is further down the list for me, because L'Jarius Sneed, we went through the numbers earlier. What were they against? These are just Pro Bowl wide receivers this year. Tyreek Hill had 8 catches for 62 yards, 5 catches for 62 in the other game.
He wasn't even covering him on 50 of those yards.
Jamar Chase, when he matched up with Sneed, 3 catches, 41 yards. A.J. Brown, when he was matched up with Sneed, 1 catch for 8 yards. Justin Jefferson, who got hurt in the fourth quarter, still only had 33 yards or something like that through 3 quarters, matched up with Snead and McDuffie. So it's because all year I've seen what they do to the top wide receiver on these opponents.
Yeah, that does help. At least for this game, if you're saying, hey, not on the season, but for this game, maybe Ayuk is last. Maybe is last from the exact reason you're pointing out, which is Snead is more likely, and they are more likely as a team, to shut down the number one wide receiver than any team in the NFL. We can get it. I mean, we got all next week to talk about this matchup too. This defense, in a lot of ways, gets so under the radar because Patrick Mahomes exists. Look, that's not their fault. It's not their fault that the single greatest quarterback in the league and one of the. I think at this point you could probably. I'll tell you right now, I don't think there's any quarterback you can make an argument for me that's been better than Patrick Mahomes ever than Brady. Brady's the only one.
Well,
so
sure.
For me, Patrick Mahomes is at the very least the second greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL. The only one I want to entertain is Brady, and if he wins this one, then I'm going to start.
Well, he'll be on
probably entertaining that conversation.
He'll be pacing ahead of Brady if he wins. Again, we are not going to have the answer to that for 10 more years because it's going to come down to not necessarily the exact same number of rings, but they're going to have to be closer. But I mean, there's no doubt it is these two. It is Brady and Mahomes. I think that's pretty obvious.
And I know there's guys that got 4 like Joe Montana. Don't care. Patrick Mahomes is better than you. And look, maybe things change over time, but right now, that is absolutely the stance for me.
Random question.
For you, Gold. For you, Drew, over in the text line, 913-586-7610. Of course, you can follow us on video stream, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, at 610 Sports KC. Our plan is to live stream the show down from Radio Row. We'll see how technology holds up on us. But the question I have for you came actually via a different radio station. Couple called in to a Boston station, 108.3, their top 100 hit station. And a girlfriend had a problem with her boyfriend. Here's what happens. He, through his company, works for a big Fortune 5 company, won 2 tickets to the Super Bowl. They, as a couple, have been dating for around 6 months. He's not taking her. He's taking his boy, his lifelong childhood best friend. The question I have for you, is that a problem? His girlfriend, no, hold on.
No, it's not.
One added layer. The day of the Super Bowl is her birthday. I'm just saying.
But here's where I'm at.
That adds an element, a challenge into the situation.
Clarify one thing because I think it matters. They've only been dating for how long?
About 6 months.
Yeah, this makes it easier. This is not your girlfriend of 2 years who you just you're about to propose to, or it's your fiance, or you just got married. Like, any of that? No, you've been dating her for 6 months. For all you know,
you've been dating her for 2 years.
For all you know, you're breaking up in 3 months. I mean, no.
What if you're pre-engaged and you've been dating for a couple of years, living together, live-in girlfriend?
That changed it a little bit, admittedly. Absolutely. If you're living together and you know, like you're on the verge of probably getting engaged and all that, that's a little bit different. But otherwise, like, you take your best friend.
If he wants to keep dating her, it is his problem. That's really, you're deciding
Cody,
between, is this a person you think you're going to be dating forever?
Bingo.
Or is this just a girlfriend? In which case, you're kind of making your decision the second you call this off.
Is she a sports fan too? I mean, this all factors in. Like,
she said she's not a huge football fan. She did say she's a big Taylor Swift fan in the audio clip.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, so instead of watching the game, she's going to bring a pair of binoculars and just be looking at the suite the whole time. Like, oh, let me see the reaction.
Like, I just think.
I'm just saying that conversation's rough.
If you knew that and so we're talking about her. So if you knew that your boyfriend, if you're in her shoes, your boyfriend is a big football fan. He just won this unbelievable prize. He's got this best friend he's known his entire life. He's a huge football fan. You know, this is his dream trip, his dream opportunity. I would like to think, though, that she would also be a little bit understanding about this.
Of lifelong best friend?
Absolutely. Now, if she's a huge football fan as well, and you both go to games together, and that's different. But if she doesn't care about football, and you and your buddy have been huge sports fans your entire life, I would like to think she would get it a little bit.
In a wife situation, she has to get first right of refusal.
Absolutely.
There's just no first right of refusal. Like, hey, do you want to? And then even then, it's like, what if it was a sibling? In a wife case, could you take a sibling instead? Or you still got to give the wife? I feel
like there's an easier out for that reason.
For a brother,
yes.
Right?
For a
we
sibling.
grew up watching the team together our whole life. But in my case, it'd be like I'd be choosing between 6 siblings. So it's not, the weight's not the same.
Like you got
to have only one sibling for that to work.
It works out for me because my brother and I cheer for teams that are in opposite conferences. He's a Packers fan. I'm a Bengals fan. If the Bengals and Packers ever played in the Super Bowl, I'm going with and I won this trip. I'm going with my brother. And I would tell Brianna to be like, hey, is it all right if I go with? I wouldn't even ask her if she wants to go.
I still think you do the flyby.
I would ask her
is
if
this cool?
I would find a way. If she wanted to come on the trip, great. But we're going to the game, we're doing
that's
that
actually a
side
good
of
point.
things.
That if
Could
you
they just
wa-
come on
if-
the trip?
if you won the trip, and let's use this year as an example, it's Vegas. So, and you say, hey, we won this trip. Let's actually pay for a few extra nights ahead of time. Let's go to Vegas longer, and then you can spend some time with your girlfriend or wife for a few days before the Saturday or Sunday, and then your buddy flies into town later. And then you guys go to the game together, and she can figure something out during the game or fly back home at that point. I think that's a way to do it as well.
I think you're breaking up if you don't take her. Like, I'll just say that. If it's a girlfriend, I think you're pretty much breaking up.
Well, you were together for 6 months. Whatever. Super Bowl. Time to move on.
Watch it down.
She is the one because she's not understanding. Is that? I mean,
But you're not understanding. Do you understand how this works? You're not being very generous. She's looking at you as selfish in this scenario. This is a two-way street.
But also fast forward, Drew.
If you've got a friend who you've been friends with since you were like little kids, you've been friends forever. Say it's 20 years, and you got a chance to go to the Super Bowl with them, or your 6-month relationship. I feel like that you have to go with your friend. It just
What's
makes
the month
more
in which
sense.
you'd start thinking about it? You think it's live-in girlfriend?
It's
like if we've been together a year, but it's live-in girlfriend.
No, but there's more details that are needed, I think. So it's a year or more, and also, does she actually care about sports?
She cares about sports.
If she won't watch if she won't watch NFL Sunday with you anyway, then why would you take her to the Super Bowl?
I mean, because everyone likes the Super Bowl, man. That's the point.
If she likes Taylor Swift,
No,
she might be
people
better
like the
sitting on the
idea.
couch.
People like it's the same thing with the parade. It's the same thing with anything. People like the idea of being at said event, not actually the event.
I would.
They want to be able to put on Instagram that they were at the Super Bowl. That's what it is.
I think it would depend on, there's a lot of factors, but I think in terms of just pure consideration, I feel like you have to be dating this person at least 1 year.
This
minimum.
The solution might be what people are saying, which is take her to Vegas, take her on the trip, take her to a show, do the Vegas thing. Don't take her to the game.
Now, in this example out of Boston, were either of them a Niners or a Chiefs fan?
No.
So
Not a
they're
fan
just
of either
an
team.
NFL, just a generic NFL fan.
Yeah, not a fan of either team. Just a Boston thing. Just want you to ponder that.
I'm just saying, fast forward,
What if you have to make
a
this
year and a
decision
half.
one day?
Fast forward a year and a half from now, and your best friend, you didn't take him, and you've already this girl you already broke up with months and months earlier.
I was
and
going to
now,
give you a hard time about it for a long time.
Yeah, and then he ever has an opportunity for something cool, he's never taking you. He's never taking you because he's not going to let you forget that you didn't take him.
That's fair.
You remember, you took that girl you broke up with 8 months ago. Remember when you took her to the Super Bowl instead of me? Remember that decision you made?
I understand the challenges that come with it, but I'm just telling you right now, if you're married,
well, I agree with that. Yeah,
you gotta.
It would depend on the matchup for me. If it was just
then you're not even taking your wife.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like if next year the Bengals are playing the Packers in the Super Bowl, I'm going with my brother on that trip. I would just say, hey, is it all right if I go with Zach? You can come along. Like we'll find a way for you to come, but him and I are going to this game. She's very understanding when it comes to that sort of stuff. But if it was somebody random, I'm definitely taking Bree.
I know we're getting back to the Chiefs in just a minute, but since we're talking about events that maybe you could win tickets to, maybe your buddy hypothetically wins a ticket to the event that billionaire Peter Thiel is offering. And I'm 98% sure that this is the exact idea that was pitched by our former producer. He is funding something called, quote, the Enhanced Games, a rival to the Olympics, in which would allow athletes to use performance-enhancing drugs like steroids before competing. Honestly, why are they allowed to use some things but not others? What's the hang up over the certain version? Like they're allowed to take all of the thousands of medicines they're given by Olympic doctors before, but we draw the line on steroids?
Some are viewed more as performance enhancers. Some are also illegal substances. Some are more harmful to you, physically. That's probably why.
If in this scenario, is it only legal drugs? I'm just asking,
Cody wants the javelin player, all up on cocaine right before? Is that what you're wanting as he's throwing this javelin?
To be honest, if we're getting the Enhanced Games, absolutely. Not even joking. Absolutely, that's what I want to see. And I like the idea of them experimenting to be like, what's the correct dosage of cocaine where I'm jacked up to the right level, but not so much that I'm thinking I'm doing
My
stupid
guess
things.
is they're talking about true performance enhancers, not probably not more of the illegal drugs on the streets.
Not like you're tripping acid and then you're going out there for
My
a
guess
boxing
is
match.
it's just something that's known to help you in the weight room and things like that they would actually allow you to do. I just want to know who's sponsoring this if it ever ended up on TV.
GNC?
Because
I don't know.
I don't think Yeah, maybe GNC. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Procter and Gamble, are sponsoring. Johnson & Johnson are sponsoring the
What
enhanced
was the
games.
brand of like that big creatine jug that used to be in the back of Mark McGuire's locker? That company? Balco, do they survive all their stuff?
Sure.
They'd probably be willing to sponsor
But
it.
I don't think McDonald's is not sponsoring the enhanced games.
Probably
proud
not.
partner of the enhanced games. I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, somebody pointing out, this is a great example. Did you see Michael Bublé from the NHL All-Star game? Dude, he was talking about being
The
microdosed
singer?
he was talking about being microdosed with mushrooms at the press podium. Did you not see this video?
No, I did not.
Oh, it's incredible. Oh, man, now I'm really sad it's not in the system. It's so
Okay,
good.
I'll have to check it out during the break.
Oh, hold on, maybe the morning show.
So you could clearly tell he was on something. He's singing the anthem, or he's just at the game?
He's talking about, he said his friend said this was a microdose, and he's like, I don't think it's a microdose. He's at the podium saying this thing, and the look on, God, who was it who's sitting next to him in the, I can't believe nobody else, I feel like I'm just sitting on an island. Andrew, who was here early from Jay Rieger, he's shaking his head like he remembers.
Yeah, a lot of people, this is reminding them of the SNL skit back in the day. We've played this before because the enhanced games have been rumored before, the all-drug Olympics. So that's what they're doing. They're taking the SNL skit and bringing it to real life.
In response to what its sponsors claim is an idea whose time has come, the first all-drug Olympics opened today in Bogota, Colombia. Athletes are allowed to take any substance whatsoever before, after, and even during the competition. So far, 115 world records have been shattered. We go now to correspondent Kevin Nealon live in Bogota for the weightlifting finals. Kevin.
Dennis, getting ready to lift now is Sergei Akhmudov of the Soviet Union. His trainer has told me that he's taken anabolic steroids, Novocaine, NyQuil, Darvon, and some sort of fish paralyzer.
It's an all-time SNL skit. I'm glad we still had that in the system. Yeah, someone's right. Like Barstool would sponsor
Will
it,
Arnett,
probably.
that's who was next to him.
Okay.
Will Arnett makes a face like, oh, man, you better, be quiet.
I'll have to watch the clip.
Than you're being right now. We can have Drew roll it in the break, too. We can play it for the audience who doesn't have access to go look it up right now, although we all have phones. But
So what do you mean
I don't
they
want
don't
you
have
to,
access?
Well, I don't want them to tune away from the show. Listen to the show. We'll play you the audio, when Club 610 starts. That's a perfect piece of audio for Club 610. We don't usually do shrooms on Club 610, but you get the point.
We definitely don't do shrooms during Club 610, if that's what you're asking. Yeah.
I said usually either, too, which implies the case that
I can confirm
you have
that
never
I have not
personally.
used shrooms during Club 610. I can confirm that. On the record. Let it be known.
Okay.
Up next, though, we are going to get back to talking about the Chiefs a little bit. Who knows? We're going to talk about Vegas. Come on now. We're going to talk about Vegas a little bit. We do have Rob Collins, sports director of Fox 4, joining us in studio. We're also going to have a Vegas-themed cocktail from our friend Andrew Olson over at Jay Rieger. Coming up next here on Cody and Gold.
Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 610 Sports Radio and the Odyssey app.
If you are pumped for the big game, come to Pure at 350 Highway and Nolan Road and party with the world-famous Pure Girls. Pure, voted the #1 gentlemen's club in the Midwest. The best luxury VIP rooms, the most beautiful women, and open till 3 a.m. We're going to Las Vegas, Nevada, baby. Party at Pure, 350 Highway and Nolan Road. And remember, always free Uber rides at Pure.
It's touchdown, Kansas City for homeowners. When you sell your home as is, in any condition, to RexBuysKC.com. This is Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs. And now, sell your home to Rex. No matter the condition or situation, with closing details designed to fit your schedule, needs, and wants.
Thanks, Mitch. This is Rex, owner of RexBuysKC.com, your local home buyer. We offer instant cash offers on the first visit. We pay you more. We give you unlimited options on how to sell your home as is with no out-of-pocket repair cost, no closing costs, fees, or commissions, and will close in as little as 7 days. Call now at 816-330-6000 or go online to RexBuysKC.com.
Rex will buy your home for more with huge cash offers, fair and honest dealings, and options that make selling your home quick and hassle-free.
Homeowners, call now, 816-330-6000 or go online at RexBuysKC.com.
Supplement Superstores has helped me lose close to 15 pounds, and they can do the same for you. Try what I use, Flashpoint Complex, and save 20% when you tell them I sent you. Supplement Superstores has 8 Kansas City area locations. Supplement Superstores, when you're ready to feel your best.
Now, your Live Nation lineup.
Don't miss these upcoming shows.
Lionel Richie and Earth, Wind & Fire, Thursday, June 6th at T-Mobile Center. Tom Segura, Friday, June 7th at Starlight. Jason Mraz, Sunday, July 21st at Starlight. And Billy Joel and Sting, Friday, September 27th at Busch Stadium in St. Louis.
For tickets and info, hit up livenation.com.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like saddling up and chasing down.
Look at that sweet moolah!
That big old cash cow.
Look at all that money!
File for free with TaxSlayer Simply Free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
NFL playoff coverage on 610 Sports Radio is brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. Cody and Gold, live from Las Vegas next week on 610 Sports Radio. KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
One o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. It's a Red Friday edition of Club 610. Getting set to head out to Las Vegas. We got a couple special guests joining us in studio for the next hour. We'll talk all things Chiefs, all things Las Vegas. We got Rob Collins from Fox 4, sports director, friend of the show, headed out to Vegas on Sunday. It's going to be a fun week. We'll talk more about that. We got Andrew Olson from Jay Rieger. He joined us back in November, I guess it was, right before the Chiefs were taking on the Dolphins in Germany. And we made an unbelievable cocktail, or you made an unbelievable cocktail, I should say, around that game.
Take some credit.
I corrected myself very quickly, very quickly.
Drank it.
Yeah, I did a lot of work. I did a lot of work. So he's in studio with us, and he's going to make us another great cocktail from Jay Rieger. Good to have you guys in studio. How's everybody feeling? Like, are we? I'm really, really confident. Really confident
in the game.
In the game, yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, after what they did against Baltimore, I mean, I was kind of leery on that, depending on the day. I didn't know who was going to win. I actually picked both teams, depending on which show you listen to, because the injuries came out. We tape shows, and you do it on Wednesday or Thursday. You don't know, and then you get the injury reports. But after what they've done in the playoffs so far this season, I'm very confident in the Chiefs in this one, especially with what I think Spags is going to dial up against Brock Purdy.
Yeah. 2 weeks to come up with something against Brock Purdy. I mean, Spags has shut down Lamar. He shut down Tom Brady in his career a couple of times. Yeah. So, yeah, I got plenty of faith in what they're going to be able to do defensively. And it means, the big game, you got a lot of parties going on. You got to have some great beverages, Andrew, when it comes to watching this football game in a couple Sundays.
That's right, yeah. Actually, we're going to be making a cocktail based on one of the more popular cocktails in Las Vegas called the Cable Car.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Cable car, okay.
Yeah.
So what's in your version of a cable car?
Well, so the original cable car is designed by a guy named Tony Abagam, and he was hired by the Wynn family early on, let's say mid to late 90s, and this was originally made with the the best spiced rum on the market. I'm just kidding. It was Captain Morgan. It was just a Captain Morgan kind of like lemon sour with a little orange dry curacao, and so we're making one with Kansas City whiskey.
Love
little
it.
cinnamon sugar rim, nice and refreshing.
That sounds nice.
I really wanted to go down the Vegas Kansas City mob connection, but I want to live, so I'm gonna.
I love it.
We
How
might be
about
playing
that?
the enhanced radio games if you started making it with everything out of those two things. Might run into a whole nother problem. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. What's your guys' policy on drinking and traveling? Is there a time in which it's too early to drink and travel? 9 a.m. flight on vacation, you allowed to have a cocktail in the airport.
From Fox 4?
No, just from like, let's say you're going on vacation.
Hey, man, I'm on the road. I'm in Vegas. I do whatever I need to do. Whatever. Here's the deal. Every time that I go on a trip for, like a week, Super Bowl, whatever, I go to the grocery store the first day. Buy stuff for the room, water bottles, protein shakes, snacks, and a bottle of booze. Every single trip. Because you don't want to pay the prices for drinks, especially in Las Vegas.
Oh, it's crazy.
And then we've all been in Vegas casinos. It takes forever to get from A to B. If you're going to walk down to the bar, you got to walk through the casino and everything else. So I just have a bottle in my room. Good to go.
Yeah, we couldn't convince the boss to have a per diem for gambling. $25 a day on craps or anything. No,
Something I can just like throw on red or black once a day?
Is
That
it going
doesn't
to
seem
pay
all
for
that
your
crazy.
cover charge to go in the strip club?
Well,
That's hard to say. I don't know.
That's up for debate still,
I think that's just the price of being in Vegas.
We're going to go
right?
to the library. That way, Cody wanted to check out a book. That's what they charge
That
for a
receipt will be a
library.
lot easier to turn in. I'll tell you that
the
much.
library?
It's just for a library card.
It's called something. If it's called, like you got to go with the ones that are a little less obvious by name.
Yeah, Spearmint Rhino will be a red flag.
Yeah, they know that now. They're familiar with that one.
All right, so Andrew's passing out the cocktails here.
Thank you.
And again, this is using, so we've got the Kansas City vodka, right? From
So this is actually, you can make this
You can make it with
cocktail
vodka.
any
Okay.
of our spirits. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm doing it with the Kansas City whiskey today.
Okay.
Because it's 92 proof and Friday and
That's
Chiefs.
fair. Look, I'm I don't have to do anything until I travel on Sunday eventually, so I'm in good shape.
Yeah, I just have to tape a show today, and I'm off tomorrow. So it's my third day off this year is tomorrow, so I'm going to live it up.
This
You
is
did it, man.
fantastic. This is really good.
You've
I love
really
that.
accomplished it.
The cinnamon. I don't know if I've ever had a drink with the cinnamon
sugar rim.
Rim, yeah.
It's like eating a churro and drinking
That's
whiskey
exactly
sour
right.
at the same time.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
I like both of those things, so I don't really see what the problem.
This is
I made this New York
psychedelic
sour not that long
whiskey.
ago. Oh, yeah.
So-
You actually microdosed us like Michael Bublé?
Yeah, sorry.
Rob, did you see that clip of Michael Bublé at the NHL All-Star game?
No, sir.
God, I felt like it's just me and you.
I guess.
Yeah, I hadn't heard it until you guys brought
Big
it up.
hockey guy. Big hockey guy.
I mean, he's Canadian, right? So
No,
not
I'm
that-
a big hockey
Oh, I
guy.
was like, wait.
yeah.
I was like, Michael Bublé's Canadian. I thought they're all big hockey guys. I didn't think that was. I thought that was like just part of the job.
Right,
I don't want to say for
prerequisite.
sure. How are you guys feeling in this game versus like we're a week out, but versus just like what we had last week? Because like when I look at them, like I don't know, they're just as good as the Ravens, but I don't know that they're like way better than the Ravens. The Ravens did some things statistically that very few teams in NFL history had combined offensively, defensively, what they were getting out of their quarterback play. They had what will be come Thursday, the MVP of the league. Like the 49ers are just as good as them, but I don't feel like they're way better than them, if that makes sense. I just watched the Chiefs control the game.
Yeah, I don't think the 49ers are going to get away from the run game, which is really what killed Baltimore.
God,
I was surprised at how few times they ran the ball. The 49ers, we've seen them down, and they're still going to the run game because you have CMC, and Shanahan has got them to come back from 17 points down, and Purdy's managed the game, if you will. But they're not going away from the run game, and that's why I think it's important for the Chiefs to get out early, score first.
100%. I mean, I think the 49ers, unlike the prior two coaching staff, just frankly, Kyle Shanahan from an offensive mind, I think he understands a little bit more than what we've seen the last couple of contests with the mindset of like, hey, this is your game plan. It is okay to not completely go off script and panic. And I feel like we've seen other teams panic overall in the games against the Chiefs defense. But if Kansas City does get a lead, I mean, it doesn't even have to be 10. If it's a 7-point lead, you just got to feel great with the way this defense plays throughout this entire season. We're long past the concern of number one wide receiver, Brandon Ayuk, and things like that. I mean, they have shut down every single number one wide receiver.
Yeah, if the Chiefs get up 17 on the 49ers, there's no way they're coming back. No way.
How many points have we allowed in the second half? 7 or something like that?
They've allowed 3 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, Get ahead.
I mean, combined 7 or less in like the last 8 straight games. I think this will be a bigger thing next week, but the Chiefs' defense gets way overlooked because Patrick Mahomes exists. It's not. It's no one's fault. It's no one's fault. Patrick Mahomes exists and Travis Kelce exists, and now he's dating this biggest star on the planet. I understand why they get a lot of the attention. The Chiefs' defense is doing things that other defenses we used to talk about as being like, wow, what a defense for the Super Bowl. Like the 2000 Ravens, the 2002 Bucks. It is doing those types of things. It just doesn't get mentioned like it's doing those type of things.
Yeah, the defense is phenomenal. I mean, the in-spags we trust, the shirts, everything. It's been amazing. And as you said, 2 weeks for him against Brock Purdy. I know Purdy's played well, but this is the Super Bowl, and he hasn't seen a defense like the Chiefs.
They clearly, as an organization out in San Francisco, have not forgotten what happened the last time they played in the Super Bowl. It's been weird this far out to have 2 individuals from that team, one the owner, Jed York, the other Nick Bosa, but both bringing up holding, and I feel like it's a concerted effort already to try to get the narrative out there that, hey, even for officials, like this is a team that holds. They did it back in 2020 around Kyle Shanahan's comments said, their secondary holds all the time. That was the mindset they were trying to get out there, and I think it's done on purpose. Listen to Jed York, the owner of the 49ers. He was asked, hey, what do you remember about that Super Bowl a couple years ago against Kansas City?
I mean, I remember Nick Bosa getting held on 3rd and long and that not getting called.
It goes on from there, but that's the first words out of his mouth are complaining still about a holding call from 4 years ago.
You know what that tells me? They're scared. Trying to get the narrative out there already.
I think the big players on their team probably should be. They were all here the last time Patrick Mahomes undid them. Like it's like especially on offense where you're just like, oh man, this guy again. Bosa was a rookie, right? I mean, he was an incredibly young player during that Super Bowl. I remember him like sitting on the sideline in all the videos. And him being like, oh, get back there. And to their credit, like this is the whole point about like taking quarterbacks high. You can take a risk at quarterback, just hedge your bet. Hedge your bet and you can still survive. You're not always going to find Brock Purdy, but hedge your bet and you'll be all right. But to complain about that early, it just seems so silly. Like 4 years, you're holding on to that? You're the best team all year. Hold on to the holding penalties, Rob. I just don't understand it.
They're just, trying to get the narrative out there. So
the refs call it?
The refs hear it. They obviously are going to hear it.
I love the fact that Nick Bosa, said out loud what he did because that quickly gets back to Juwan Taylor and Donovan Smith. Like I love them knowing him. I mean, this was Nick Bosa, by the way.
About Taylor and Smith, when you watch them on film, Taylor's, I think, leads the NFL with a ton of penalties. Anything stand out when you watch them?
They hold a lot.
And they do, right? It's true.
Well, it's true.
It's actually factually accurate.
But just that, again, the first thing that you say about the offensive line is, oh, yeah, they hold a lot. I kind of like that he said that because Juwan Taylor, Donovan Smith, we know this team doesn't shy away from it. They use it as motivation. They may not talk about it before the game, but then after the game we hear, we heard what they were saying. Like, if the Chiefs win, there will be plenty of clips of you on the field interviewing Juwan Taylor, Donovan Smith, or whatever, Rob. And it'll be like, we heard they said we hold a lot. No holding calls tonight. We want, whatever, right?
Yeah.
There will be some of that gets said if the Chiefs are victorious.
Sure. And we heard Brett Veach after the win in Baltimore. I don't know why people continually poke the bear, as in Mahomes with the whole Justin Tucker thing. But teams have got to learn you cannot give the Chiefs any bulletin board motivational material. Just ask Jamar Chase. Yeah. Sorry, Drew.
That's right, Drew. Jamar Chase.
Thank you. Thank you for your apology.
Yeah. Hey, since we're all going to talk about Vegas here in a minute, right? Or like what our plans are for that?
Yeah, let's do it.
In the next segment, you guys want to bet?
On what?
I brought a gambling dreidel and a bunch of ones.
Yes.
And you guys can Venmo me for the ones. I don't care about that. We can throw some ones around and at least
we can do that.
Wager a little bit, right? I mean, it is Vegas week. Rob's getting his wallet out. He might have some ones.
I have to go to my truck.
I know you're good for it. It's all right.
Yeah. I've got a bottle of Rieger vodka.
Yeah, there you go.
Again, I brought enough ones that at least I know most of us have Venmo. We can figure out a way to spread it out.
But I'll take care.
That's fine. You're good. You're good for it.
I'm an old curmudgeon guy. I don't like that stuff.
Now, real quick, for people that aren't going to make the trip out to Vegas, what do you guys have planned, Andrew, over at Rieger? Obviously, any weekend is a great time to go, but for the big game.
Totally, yeah. So we are the official watch party for the Kansas City Chiefs. So all the away games, we're showing everything up in the Monogram Lounge in the atrium. Oftentimes, former players, cheerleaders, We're giving away merch. We had signed memorabilia at the last game.
That's awesome.
There's always food specials, drink specials. It's a pretty rowdy time, as you could imagine at a distillery watching football.
Well, now it's the Super Bowl. I mean, when you guys signed up for the away game watch party, I don't know if you thought it was for sure carrying all the way to the final game of the year, but that's good news.
It's kind of worked out, especially because of all the away playoff games. That was good for business.
Yeah, that's been great.
Yeah,
I love that spot up there, just for a variety of reasons, but it's like the idea of having we've talked about this before. It's like the older I get, the more I just I want 3 really nice cocktails. And
it's for real.
less I just want to what if I drank 12 really cheap ones? You're like, no, it's
no. Hangover, man. You can't drink cheap booze at our age.
Yeah.
It doesn't work,
right.
man.
Drink the good stuff.
You got to get, especially like tequila, you got to get 100% agave.
Yeah, Cody, this is definitely the best cocktail we've had since Andrew was here last.
Really?
Yeah,
Is that what's going to be like?
Since Andrew was here last.
You were actually really complimentary. I went through. I brought the fancy cherries.
There was one presentation.
I went through the trouble the other day.
There was one cocktail you made, I don't know, maybe 4 weeks ago, and the presentation was your best. I was impressed. It was really, really good presentation.
It was Manhattan themed.
Yeah.
You could have.
The presentation, you went through, you put a lot of effort into it.
Normally I'm also hosting this radio show.
That's true.
It's hard to key into the presentation. If radio ever falls through, can you give me a job at the bar?
Absolutely.
All right. I need a backup.
I hear he used to be a bartender.
Yeah, it's true.
Allegedly.
Now, Vegas, you guys, I'm sure. How many times have you been to Vegas, Rob?
Dozens.
Dozens.
I was married in Vegas, man.
Oh, that's
really?
right. I knew
forgot that.
I've seen the photo. He's like in a white tux.
Yeah. Well, it was a black and white photo.
Black and white. Okay.
Yeah. I've been to Vegas tons.
Yeah, I was stationed about an hour and a half south when I was in the Marine Corps. So
you've been to Vegas a few times?
My 21st birthday, amongst every Marine Corps ball, was in Vegas at the old Tropicana, which has Kansas City ties because that was where
they're tearing it down.
As of
right after
in April.
Yeah, once March putting the state baseball stadium.
Yeah,
right
the A's are going to play there.
Yeah.
So that after March Madness, they're tearing down the Tropicana. I mean, you can still stay in it, obviously, right now. There's nothing. I've actually stayed there 3 or 4 times.
I've been there.
Yeah. But
it's inexpensive.
Yeah, it's what? There's worse on the Strip. There's definitely worse on the Strip.
I had a room 1 year that had a mirror above. The whole ceiling was a mirror.
Nice.
Wow.
We were just talking about how what hotel chain was it that was offering up you stay at the
Marriott,
field?
right?
The Marriott.
Yeah, so Marriott did a contest. They do it every year for the Super
Marriott?
Bowl. Yeah, the Marriott. The commercial. Marriott.
Maybe we're pronouncing it wrong this whole time.
I don't know anybody that doesn't say Marriott. But anyway, they're doing a contest. They've done it the last few Super Bowls. They're like the official hotel partner of the NFL or something. And one of the suites at Allegiant Stadium is turned into like a Marriott hotel room. Has a king bed. Wow. It looks like and so someone wins that, they get to spend the night and wake up at the stadium, which is really cool.
And I said the obvious thing, which is you gotta have sex. That's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
It would be a missed opportunity for sure.
By the way, can you imagine you're a Chiefs fan, you win that, and you can say you got to have sex before the Raiders can even play a playoff game in their own stadium? Yes, sex in their stadium.
That's hilarious.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
You scored before the Raiders.
That's it. There you go. Playoffs. But I think I don't know if you'd even be able to sleep. In all honesty, we were talking about this earlier the night before. Like if you told me I was in a stadium, because the door still opens up to the stadium.
Yeah. Have you guys been to the stadium?
I haven't. First time.
It's fantastic.
I haven't been out there.
It's a party. It's Vegas, right? So they have pregame music, DJs. There's a live band.
Do you think they'll still do that for will they?
I think so.
Do the same element that they've had?
I should. It was great. I mean, the atmosphere was fantastic. They played a bunch of Metallica and Ozzy, and all my songs that I like. It's a Raiders, right? That whole Raider mystique, but it was a party, man. They had DJ at halftime. They had a concert at halftime.
I think we're making Andrew really miss out. I'm sad now you're not going. Familiar with the city?
Yeah, it's all good. One day I'll make it. We don't even have distribution in Nevada yet. We are working on it.
Do you want us to distribute some in our bags?
Yeah.
Just start spreading it around to people?
Are you taking it to Radio Row? Is that...
Yeah. Well, we've talked about, we think Club 610 on Radio Row kind of needs to be a must, but we're not really sure what the alcohol policy
Vegas, man,
at Radio Row is.
Submit the budget for Andrew to make it, and I'll be there.
Come along.
Yeah.
You can bartend. If we're doing that, it's full 4 hours. Anybody who shows up to the table is welcome to a cocktail.
Let's do
Could
it.
you imagine every guest that just stops by just gets
Would you like a drink?
Yeah.
Our personal bartender this point.
I don't even need to book guests anymore. It's just they see alcohol on the table.
This will start being near the table after a while.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys Friday.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're doing Radio Row Story Friday, so
Oh, nice.
I will be there.
Okay, well, we'll make sure that we got one for you for Club
We have
610.
Chiefs media availability Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
Out in late Las Vegas. They're 11 o'clock, I think, on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, 8 a.m. So those are going to be long days. I'll need a drink by Friday.
We were talking to Drew because he hasn't been to Vegas post 21, right?
Yes, correct.
All right, and so we're staying the first part of the week on Fremont Street, and then the weekend will be on the Strip. Fremont is an experience. I mean, they call it the Fremont experience. It is an experience.
When you walk down there and the covered area, there's bands playing everywhere, and there's people there. Oh, it's fantastic. I love Fremont.
All the light bulbs, like just those little
Old
details
Vegas.
and stuff. I mean, it's
cool. You
it's
can
unreal.
zip line through there, right?
Yes.
I think so.
We looked it up. There was,
That'd be
I've
some
never
fun
done
content.
it, but yeah.
Us on a zip line?
Yeah.
Put a
bad
GoPro
content.
on and get after it.
Well, the only other content we have planned right now is me maybe having to fight Bill Romanowski. So
I heard about
we're
this.
looking for more ideas.
Bill Romanowski, man.
I when I got in the car, I was at the doctor's office earlier. I had heard about it. What, are you
So
going to
he called, play the audio.
Fight him? Are you going to
So-
wear a fight me shirt with Romo?
Here's Bill Romanowski. So we all know 3-time Super Bowl champion, Bill Romanowski. He was on our sister station in the Bay Area yesterday, 95.7 The Game. And, here's what he said.
I believe Mahomes is a crybaby.
He calls Mahomes a crybaby.
So I said, get him on Radio Row and I'll say he's a crybaby. And then Drew immediately got his phone number and has already texted with him, and he's already said he'll come on the show.
Bring me and be like, this is Cody Tapp.
Right? I already said, so we need you both to bartend and for muscle.
Yeah, look,
This is me, Cody Tapp.
he's in my top 5 of most hated, like as a Chiefs fan growing up in Kansas City, top 5 hated players, dirty player, steroid guy, all of it. So no, he does a lot of Radio Row stuff, so it makes sense that he would be out there. We're gonna get him on. We'll see if Cody actually goes through. I said I will tell him like he's one of the most hated Chiefs, for fans.
I think he probably embraced
and he'll
that,
know
knowing
that.
Bill Romanowski.
But if Cody, gets into a fight, then it'll
Let's
make
do this
Radio
on
Row.
Friday. I'll have our camera crew there.
Perfect.
And
4K, get him 4K.
beautiful. It'll be fantastic.
Hey, it's like fights in hockey. Get the boys going.
That does
Let's
make
get
it
'em fired up.
That does make for a good story for you. Bill Romanowski just right between the eyes.
So you might wonder
dotting me.
Local radio personality gets smacked by
He's
Bill
6'4",
Romanowski at Radio Row.
265, according to Wikipedia.
I'm still bigger than him.
Perfect.
So he's got like 100
So this is
pounds
about the
on
size
you,
I'm
dude.
looking at to get punched in the face.
Yeah, I'm 6'5", 270.
Rob Collins is doing his live stand up from.
Yeah.
So you guys might wonder what it's like to be at Radio Row at a Super Bowl. Well,
Sometimes it gets heated.
sometimes things get passionate.
A fight before the fight.
Let's
on
get
Sunday.
McAfee over there too at the same time. I mean, that would.
There you go. He'd be in.
Yeah, he would.
He would definitely whip my ass. I got no chance there. Roman, I already said this. If he actually did try to fight me, I will gouge, bite, pull, scratch. Let's just be very clear. There's no clean part of my fight here.
Dan Campbell him and go after his kneecap.
Yeah.
I'll just give play-by-play of the fight. You know,
there you go.
That's fine.
Just give the
That's your
play-by-play
job.
of what's going on. It definitely would be the highlight of Radio Row. Get people
my
talking.
gosh.
Talk about you want people to talk.
If it
I've
doesn't
heard people
happen,
yell
what
at
a
each other
letdown.
on Radio Row.
I've seen a verbal altercation.
Really?
Oh, it made national news because they were like nose to nose. in
Yeah, when was
Minneapolis.
this?
Minnesota.
Two Houston
Okay.
radio hosts, didn't like each other for competing stations, I think, and they were just went after each other.
It got close.
Radio wars.
That's crazy, man.
No one knows what anybody's faces look like,
but now all of a sudden we're fighting.
You hear your voice like, oh, that's the guy. So
I
you're
told
staying
Cody-
at Cirque? Is that what you said?
They're sister properties. So
Okay.
we've got a really cool event planned, actually. Thanks for bringing it up. We've got a cool event planned next Thursday at Circa down on Fremont Street. It's a fairly new property. They've got this stadium swim club.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Unbelievable. It's, the length of a football field
Yeah.
video board, basically,
I've seen
with
it. It's
pools.
fantastic.
And so we're doing a party with our sister station, 95.7 The Game. I don't know if Bill Romanowski will be there or not, but we're competing with them to have more Chiefs fans than Niners fans. And so you can RSVP. It's a completely free party next Thursday from 5 to 9 p.m. in Nevada, Pacific time.
If you wear your team gear, you get a free drink.
Yeah.
I'm envisioning Romo picking you up and just slamming
Throwing him
you
in the
into
pool.
the pool.
That would be incredible.
That would be fantastic.
That'd be pretty. Again, very good
I mean,
content
you would
from the
get
station.
off pretty easy if that's all that
Yeah,
happens. You guys
versus
just
getting
throw him
punched in the
pool.
face?
Yeah.
Man,
If this doesn't happen, the letdown that I'm going to feel.
If he doesn't at least look at me like he wants to punch me, you know?
What do you
Because
think?
I said right before you say you got to take the glasses off, the most clear nonverbal clue you are ready to be punched, which is just like, oh, look, man, I think you're a crybaby.
Yeah.
Which is the like, he's taking his glasses off. He's prepared in case this is
He's
going
probably
down.
just gonna. He's probably just gonna be like, okay, why do you think I'm a crybaby? And then you're gonna have to go into detail and start explaining why, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't have a backup plan yet. Just the first line. All I have was the one line.
Just go with your gut.
Yeah, just make sure this happens later in the week so you can do your job.
That's what I told him. If he gets
Honestly,
punched, I need it to be later in the week.
Honestly, being as smug as possible is probably the best bet. The last fight I was in my teenage years was somebody said, hey, man, that's my girlfriend you're dancing with. And the response I gave was, well, she chose to dance with me, which, by the way, wrong response. The correct response is, I didn't know, which was the truth. The wrong response is, she chose to dance with me. That makes people mad. You should just say the nice thing instead. Diffuse. Not planning on diffusing with Romanowski, at least not yet. He can't fight me on Radio Row. He's got more to lose than me. Although I feel like the IRS is getting the money before I do.
Yeah.
Apparently he's currently got IRS
About
problems.
$15 million. But he's totally not coming on our show, is he?
No.
If he's listening to any part of this,
I did just text him again and said Friday we are wide open. So
oh boy,
Friday there's some availability.
Friday, it's all coming together.
Rob can come.
I'm telling you, we're gonna be on Radio Row Friday.
Oh, my
That's our
goodness.
story set up for Friday. So
good stuff.
I'm all in.
We'll
We're
see
all
how
in,
it goes,
man.
I
Let's
guess.
go.
What's the game of choice when you're out?
Usually blackjack for me or Texas Hold'em. That's about the only thing I play. Because blackjack, you have the best odds if you know what you're doing, right? At the casino. And then Texas Hold'em, I like it because if you play against a dealer, you know, you played it where you got 4 or 5 other people. You're all playing against a dealer and you can help each other. Like, hey, anybody, I got 2 queens. Anybody else got one? And people will tell you the cards. So
Drew, whenever
it
you
makes
see
it a little
Rob
easier.
playing blackjack, make sure you sit right next to him and then just hit on every 18 and 19 place.
Man, I can't tell you. how
Dealer's
many-
showing 10, just keep hitting on 12. Just do
I
it.
can't tell you how many tables I've left because there's an idiot playing third base.
Oh, yeah.
That's splitting or doubling in the wrong way.
I've
I'm like,
literally just decided that I will let everyone else at the table tell me what I'm supposed to do rather than get in trouble with everyone else. Be like,
smart man.
hey, am I
It's
supposed
also
to
why-
split this? And they're like, no. You're like, cool, I'll just stay here. That sounds fine
We'll
to me.
do a post blackjack interview with Rob afterwards. Hey man, I saw that you were fuming mad at the table and you just stormed off.
I like the craps table.
Yeah, craps I love playing.
Craps is fun, but man, you can
It's a quick.
lose a lot
it's-
real quick or
yeah.
win a lot real quick.
Yeah.
You get the hot dice, and it's fun because you don't have to know everything. I mean, you can bet on pass, don't pass. You can bet on the come
You don't have
for
to
the
do
numbers.
the hard ways and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
You don't
yeah.
have to.
You only do that when you start feeling good and you're like, I'm up a lot.
Oh, if you got a
Time
hot
to start
shooter,
betting numbers.
you got a hot
When
shooter, you put a few more down. and
Dude's
yeah.
rolling 13, 14 times.
Andrew, is that your game or what do you like?
Texas Hold'em. I played a lot in Vegas, and then there's a lot of like reservation casinos around the what they call the Inland Empire in the high desert out near Palm Springs and Joshua Tree.
Okay.
Yeah,
God,
We're there for a week. Got to pace ourselves.
that's too many days in Vegas.
Normally 3 days. You fly in on a Friday and fly back Sunday night, and everybody's happy.
I'm a fly in that night and leave 36 hours later.
Oh, man.
The morning after the second full day.
The last time I was there, we didn't even get a hotel room. We literally, we got free flights, and we went out there and we were there for like 24 hours and then just came back.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Stay away from the yard-long margaritas. There's a picture floating around with me. I've got 3 of them around my neck, drinking out of the same straw at the same time.
It reminds me of the hand grenades from Las Vegas, like the hand grenade drinks that are those long
And
tubes.
how long were you upright after drinking those?
I'm pretty decent. The Marine Corps is a scary place.
Well,
Professional drinker, you know?
Yeah.
Andrew.
Well, my wife was in the Air Force where she says they had it a lot easier than y'all did.
Lots of money in the Air Force, that is for sure.
Well.
We were still using like radios and things from Vietnam.
No way.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that seems like poor budgeting. I don't want to say for sure, but feels like you should
I'm
have.
coming back Tuesday, so I'm staying in.
Oh, you get a whole extra free day.
Yeah.
We're coming back. We're
Red
flying
eye.
on a red eye
How about
after
that?
the game. We're leaving at 1:30 in the morning after the game.
Yeah, we're landing in Kansas City at 6 a.m. and then doing our show at 10. So it could either be like a fun Chiefs flight back, fans are excited, or it's going to be a really depressing flight home.
Oh my gosh, that's rough.
I'm gonna bank for exciting flight.
Yeah.
Everyone's having a cocktail. Nobody cares.
I don't blame you.
Rest.
Yeah.
because if they win, we know what happens Wednesday.
You know how busy you are Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's Valentine's Day.
Parade. Well, maybe, we can talk. Actually, we'll bring up another scenario around Valentine's Day as well. Coming up next, we've got Andrew Olson from Jay Rieger hanging out with us. We'll let you know what kind of cocktails you should have for the big game. We've got Rob Collins from Fox 4 talking all things Chiefs and Niners next.
Cody and Gold. Watch the show on YouTube by subscribing to the @610 Sports KC channel. 610 Sports Radio.
How did Drew find him?
Hi, it's Trey Smith, and in order for our team to get a victory, we need honesty, teamwork, work ethic, humility, and the golden rule. That's why my truck is from the dealer that embodies all those values, Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram also supports Giving Hope, whose sole purpose is to feed and clothe the needy in Wyandotte County and beyond. Giving back in the highest integrity, that's how Jeff and his team do business. For your next vehicle, visit or go to victorychrysler-dodge-jeepram.com.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Heartland Men's Health today. Because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Heartland Men's Health will give you back your sex life. Because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Also stop smoking with Mark Patrick. No matter how many times you tried to quit, this hypnosis is designed to destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Seminars Sunday, February 25th at the Wingate by Wyndham in Kansas City and Monday, February 26th at the Holiday Inn and Suites in Overland Park. Register markpatrickseminars.com.
Number 15 is the real MVP, and Jefferson's in Lenexa and North KC agrees by giving 15% off online orders for carryout and delivery when using code 610sports. Place your orders now for the big game at jeffersons.com. Limit one per customer, $40 minimum order, cannot combine offers, excludes dine-in.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6812. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6812. That's 800-575-6812. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Get the appliances you need right away at Lowe's. Explore the largest assortment of brands you trust, like Whirlpool, Samsung, and LG, in-store or online at the best values. Plus, take advantage of our everyday financing offers on top items, from refrigerators to laundry pairs. And there's more. Get your new appliances delivered or installed quickly at your convenience. Because Lowe's knows appliances. Lowe's knows home improvement. Subject to credit approval.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Back here on a Club 610 Red Friday, getting set to head out to Las Vegas as the Chiefs take on the 49ers. Again, Red Friday is brought to you by ComCare. Call or text 988 for 24/7 mental health support. We've got Rob Collins, Fox 4, hanging out with us before he heads out to Vegas. We got Andrew Olson from Jay Rieger making some fantastic cocktails. Cody's counting.
His one's ready.
This is perfect for the strip club, actually. Cody owns us a strip club
The Tap Family
outing
gambling thing always has
because,
ones, so I've always got ones around.
You got to fold them long ways, Cody.
Cody hasn't been. Andrew doesn't know this. There's a backstory on the show.
I've seen documentaries on this. I don't really know.
Yeah. Cody, a long time ago, made a bet. He had never been to a strip club, and so I said, if something happened, you'll go to a strip club. And here we are. Vegas seems like the perfect opportunity for him to go. It's gonna be a little expensive, but it's the place to go. And that's the joke. Cody's got all the ones ready to go, so you're set.
Ones.
And yeah, Rob's right. There's a certain way. You gotta fold the.
Everybody know how the gambling dreidel works?
No clue.
All right, so there's either
I'm used to spinning
one.
dreidels. I'm the Jewish guy on the show.
There's T 1, 2, 3. So take 1, 2, or 3. There's P 1, 2, 3. Pay 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Then there's all pay, right? Pay all, PA, and then take all. Take the whole pot. Everyone, Annie's in for a buck, and we just take turns spinning.
All right, let's roll.
That's it. So we can talk while we're doing it.
Okay.
Everyone in for a buck. Everyone in for a buck. You can ask him about what's up coming in the game and Christian McCaffrey and the normal stuff. I'll let you know. That'll land for a second. We're good. We can just talk for a second. Are you want to know how the first one goes?
Yeah, the first one we'll find out where it goes, and we can. Then after that, we can.
Sorry, I spun it too well.
I know.
This one's gonna take a minute.
It's like the roulette ball when it takes forever.
Yeah.
This is I spun it. Well, it's kind of.
I never like when they change out the ball to to the other one because I'm like, oh, come on now.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it. Everybody's doing well, and they change the ball out.
It's like, what do we got?
Pay 1.
Is that for you?
Yeah, that's me.
For everybody.
Whoever spins. All pay.
Okay.
All pay is the only person. This is an individual game.
See, I don't know if I can spin this tiny one here, but we'll see. This is going to be Cody's got the house driven. Yeah, I can't get this thing.
You don't know? You want me to spin it for you?
Maybe so.
I mean, it might speed up this process. We're never going to bet.
So. Yeah. All right, we'll let you. Oh, so you got to add a bounce a little bit.
Well, I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've bet with this thing a lot over the years. So at this point, I'm just used to spinning
drinking
it.
game too.
Oh yeah. Take one, pay one, hand one out.
Oh. Yeah.
God, that would take. I mean, you'd have to spread it out a little bit. Like every 10 minutes, someone goes and gives it a spin.
Yeah.
Take
I'm
3.
gonna Amazon Prime one of these before I leave the parking lot.
Oh, dude, it does not take long at all. Alex, pay 1.
Yeah, there you go.
So do you think you can spin it yourself?
So I know it's a week away, but
yeah.
Keys to the game, obviously, you got to slow down McCaffrey, right?
Yeah, I think that's where it starts. We were talking earlier, Rob, just about when you look at McCaffrey, if you could sign up right now for just 85, 90-yard performance and a touchdown, I would lock that 100%. In for the Chiefs' defense against him.
All pay?
So far, nothing but paying.
Now Rob's going to get take all and just clean up this whole pot.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. Yeah, I think Christian McCaffrey is the key. Is the key here in this particular game for the 49ers. I can't imagine them winning without McCaffrey having a big-time game. Like, if the Chiefs hold him in check, I know they got stars all over the place in the field, but going back to Cody's point last segment, this defense, what is anybody waiting for to find out? I mean, they have shown us through 20 games this year, 28 points or less in every single game. It's never happened in NFL history.
Yeah, we know what they are. And I honestly think the defense is going to either score a touchdown or get an interception. I think there's going to be a turnover.
Oh, you think there's a defensive score?
I think there might be a defensive score in this game.
That's a fun bet. I don't have the odds in front of me, but you can make a little money off of that, Rob.
I got the prop bet list. It's like 20
Take 3.
pages.
Take 3? Yeah, you can go and just keep
I
scoring.
guess I got to spin for you.
Yeah, that's
so. All right, I was looking at the prop bets. If not Mahomes, CMC, Kelsey, who would you bet on for MVP?
So I know you said without real quick. I do love the CMC bet because I think it's more likely a non-quarterback gets MVP for the 49ers than, of course, the Chiefs where it's Mahomes. I have a bet in last night for Pacheco at 30-1 to win MVP because this offense very unlikely they're scoring 4 or 5 touchdowns. So let's say they score 21 or 24 points. If 2 of those touchdowns are Pacheco and he has 90 yards and one's a late touchdown to win it, I think that's the path. Mahomes, of course, has the leg up. He's a quarterback. But I would rather bet on Pacheco than Kelsey. My struggle with Kelsey, even though you got the Taylor Swift angles and everything, is that if he has 2 or 3 touchdown receptions, well, that means Mahomes has 2 or 3 touchdown passes. And I just don't believe it's an easy path for Travis Kelce.
12-1?
He's down to 17-1. So he's 7-1. It's maybe other books have 12-1.
We also don't think that, like,
what was it? Sorry.
Pay 2.
Ugh.
We also don't think that.
Pay all.
We also sometimes don't think of the Super Bowl as an MVP as a narrative award, but it is in a way where it's going to be easier for Mahomes because Mahomes in the season and the receivers and the whole story. You're not very good at spinning that one around.
Well, it's not. This one, it's a shorter dreidel.
One.
Oh yeah,
just taking one at a time.
I just don't want it to take forever.
Yeah, Cody's spins are
I
a little.
I want to take all your money
lengthy.
quickly, man.
A little lengthy.
I got stuff to do.
It's got to stick up there for a second.
Is there anybody? I mean, is there anybody that you like further down the board than on MVP? Like, I mean, defensively, everybody wants. Yeah, it sounds great. Chris Jones, 140 to 1.
Yeah, but he's taking a strip sack, touchdown, and all the things.
Touchdown, maybe.
No, I think on the Chiefs, it's Mahomes or Pacheco. I would entertain Pacheco. I think there's a chance that this game is 20-17, like a lot of their playoff games. And if he's responsible, take all.
Rigged.
Yeah,
I'm really glad I invited you guys to this game.
Definitely rigged.
I'm so glad you could win your own money back.
None of us Venmo'd you yet, you know?
It's not my money. Yeah.
Do we want Annie one more time? You want
Sure,
one more
man,
Annie?
whatever. Let's go.
Why not?
Pacheco right now on FanDuel, by the way, is plus 3,500.
I like him because,
that's
again,
worth $5.
if it's 20-17 and Pacheco scores 2 of the touchdowns, he's got a shot for it.
Yep.
He's got a shot to do it. The defensive thing, they're such a team defense. They're not a turnover defense.
Right.
You know, it takes that Malcolm Butler moment. And if you're
gonna have
betting
to
on
have,
that,
like,
that's just a
4
lot.
sacks for Chris Jones or somebody probably.
It's strip sack for, and then he has to almost return it for a touchdown to even give you. I think Nick Bolton last year was the one everybody highlights. Like if that one didn't get called back, maybe he actually does win it. But again, think about that. It would need something like that in order for it to happen. What
Sorry, I
happens?
spent this one way too long.
Oh, it's holy crap! Dude.
It's like a Leo DiCaprio movie, man. I just thought that thing may never stop.
One other thing for the game too. What do you think it's high scoring or low? I mean, the total is 47.5, and we just mentioned the Chiefs defense, 28 points or less in every single game given up.
Alex.
Like I feel like it's a low score. Yeah, I am.
I hate betting under. I just hate it.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
sometimes
I don't think it's up that high.
Sometimes you have to do it, but I don't like betting under as a fan, obviously, because you want to see points. And,
One thing that would steer me away from that, Alex, is the idea that
Take 3.
Take 3. Is that all of it?
That's all of it. That's basically take off.
There's still $2 in there. He's all right. He's still cleaning up a little bit. We still got $2 out there. Rob can still spend for something. But when the reason why I would at least semi-entertain what you're talking about, Gold, this like higher scoring game is San Francisco's defense hasn't been nearly as good for the last month. They can be taken advantage of in the run game, in the middle, where the Chiefs are good with Pacheco. And San Francisco can score. I mean, Buffalo still got points on this defense. They were maybe the only one in the last 2 months to do so. But they've gotten points on this defense, so it doesn't seem all out of the question.
Take 3. I'll take
it
the bottle.
down.
You can have the Bucks.
Wow.
I'm going over in this game when
Really?
I make my
I know
wager.
people love points. I get it. I like the under again in this game.
Yeah.
I was on the under last
I
week
know.
in the Ravens game.
Yeah, I thought there would be more scoring. I mean, there should have been more scoring in that game if you don't try to reach for the end zone and there aren't the turnovers. But for just some reason, the Super Bowls, for whatever reason, sometimes get out of hand.
They can.
I mean, the last Chiefs Super Bowl got way up there. It might have hit the over by the third quarter.
Yeah, it was quick.
I mean, that game was high scoring.
I mean, right now, if you can get the Chiefs plus points, there's no way that you shouldn't take that.
I love it. Mahomes as an underdog again. It's so good.
They're an underdog in 5 of their last 6 playoff games. As a reminder, they haven't lost any of
What
them.
is he, 11-1-1
10-1-1.
against the spread?
Yeah,
Is
10-1.
10? Okay.
10-1-1 against the spread now as an underdog. Yeah, I mean it's absurd. There's some other fun ones too for this game, like not the offshore bets with Taylor Swift and will they show her 100 times or not, or things like that. But the first team to score is a bet. Like, will that team win? So Niners score first and win. The team that opened scoring has gone on to win in 37 of the 57 Super Bowls. So 65% of the time you score first. But here's the fun caveat as a Chiefs fan. The 2 Chiefs Super Bowl wins, the Eagles scored first and the Niners scored first.
What are the odds on that?
So they're 2 of the rare examples?
I don't have that. I should pull that up.
okay.
I don't have it. Apologize. Yeah, I had the stat.
Okay.
I had the
So
stat,
we're not going to
but-
be talking about waning crescent moons instead? Because that fact only works in
I saw
favor
that.
of...
I sent that to,
only works in favor
I
of
sent
the
that
Chiefs.
to Joe Lauria, and he was like, "This is wild. What?
Only one loss in the waning crescent moon cycle, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
What was the one last
Phase.
night? There was another one that somebody added us in last night that I should have been paying attention to. Like, there's multiple things in their favor as it comes to, I don't know, not just moon cycles. It was, here it is. In the last 30 years, every time the Super Bowl has been played in between the 2 teams, one team traveling east, one team traveling west, the team traveling west has won. In the last 30 years, the team traveling west has won every single time.
I was sent a DM from our part-time producer Isaac that Puxatawny Phil.
Yeah.
There's a third one.
He predicted an early spring. Last time that happened was Chiefs-Niners in 2020. Guess who won that one? The Chiefs. And he predicted an early spring this year. So
Just
I
everything's
mean,
win again.
if we want to keep going, last
crazy.
time they played, I don't know if that's good though.
Yeah.
the world ended 3 weeks later.
Yeah, we were there. We were there.
Oh
at
no,
the
we already
genesis
know
of
COVID. Yeah,
we
COVID.
were staying in a house with like 8 people.
Yeah,
in it
COVID
for
started
that year.
actually in the I don't know if it started. We definitely brought back COVID to Kansas City.
I'm 100% sure we did.
Airbnb in Miami with 8 of us in it back to Kansas City. There was even a real article. You guys remember there was a doctor we talked about it on the air.
Oh, that saved lives.
That said that the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl actually saved lives.
Less populated town.
Hold on.
That's right.
Another coincidence?
Yeah.
The Chiefs getting to the Super Bowl saved that woman's life because Mark Andrews.
No.
Did you guys see that story?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
He happened to be on the flight.
Pen or his
Yeah, he
kit.
had his diabetic testing kit on him. And of course, he's like, "Are you sure it's not blood sugar?" You're like, I can't even imagine.
Hey,
to
can
find
you-
out later,
hey,
not only
meathead, can you just sit down, please?
this guy's like 6'4", you're like,
U.S. Marshal stands up, sir.
pal.
It's better than the story we do a Trash of the Day segment on the show in the 11 o'clock hour every day. And this one was about this woman. She was flying back from Philadelphia or something just the other day, and the plane had landed. And right as it landed, she was arguing with passengers. She needed to go to the restroom, but they hadn't fully, you can't get up yet or whatever. And so she's like pushing passengers out of the way to get to the front of the plane to get to the bathroom. And she's belligerent at this point already. And they wouldn't let her they wouldn't let her get to the bathroom in the front of the plane. And she says, she turns around to all the passengers and said, what was the
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. And she pulls down her pants and she never actually pretended to.
Oh,
she
geez.
didn't. And then of course, she continued to scream and all this and they didn't let her go. Now she faces 21 years in prison because of that, and she was in front of children, and she exposed herself. All
sure.
that, yeah, the whole
Wow.
thing. Yeah, it was on a Frontier Airlines flight.
That's
in the last
crazy.
Shocker.
week or two. Well,
I'm flying Frontier on the way back. So
are you? Hey, we're flying.
Hopefully not with that one.
We're flying Southwest there. We're flying Spirit back. Wish us luck.
Yeah.
Godspeed.
I
Yeah.
still don't understand
I've
why
never
people,
flown Spirit,
why
but
people
we'll find
stand
out.
up when the plane lands.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Rob.
What are you doing?
Yeah,
Thank
same.
you. We talked about this
Sit
earlier.
down.
You don't need to rush. There's 50 people in
I
front of
don't
you
really care.
anyway.
You're
You're
stretching.
in row 27,
Yes.
bro.
Yes.
Sit down.
Yeah, I'm an aisle guy because
Yeah.
of how tall I
Tall,
am,
yeah.
and I stand up intentionally so people behind me can't go in front of me.
That way.
And then,
Perfect.
and I'll have my back to the front of the plane and making eye contact with people, make it real awkward.
Like, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
cut
know,
in front of
do-
everybody.
Everybody wants to get off the plane. We get it, but when there's 40 people still in front of you, and you don't need to try to grab your stuff and rush up 7 more rows and block the
Hey,
aisle.
those are the same people that don't zipper in traffic, okay?
don't know how to merge.
You got a zipper.
It's important. It's a part of traffic that matters.
Or the ones on 35 who stay in the left lane the whole time, driving the exact speed limit.
This was literally the random question
Yeah.
like 2 days ago. What's the part of town of traffic? Not just because of the traffic, but you hate because of the way people drive.
Oh, it's 35 for me. I mean, a
100%.
lot of times when I work my normal shift, I don't have traffic because I go in
Sure.
at 2, leave at 11. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
But certain days, like today, I'll be driving in. 35 drives me nuts. And I'm in an F-150, man. So if you're dragging it in the left lane, you're going to get a rear view mirror full of a big black truck on your bumper.
What's
Get
Metcalf
out
turn
the way.
into?
Oh, 69?
That interchange right there.
Or 635?
Which is
Yeah.
why everyone's in that left lane because they're
Yeah.
trying to get in line to make that. To go
119th
north.
and Metcalf is a mess.
It's the
just
same thing on the other
traffic-wise,
side.
too.
When you're going southbound, but you're on 635, when it goes to 35,
Yeah.
you're in the left lane because everyone in the right is trying to cause like 7 accidents getting on 35. You're like, look, I don't care where you merge, but you can't just like stop or get over.
I'll tell you, I live in Parkville, and the distillery's in the East Bottoms, obviously, and I have to take. I go through North Kansas City, and everyone is going through North Kansas City, and that is why.
Okay, so you're the only other person who's been on the show since we had that question that's a Northlander. I need someone to explain me the traffic pattern of this particular stretch of road. 35 northbound, as you're getting ready to split between 29 and keep on 35 northbound.
Yeah.
If you're on 35,
like going to the airport.
where it's 55,
Yeah.
people are going, if you are going 70 in the right lane, you are in someone's way. The second you say on 35 and it is 65 miles an hour, it is Mad Max and I'm ramming people to go 61. To go 9 miles an hour slower. It makes no sense. It's like it's the weirdest traffic
And
pattern.
there are sheriff's deputies and state troopers along that thing just collecting checks.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
it's like driving south on 35 where it goes 3 different towns in like 5 miles. You'll see each police representative right there.
Of course.
yeah.
Yeah, the issue right now is like on 69 highway out south by me, and they're turning in that express lane or whatever.
Yeah.
And so the traffic pattern there changes every day, and it gets super backed up, and it's a mess. And I'm not a huge fan of that. We got to have an express lane. This used to be a highway. It's my way to work, guys. It's my way to work.
Well, pay for the express.
Well, I'm not going to pay for the express. I'm not going to.
You're going to be like most people. You're going to skip it every once in a while and hope that that's not the day you get the
Would you pay
ticket.
for a stadium?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We've talked. It was well documented. I would gladly, if you told me that everybody
Your
came
guys'
together.
business is down in the east side. Where do you want the stadium?
Well, for us, I mean, it
Good either way.
doesn't matter either way, really, for us. Honestly, just because of where we're at.
Yeah.
So,
No, I mean, the stadium stuff now that we got to figure out is exactly what's the plan for everything location-wise still for the Royals and then for the Chiefs. The actual plan for renovations. I was glad they got it to the ballot because I thought that was crazy to block it from even getting to the ballot box in April. But now, yeah, the Chiefs, and we'll have a chance to talk to Clark Hunt and Mark Donovan next week, but find out what is it just a bunch of new suites in the renovation? Is it behind-the-scenes stuff to keep the building above ground? Is it new scoreboards? What is it? We don't have the answer to that on the Chiefs renovations, and the Royals claim by the 29th of this month, they're going to let us all know where they're putting this downtown stadium.
Are we doing one more round?
Sorry, I got distracted. Are you still doing the weight chart thing?
Oh, no, that's old.
We need to erase that. That was from 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, I remember.
Yeah, that was from 2 years ago.
We just haven't done anything with the board. It's just sitting in the corner.
2 years.
Nobody's touched that board.
Nobody's touched that board in 2 years. It just sits there in the corner.
Fantastic.
Yeah. All right,
Gold, you got enough ones to continue?
I only have 2 left. I don't know what you guys all got to take some. I always had to pay
I'm
in.
all in.
Yeah, I'm
Wait,
going
you're all
all
in?
in too. This is it. Last round.
Except for the booze.
We just spin till somebody gets take all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do it.
I feel like I'm risking the most here.
Hey, that's gambling,
It's
baby.
all your money
I'm
anyway.
getting terrible odds.
That's Vegas, baby.
All right, so what games do you play when you go to Vegas?
So obviously, I game wise for me it's craps. I know roulette odds aren't fantastic,
No.
but I still enjoy playing that. But yeah, more I would say craps more than anything else. Otherwise, I sports book because I feel like I have at least a little bit more control over what's going on.
Yeah,
I think at least.
I don't like roulette. My younger brother
feels that way.
Yeah.
I have younger brothers who are twins. One of them is like the luckiest guy in the world. Like he won.
You've told me that. You said he just
50-50 at a White Sox game once, and like 50.
He's essentially the kid from Vegas Vacation. He just like
Put in $1, won a car.
That's a dream. The dream of mine is to win a 50-50 raffle at a Royals game one day. It's a dream of mine.
But we were there once. And
go! Give me all my money!
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I can't see that.
Was it
far.
his turn to spin anyway?
Who do you think you are?
It was, yeah.
Oh my
Who do you
goodness.
think you are, Mr. Papa Giorgio?
It's all right. Hey, Rob. It's all right. Rob, this is okay. Let him have his luck here. Wait till we get to Vegas. Let him have his luck here.
Hold on, I want my luck in Vegas too.
Hey, you're gonna need those ones, man. Throw them long ways. I'm telling you. You're set.
We're going to the library. Go to the library in Vegas.
Although singles may not work where you're going.
Yeah,
you
depends
might
on
need
the spot.
something a little better.
Yeah, gonna
Anyway,
need at
finish
least
real
50
quick,
to get in the door.
My brother Ty, who's
Yeah.
the luckiest dude in the world, we're walking by a roulette table. I forget which casino it was because we were probably under the influence. But he grabs $100 and says, "Give me 2 50s." He bets on his 2 favorite numbers. We're just walking by. We're not playing.
He's just gonna put a
He
number
put
on
50 on an individual number.
Two numbers,
individual numbers.
14 and 23, and I'll be damned if 14 didn't hit.
Gosh.
So he just cashed 17.50 right there, and then
Unbelievable.
And then he bought bottle service and a table near the stage at a local place. So
that was nice. It worked out for you.
At the library.
At the library.
You know what?
We checked out some.
He essentially Robin Hood Vegas. He took the money and he gave it to the rest of you.
We checked out some books.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, good times. This is gonna be a long time in Vegas.
I know our schedules are crazy.
Yeah.
But
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll find.
We'll
We're there
figure
for
out
a
time to
week.
get together
We'll
at
figure
some
it
point
out.
this week.
Can we strap one of these cameras to Cody's head?
Oh my god!
Just like a GoPro for the whole trip?
we will be documenting a lot of behind the scenes. The one thing we were told, obviously, is we
personal pages for
anything related to the strip club cannot go on the station account. Everything else is on.
Seems reasonable.
You know, is good to go.
Well, what about parties? I mean, there's.
Yeah,
I'm sure your inbox
I think
is
we're good
full
there.
of
I think
party
we're okay.
invites.
I think we're going SI party Friday night, maybe.
Okay.
How do I know if I'm accepted? They have you fill out a form. How do I know if I'm like good
I
to
don't
go?
know. I got 3 or 4.
Hey,
of
Rob,
them.
you know, at Circa Friday night,
Yeah.
there's a Playboy party
Oh.
at Circa.
Okay.
Can you get us in?
Probably. I've been to the mansion twice.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah.
He just keeps getting bigger and
What's going on? What? He's talking about bottle service at a club and all
I've
of a sudden.
interviewed Hefner twice. He's great. Dude.
What?
He went to the U. Okay,
Rob
okay.
is Hugh
Quick
Hefner.
story. Quick story. He went to the U of I, right?
It's
where
actually his son.
Playboy got its genesis, right? He did co-ed of the month in the Daily Illini, the newspaper. No one was nude, right? He just drew cartoons and featured a co-ed, right? So Illinois played USC in the Rose Bowl. Long time ago, I forgot what it was, when I was working in Champaign. And so we went out there and we said, can we interview him? And we spent the whole day there with him. It was fantastic. Wow. And then the other time I went, we were in a sweeps meeting for work. Okay. And I was being a smart aleck, imagine that. Hefner donated some money to the university. And I said, hey, let's just do a feature on Hugh Hefner. They're like, call them, see if they'll do it. They did it. It was fantastic.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You said that with such confidence, Rob. I almost didn't believe you at first when you said, yeah, I've been in the Playboy Mansion twice.
Weird thing to make up.
I believed him once he said it, actually, but it's just, I did not expect you to say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he was great. He was very affable, took us around tour. It was awesome. Just because.
Sounds like food was fantastic.
The food was
I
great.
asked him one of the times there, can I get in the grotto? He's like, no, sir, you may not.
Yeah, the grotto. The grotto's where,
females in there.
Yeah.
How should I say it? Sunning themselves.
Uh-huh.
So he said, you could stick your toe in. I'm like, okay.
At least then you can say. You can say, technically, that you have been in the grotto. You don't have to. That's not a lie.
It's not a lie.
That is truth. It's just it's the fringe
We
of
have
truth.
not gotten official word on the Playboy party, though.
Oh,
if
but
we
I've
can get in.
already got a couple of responses.
Oh.
See, there you go.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a real photo.
A couple of responses to the parties. Which ones?
I'll tell you off the air.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if they're fighting with their sponsors or something.
Gotcha. I
Probably
got
not.
you.
Let us know.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out where we're going.
But I'm not sure when I'm going to get to it. But it's
Yeah.
Vegas. They'll last till 3 in the morning. So we'll
That's
be
the
off
thing.
the
You're
air.
fine. Several of them say they're like
Don't start
11
till
p.m.
11.
to 4 a.m.
Yeah.
They don't
Can I
start.
tell you my favorite bar in Vegas?
Yeah.
Frank's Tiki Room.
Where's that?
I do
at?
like a good tiki bar.
Where's that?
Let's
at?
I went to a
call
great
it-
one in
let's
San
call
Francisco.
it more of a biker bar that has the name Tiki in it.
Okay.
It's
Also a fan.
awesome. It's like on the
I'm guessing
back.
it's
like-
off strip.
It's on the back side of either Caesar's Palace or the Bellagio on the
Okay.
on the west side of
Okay.
the highway.
Sure.
And it's just in a strip mall, and it's a cool like towny bar. But Frank's Tiki Room,
Sweet.
it's just the people watching, the vibes, cold beer.
Fantastic.
But
Cody,
don't go until 4:30 in the morning.
Are you getting a
That's
tattoo?
fine. I can agree to that.
Are you getting
I
a
don't want
Well,
to get a
that was the
tattoo.
trade-off I gave him. It's either a trip to the
Yes,
strip
you do.
club or a tattoo. He has to pick.
I have 0 tattoos. I'm just going to get one now.
Yes.
That's called that. You are a blank canvas.
I was looking them
Do
up
they
last
like
night.
that? Do tattoo artists like that?
There are, as you can guess, a plenty amount of tattoo parlors.
Well-
there are many by the hotel we're going to be staying
sure
in.
several very good
So-
ones.
There's one
That's probably where half of Andrews
several
came
of
from.
the Ink Master people.
Oh, really?
They have a shop down there.
Oh, Cody, come on.
You guys,
I
there you go.
will
You
get
two
one
get
as
the
well.
tattoos. Go for it.
I will get one as well. Not the same one, but I'll
only
get one
hurts
with
for a
you.
little while.
I promise.
No, the pain part's not the concern. It's the,
610 Sports tramp stamp.
There you go. Club
Club 610. Club 610.
That's right.
yeah, Club
Don't worry,
610. That's
Get the
the.
sign on
Club
your
610.
wrist or something. Yeah.
I think I'm packing that up in the luggage. We've
Don't get
decided
it.
we're going to figure out a way to get drinks into Radio Row for Club 610 on
Don't
Friday.
get a
next week.
tattoo on your ribs or your ankles. That hurt. Bad.
That was my first one. My first one was I got the Marine Corps motto tattooed down my ribs, and
Yeah.
I kind of
Like
want a
just the
video.
short one, like Semper Fi, or like the whole thing?
it says "Always faithful" in
Oh,
English.
you went to the
The
whole
video would be
Ankles
great,
hurt,
Gold. It would be
'cause I
great.
got bird legs, and I'm telling you, they hurt.
Yeah, Drew, I would enjoy the video
would be good.
content-wise of Cody getting tattooed along his ribs. The video
Oh my gosh, that would be
Be
fantastic.
uncomfortable.
it would be. Andrew,
It's
appreciate
not as
it.
bad as you think.
Fantastic drinks as always.
Yes,
Jay
thank you, sir.
Rieger, great spot for the big game watch party.
You guys
as
sold out for
well.
that yet?
No, I mean, in theory, we really
Okay.
could never sell out because
Gotcha.
the building's so big and we have so many TVs.
All right, so check out Jay Rieger. Rob, we'll see you in Vegas, man.
Can't wait,
We'll
man.
have
It's
to,
gonna be
we'll have to
great.
hit you up and figure out some
gonna
plans
be
there.
fun.
Hope everybody has a great weekend. The next time we talk to you, we'll be live on Radio Row in Las Vegas. Super Bowl week right around the corner. Have a great